desert, so everyone is flying to get going. Everyone who is flying for the first time is extremely curious. Let's have a competition to see who can fly faster. Polly said. Okay. Xiana was the first to agree. Charge, Value and the others rushed out directly. Wow, you guys are cheating, you left before the event even started. The 12 women rushed out at the fastest speed. And Huaxian followed slowly behind them, looking at them cheerfully and happily. Smiles appeared on their faces. At the same time, he also thought of Huang Xingyu and Mu Rongfei. He planned to pick them up after resolving the issue of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance, and then go to the genetic world together. 3 hours later. We can't fly anymore, okay? Let's take a break, Emily said. Me too, I can't fly anymore, let's take a rest, prepare food, and let my husband cook for us. Stephen landed directly on the ground. Everyone landed one after another and went to look for food. After dinner, everyone continued on their journey. Night falls. Finally arrived at a mountain city. Looking at this city with quaint ancient buildings, Huaxian was surprised. The structure of the city is completely based on ancient architecture. There are roads here, but it is like a paradise. On the busy streets, many people are wearing ancient costumes, making it look like they are filming a costume movie. Look, what is that? They can all fly, and there are many strong ones. Chapter 139, Crushing the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance. Under the watchful eyes of countless people, Huaxian and his companions flew over the building with the words Headquarters of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance written on it. This immediately alarmed all the strongmen and high-level officials of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance. More than a dozen powerful voices rose into the air. This means that these people are at least equivalent to level 6 genetic warriors. Are you the Huaxian? You killed people from our Ancient Martial Arts Alliance and threatened us. An old man asked angrily. Huaxian said inferently. You are the most powerful guy in the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance? You barely reached the initial stage of the 7th level genetic warrior. What makes you so arrogant that you dare to hit on my woman? Boom. Following these words, the powerful aura of strength in Huaxian's body burst out, pressing down on the high-ranking officials of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance who still didn't know their place. Suddenly, more than 2/3 of the people could not withstand the pressure from Huaxian's outburst and fell to the ground. Although others were able to persevere, it was also very difficult and their hearts were in turmoil. How can a young man be so powerful? Could he be a powerful being from the genetic world? Has the human alliance surrendered to the genetic world? Looking at the other women, they are all very young, but each of them is at least at the level of a 6th level genetic warrior, which is a level that humans on Earth cannot reach at all. Who are you? It is absolutely impossible for an Earthling to have such a terrifying cultivation at your age. The old man in the lead asked in horror. Because as the strongest person in the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance, he actually felt fear when facing Huaxian. This is the feeling that only occurs when there is a huge gap in strength. Of course I am from Earth, I just can't stand the fact that you, the useless people who call yourself the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance, ignore the human race and only care about yourselves when facing foreign lands. What is the meaning of your existence? I now declare that the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance is dissolved. I have acquired this place, and it will become a film and television city in the future. Anyone who is dissatisfied is welcome to come to me. By the way, where is the Immortal Cultivation Alliance? It is said that they are even more rampant than your Ancient Martial Arts Alliance. I want to see if they really have the capital to be so rampant. Are you going to cause trouble for the Immortal Cultivation Alliance? Someone asked in shock. Why not? Yes, of course. The Immortal Cultivation Alliance will fly eastward and then approach Penglai Island. The old man from the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance said excitedly. I thought, since you are so arrogant, I will let you suffer a great loss in the Xiuzyan Alliance, so that you can understand what it means that there are always people who are better than you. Very good, this city belongs to your Ancient Martial Arts Alliance. Right? I'll buy it for $8 US. Do you have any objection? The momentum was powerful and Huaxian acted as if he would be rude to anyone who disagreed with him. The old man in the lead said dissatisfiedly, it's ours. This is my account, you can transfer the money. Huaxian transferred the money immediately. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 10 USD within 30 minutes and received a reward of 100 strengthening pills. Ding! New mission. Complete the task within 60 minutes. Spend 15 USD. If the mission fails, the host will be permanently paralyzed. If the mission is completed, you will be rewarded with 50 primary strengthening pills. Although dangerous, the rewards are very tempting. 100 primary strengthening pills and 50 million strengthening points are simply too good to be true. Remember what I said, the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance has been disbanded. I hope that the next time I come here, there will no longer be any signs of the Ancient Martial Arts Alliance. Wives, let's go to the Immortal Cultivation Alliance. Oxian took the lead and flew into the air. How arrogant. Does he think that the Immortal Cultivation Alliance is a weakling like our ancient martial arts alliance? They are the top group of people on Earth. I think this guy is going to be severely slapped in the face, said one person. What's a slap in the face? I hope he will be killed with a sword, so that he will regret coming to this world and being so rampant. But who is this guy? He is so young, yet so powerful that even our leader is no match for him. Who knows, maybe he is a strongman who came from the genetic world. After all, he has caused trouble for our ancient martial arts alliance. And now he is causing trouble for the Immortal Cultivation Alliance. Apart from the strongmen in the genetic world, is there any force on Earth that is more powerful than us? What about those ancient families? Someone asked. Ancient family? Yes, don't forget that he is from Long Country. And in Long Country, there are many ancient families that are terribly powerful. Perhaps, he really could be the descendant of an ancient family in Dragon Country. After all, there is a disaster on Earth, so it makes sense for them to be born. Oxian and his group were just passing through the ancient martial arts alliance and were heading towards Penglai Land in the east. Soon we entered the East China Sea. Far away from the United States. The sea breeze howled and flew over the sea, and everyone felt unprecedented freedom. System strengthen all 4 attributes to 1.1 billion for me. Ding, congratulations to the host, the 4 attributes have been enhanced to 1 billion, consuming 4 billion enhancement points, with 1.9 billion remaining. Ding, since the host is over 100 million strong. The gold coin system is opened in advance since the world where the host is located does not have gold coin consumption system. The consumption time is extended by 1 month. Please complete the consumption of 1 gold coin within 31 days. If the task fails, the host will be killed. If the task is completed, an intermediate reinforcement point will be awarded. Hearing the system's prompt, Attribute smiled bitterly. The bad news still came. The gold coin system announced it 1 month in advance, which meant that he had to leave the Earth within 1 month. He just doesn't know what to get from the genetic world, which means he must go to the genetic world in advance. Just in case the consumption currency of the genetic world is not gold coins, he will have a chance to find other gold coin worlds. Oxian, who originally thought he had plenty of time, suddenly felt that time was not enough. I didn't expect that the improvement in strength would actually affect the changes in the consumption system. If I had known this earlier, I wouldn't have been in such a hurry to strengthen the 4 attributes. Honey, I'm so tired, can we find a place to rest? Xiayene said suddenly. Oxian looked over and saw that everyone else was also struggling. Okay, there is a small path in the west. Let's go to the island and continue practicing dual cultivation to improve your strength. Ah, husband, the last time we practiced dual cultivation, it hurt you a lot. Let's just forget it. Valia was the first to speak. That's right, husband, you should take care of yourself for a while. And we can practice together, your health is the most important. Everyone refused to practice dual cultivation. It's okay. I just completed a huge breakthrough. My body now has no problem with enduring the backlash of dual cultivation. Ah, husband, have you become stronger? Why can't I see it at all? Polly said in surprise. Oxian smiled slightly, mobilized billions of strength, and stretched out his hand towards the sea below. In an instant, a common free sea water seemed to be half revived and began to boil. Oxian said to move gently, and the seawater actually moved with him. Just as he waved his hand. Crash! A huge column of water shot up into the sky, carrying with it the momentum of a torrent, rushing towards the sky. Chapter 140, Million-Year-Old Turtle. Otili and the others were all stunned. Feeling the horror of the water column, they felt that if they were hit, they would be crippled if not killed. And this was just the damage caused by their husband's wave of their hands. Honey, you really made a breakthrough. It seems to me that you are really a god, Valia said in shock. Oxian smiled and said, my current strength is not an exaggeration to say that I am a god. Alright, let's go to that laughing path to practice. This time, I will let you all improve greatly, so that you won't get tired after flying for a while when you are traveling. Soon, a group of 13 people arrived at the deserted island. The deserted island is covered with various wild flowers, which are as beautiful as a sea of flowers, and the fragrance of the flowers is also particularly pleasant. Wow, honey, it's so beautiful here, like a paradise on earth, Stevens said excitedly. Oxian smiled and said, it's indeed a good place. It's not bad to practice dual cultivation in a place like this. Who of you will go first? I'll do it. Nidier was the first to step forward. The others instinctively moved aside. System, increase the 4 attributes of my dual cultivation to 20 million per hour. Ding, congratulations to the host for setting up dual cultivation of 4 attributes for 1 hour. With each attribute costing 20 million, the total cost of each dual cultivation is 80 million reinforcement points. Next is a double cultivation with Nidier. It is a unique feeling to be lingering in the sea of flowers. Nidie's cry startled countless colorful butterflies, which was even more beautiful. During this period, the time for the task of consuming 15M in 60 minutes was approaching, and Huaxian donated all of it to the United States after all. The United States was his now. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the task of spending 15M USD within 60 rounds, and received a reward of 50 primary strengthening pills. Ding, new mission, completed within 3 hours. Spending 30M USD, failure will result in permanent paralysis, and completion will reward 30 primary strengthening pills. Next, the second person to practice dual cultivation was Valia. The third person to practice dual cultivation is Stephen. The fourth person to practice dual cultivation was Xiayene. The last one is Otilia. All of them have completed dual cultivation, and the 4 attributes have reached 20 million at the same time, and their combat power has undergone earth-shaking changes. During this period, the consumption ask was also completed for times. Finally it increased to $100 in 12 hours. Thank you, husband. 12 women surrounded Huaxian, all filled with gratitude. Xiayene asked, husband, if we continue like this, will we be immortal? After hearing these words, everyone fell silent and stared at the attributes. When it comes to separation of life and death, who wouldn't be afraid? As long as you continue to grow stronger like this, you will definitely be able to achieve immortality. I will definitely live forever if I follow my husband, said Nidie. Hubby, shall we continue on our journey? Looking at the beautiful flower island, Value asked reluctantly. Hurry up, we still have a lot of things to deal with. After saying that, he flew up. The next moment, a strange scene appeared. All the flowers withered and dried up. It was extremely strange. In a few minutes, the beautiful flower island turned into a dead place. Honey, what's going on? Everyone was shocked. Huaxian was also extremely curious. Billions of spiritual powers enveloped the entire island. A voice appeared in his mental power. Eamon, is it too much to do such shameful things on my body? What the hell? Remains. Huaxian looked at the huge island and was shocked. The other party claimed that it was a body. Then what kind of body was it? What kind of creature are you? I couldn't help but ask curiously. I have lived for tens of millions of years and have long since become a spirit. Even if my body dies, my soul still exists. You could say that I have transformed from a sea turtle into a real island. A 1,000-year-old turtle, a 10,000-year-old tortoise, a 10-million-year-old monster. Senior, we are sorry for disturbing you. We will leave now. No, there's no point in apologizing. You can leave if you want. Leave half of your woman to me, and I'll let you go. At this time, a young man in armor appeared from the blur on the ground. Ignoring Huaxian, he looked at Otilia and the others and said, you stay, and you stay too. They were wondering who this guy was, but they didn't expect to hear such inexplicable words. Honey, what does he mean? Xiayene asked curiously. The others also looked at Huaxian in surprise. He said that we practiced dual cultivation on his body and it affected him. Now I want to leave, so I have to leave half of you to him. Are there any of you willing to stay? The 12 people said in unison. We don't want to. Nidie asked, hubby, what is he? Huaxian smiled and said, a sea turtle that has lived for tens of millions of years. This flower island is its body. Ah, doesn't that mean he has seen all our bodies? Husband, he took advantage of us and looked at your wife's body. Don't you want to teach him a lesson? Judy said. Huaxian's eyes lit up, and he stared at the young man who had transformed from a sea turtle and said, my wife is right. You looked at their bodies, and you looked at my wife's body. Don't you have to give an explanation? The young man who turned into a turtle smiled and said, you want to tell me? Fine, they all stay and become my women. I will be responsible for them all, and you can leave now. Are you provoking me? Huaxian's voice became much colder. Steal his woman? Is the system just for show? Provoke you? No, you think too much. I really order you to leave while I'm in a good mood. Otherwise, what else? Let's see if your turtle shell can withstand my power. Huaxian began to concentrate his strength. Very good. Arrogant human, since you want to die, I will grant your wish. Even if you die, they will still belong to me. After he finished speaking, he disappeared from the spot in an instant, and appeared behind Huaxian the next moment. It can be seen that this young turtle who has lived for tens of millions of years is not simple. A punch went towards the back of Huaxian's head. If it were the previous Huaxian, he would have been caught in this instant. Now, having mastered the basic all-around combat skills, Huaxian just instinctively turned around and punched. Boom! With a loud bang, the two fists collided, and circles of terrifying power ripples spread out. Cracks were almost appearing in the space, and the scene was extremely terrifying. The surrounding seawater was squeezed by the force, creating huge waves. Balyo and the others had already flown far away, and were watching this scene in shock. This 10-million-year-old turtle is so strong, Nityai said in shock. No matter how strong he is definitely no match for our husband. That's right, our husband hasn't used his full strength yet. Next time, I will definitely beat him until he vomits blood. Chapter 141, Turtle Fist. Turtle Fist. The young turtle launched a violent attack. Fortunately, Huaxian had mastered basic all-around combat skills and was able to cope with it. What is shocking is that the power of this tens-of-millions-year-old turtle is definitely more than 1 billion. So it can fight him on equal terms. It is unbelievable that there are still such ancient and terrifying creatures on Earth in the 21st century. It seems that there are too many mysteries on Earth. Balyo and the others couldn't see the battle clearly. They could only hear the thunderous collision sounds. The area within a radius of 10 miles was filled with a powerful aura of strength. And the waves were rolling in all directions. I had already retreated to a height of 10 miles away, looking at the battle vortex in shock. Do you think my husband can beat this turtle that has lived for tens of millions of years? Stephen began to doubt. He can definitely beat her. I think my husband is practicing with this rare, multi-million-year-old sea turtle. That must be the case. On the battlefield, the young turtle who had been unable to defeat the attribute said angrily, "Human, you feel satisfied, forcing me to reveal my true body." Boom boom. Following the call of the young turtle, the originally silent island began to tremble. A huge movement affected the seawater within a radius of 30 miles. With huge waves and roaring thunder. The thundercloud storm could be clearly seen from 100 miles away. Shit, which fellow Taoist is going through the tribulation? Someone in the Eastern Kingdom said jokingly, not believing that the noise was made by a human. Huaxian looked at the young turtle in front of him, wearing a heavy turtle shell, and did not dare to be careless. Angel wings. He also became serious, and a pair of angel wings appeared on his back. Angel, you are actually an angel? The young turtle said in shock when he saw his pair of wings. God bless you if I don't know, little turtle boy, take your beating. Huaxian burst out rapidly and approached the turtle youth. The speed was so fast that the young turtle could only see a shadow. Bang! With a loud bang, his head was hit hard, he became dizzy, and fell directly into the sea. Instinctively, it retracted its head and limbs into its shell. Boom boom boom! Huaxian launched a violent attack on his turtle shell. The speed was too fast, and the young turtle had no time to react and could only passively take the beating. He thought he could defeat this human by summoning his original turtle shell, but he didn't expect the turtle shell to become his tool to avoid being beaten by the human. Although he did not suffer any direct injuries, the continuous beating and vibrations made him miserable. Stop it, human. I won't make things difficult for you. I allow you to take your woman away. The young turtle roared angrily. The sound was so loud that Ottilie and the others heard it. Look at what I said, my husband was just practicing. Now he's serious and is going to beat the young turtle. You deserve to be beaten up. You dare to set your sights on us without even considering who our women are. Transparent eyes. Huaxian even opened his transparent eyes and could see the entire condition of the turtle shell. Under his continuous attacks, tiny cracks actually appeared inside the hard turtle shell. If he continued to attack, it would break sooner or later. If you want me to let you go, that's not impossible. Just give me that turtle-shaped fist of yours and I'll let you go. Human, you are dreaming. The turtle-shaped fist is the inherited magical skill of our race and is not for outsiders. The turtle boy roared angrily. Really? Then I'll let you see my true power. The light-related superpowers are activated. Feeling the power of light. A turtle completely believed that this guy was definitely an angel hidden among humans. Damn, no wonder he possesses such terrifying power at such a young age. What a weak guy. Stop, I can promise to teach you the turtle fist. But you must promise not to teach it to anyone else. Sorry, I can't do that. Fists are meant to be used for punching. If everyone learns your turtle fist will flourish. You should thank me and beg me to spread the turtle fist. By then, billions of creatures will know that your turtle fist is extremely powerful. That's what fame means. Shameless, then why don't you tell me your secrets of magic skills? I can also help you develop them. You can't learn mine. Hurry up and teach me the turtle fist, otherwise I won't be able to control the huge power. Huaxian pretended that he couldn't control the power of light. The young turtle roared, okay, I will teach you, but my bottom line is that you can only teach it to the people around you. Otherwise I will never teach it to you even if I die. Make a deal. The young turtle was depressed and regretted passing on the inherited magical skill, the turtle-shaped fist, to Huaxian. Huaxian, who has a photographic memory, easily mastered the complex and profound turtle fist, and felt it was mysterious and powerful. System, Turtle Fist. Can it be taught directly to the heroines? Ding, okay. Each transfer will consume 1 million reinforcement points. In the past, 1 million strengthening points were a sky price. But now there are more than 1 billion strengthening points left. Huaxian feels that 1 million strengthening points are just a small problem. Thank you for your gift, little turtle. After Huaxian finished speaking, he flew towards Tilly and the others. Ladies, I'm back. Husband, do we have to ask for some compensation for defeating that young Ritterny? Lydia said. Don't worry about asking for compensation. His ancestral boxing technique, the turtle fist, is extremely powerful. I'll give it to you. Would you like to learn it? Yes. Everyone said in unison. They now have great strength but no fighting skills. So they naturally desire to acquire powerful martial arts. Okay, come one by one, and I will use mystical means to teach you the essence of the turtle fist. I'll go first. Xia was the first to come to Huaxian. Huaxian pretended to practice martial arts and placed his hand on her forehead. System, teach Xia the turtle fist. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully teaching Xia the turtle fist. 1 million enhancement points were consumed. The current remaining enhancement points are 1.5 billion for million, 497,790 points. Next. Honey, I'll do it. It took a full 10 minutes to teach them the turtle fist. Honey, I didn't expect this turtle-shaped fist to be so mysterious. I thought the turtle's boxing skills were rubbish, Valia said. Huaxian smiled bitterly and said, this is the boxing technique passed down by the ancestors of sea turtles who have lived for tens of millions of years. It is definitely at the level of divine power. Underestimate it. I understand, husband. We will promote the turtle form fist. Xia said excitedly. I feel so strong after learning the turtle fist. My fighting ability has improved by several levels compared to before. Me too. Let's go, hurry up, it's time to meet those so-called immortal cultivators. Chapter 142, he is definitely a true immortal. Oh, Helen's whistle sounded from a distance. Huaxian and his friends looked over and saw a huge port in the distance with many cargo ships docked. This place doesn't belong to any country on the map. Right? How could there be such a big seaport? Emily said in shock. This should be the territory of the Xiuzyan Alliance. After all, Xiuzyan is not a real immortal and he still needs to live. These cargo ships should be used to transport supplies. Otilia analyzed. Will it scare the children if we fly over like this? Xia said. Now that they have strong strength. They are very confident. Look, what is that? Someone spotted Huaxian flying from a distance and shouted in shock. Oh my god, so many people are flying here. Are they all immortal cultivators? Of course, they are still very powerful immortal cultivators. Only they can fly in the sky. Airplanes and cannons are just toys in front of them. More and more people put down what they are doing and look into the distance. Oh my god, look carefully, there are so many beautiful women. Look, that beauty's legs are so long, I'm afraid they must be about 1 meters long, right? Why don't you mention that her height is also scary? And she's so pretty, I wish she could be my wife. Don't dream. You are not a cultivator, but a fairy. She won't be attracted to you if she recognizes the wrong person. Amidst people's discussions, Huaxian and his team flew directly out of the city. Only then did I realize that, except for the 3 main peaks, the rest of this huge island had been built into a human city. There are also various buildings on the main peak. Stop, Shenzhen Peak. No one except those from our Shenzhen sect is allowed to enter. Just when Huaxian and his companions were about to fly to the top of the mountain, a cultivator who is comparable to a 6th level genetic warrior flew up and blocked their way. I want to go up, you can't stop me, Huaxian said and was about to move forward. How dare you? This is the immortal sect. This is not a place where barbaric cultivators like you can run wild. Why don't you leave immediately? The other parties shouted angrily, while also bursting out with a powerful aura. So weak. After Valia said this, a force of power pressed forward. In an instant, the guy fell to the ground, his face full of fear. When Huaxian and his companions approached the peak of the mountain, the strong men on the mountain noticed them. But I didn't take it to heart. When they saw a girl exploded and their strong men were trampled and fell, they were all shocked and could not sit still any longer and rushed out. Who are you? What do you want to do in my immortal sect? An old man asked in a stern voice. Oh, there are still quite a few powerful guys here. You should know that some situations have occurred on the earth. Why don't you go out and take care of them? Huaxian asked coldly. One person said ruthlessly, what do worldly matters have to do with us cultivators? If we interfere in worldly matters, it will just be a mess. Mundane things? You actually said the invasion from the genetic world is mundane things? Huaxian asked angrily. That's right, that's just mundane stuff. These disasters are destined for the people and cannot be changed by cultivators like me. This guy was as indifferent as ever. Huaxian smiled. Really? If so, then my coming here is also destined for you? Take action and destroy the cultivation of all the level for Gene Warriors and above. Make them ordinary people, and then they will understand the sufferings of the world. You think you can destroy us? If that's the case, then we'll destroy you first. A war between the two sides is about to break out. When the battle actually broke out, these people were terrified. They had no power to fight back against any of them. The Diantian that stores internal energy was ruthlessly shattered by Vialia and the others. Even if there are strong people with tens of millions of attributes, they are no match for Attili and the others. The turtle fist is not just for show. In just a few minutes, all the immortal cultivators in the immortal sect who were comparable to level 4 genetic warriors and above were turned into waste. In addition to fear and despair, they also felt deep regret and anger. Some people practice Taoism for 100 years but end up like this. What I hate the most is that they ended up like this just because they ignored worldly affairs. They are unwilling to accept this. I also regret offending Huaxian and others. However, it is useless once it is useless, no matter whether they regret it or not. The people and the remaining peaks saw what happened to the immortal sect and became panic-stricken. Some people were so scared that they tried to fly away secretly. But were locked down by a destructive force. They stayed where they were and dared not move at all, feeling extremely desperate. In the entire city, all cultivators with a strength of 11, 0 or more, gather at the Shinxian sect square at this hour or so. Those who are late will die. Huaxian's cold voice spread throughout the city. Immediately countless immortal cultivators headed towards the immortal sect square. No one dares to rely on luck. Soon, those strong men who could fly arrived first. Seeing Huaxian and the others standing on the ground, they quickly dropped to the ground one by one, acting as if they were inferior to others. Are all of you here? Huaxian asked coldly. Come. Everyone is here. A strong man said, trembling. Lie. Do you know why I am worried about you all? Everyone shook their heads. The immortal cultivators who used to be so domineering and arrogant are now as obedient as primary school students. The genetic world invaded the earth, and you just ignored it. But I heard that there are also human beings who are causing trouble. I wonder if this is true. No, nothing like that. Someone hurriedly said. I don't want to investigate either. I'm here to warn you. If you think you're great at cultivating immortals, then cultivate well, but don't be arrogant and do evil in the secular world because of your little cultivation. You can do good things, but if anyone does evil and I find out, the fate of the people from the immortal sect will be the same. Did you understand everything? As this question was asked, a power of billions burst out and the space instantly twisted as if it was about to shatter. The terrifying air currents shuttled through the bodies of every cultivator, as if they would die with just a thought. This feeling penetrated deep into their hearts and made them extremely terrified. I understand, sir, please calm down, someone said in panic. Only then did Huaxian put away his aura. Then he said, in cultivating immortality, in addition to cultivating the mind, the main thing is to cultivate character. If the character is not good, no matter how strong it is useless. Cultivating immortality and accumulating virtue is a blessing. Only with great blessings can one really achieve enlightenment and become an immortal. Everyone, take care of yourselves. My will fill the entire world. Whether you are doing evil or doing good deeds, I can sense it. It is best not to be led astray. After he finished speaking, Huaxian had already reached high altitude. Xiayine and the others quickly chased after them. So scary, he is definitely a true immortal. Chapter 143. Return to Dragon Kingdom. Honey, where are we going next? Asked Valia. I haven't seen them for a long time since I went to Longguo. I miss them so much. Thinking of Huang Xingyu and Murong Fir, Huaxian always felt that he had treated them unfairly. How about this, you go to the base in the United States and wait for me. I'll pick them up and come back to find you, then we'll go to that genetic world together. Are we going to the genetic world? Attilia was shocked. Why, you don't want to? No, I will go wherever my husband goes. It's just that it's another world and I'm a little nervous. Attilia explained quickly. Why are you so nervous? Even if we go to that world, we will still be the dominant ones. That's right, as long as we follow our husband, we are invincible. Sophia said. Okay, all of you go to the Human Alliance headquarters and wait for me. It will be faster for me to go to Dragon Country alone. Whoosh. After he finished speaking, he disappeared from their sight in an instant. The agility speed is at the billion level, which is extremely terrifying and faster than lightning. A few hours later, Huaxian looked at the strange city full of science fiction atmosphere and felt deeply moved. This was all thanks to the two women. Through the heroine's location lock, it was discovered that both of them were busy. Hu Xian appeared outside an office. Boss, there's a very handsome young man outside who wants to visit our home. The assistant walked into the office and said, "No, tell those men who have nothing to do that I have a husband. No matter how good they are garbage compared to my husband." Hu Xian, who had already walked into the office, smiled and asked, "Really?" Hearing this familiar voice, Huang Xingyu's body trembled violently, and she looked up in disbelief, seeing that overly handsome face. Even so, she still recognized him at the first sight, tears welling up in her eyes. "Husband." She flew over and threw herself into Hu Xian's arms, hugging him tightly, as if he would disappear if she let go. "Husband, really? Are you really back? It's me. Thank you for your hard work during this period." "My dear wife," Hu Xian said with concern. "It's not hard. Not hard at all, husband, please love me." Hu Xian understood instantly. "Okay." He kissed her passionately, and Huang Xingyu responded with extreme craziness. The assistant at the side tactfully left the office. After a while, the office was filled with spring scenery. "Husband, how can there be such powerful strength?" Huang Xingyu couldn't help but ask in shock as she felt the power surging in her body. "Because my husband's cultivation has improved a lot. The effect of dual cultivation is even better. The 4 attributes of the world have skyrocketed by 50 million. The full 200 million enhancement points consumed. How can it not be powerful? Thank you, husband." At the same time, Hu Xian also gave the income generated by turtle-shaped fist to Huang Xingyu. It took 3 full hours for the two to end their lovemaking. Hu Xian sat on the sofa, Huang Xingyu curled up in his arms, feeling extremely happy. "Hubby, please don't leave Xingyu anymore. Okay?" Huang Xingyu said in a pleading tone. "Okay. I won't leave Xingyu in the future even if I leave. I'll take you with me." "Thank you, husband. I know you are the best." "Wife, let's go find Feir." "Well, go find Feir quickly. She misses you very much, and she is very careful and conscientious in doing things. Fearing that you will be dissatisfied when you come back. I know, you've worked hard from now on, just let the employees do this kind of thing. You don't have to do it yourself, just stay by my side and be my baby." "Hubby, this is what you said, don't lie to us." "Of course I received it. I will never deceive you." Soon, they arrived at the scene. Murong Feir was wearing jeans and a black t-shirt. Her proud figure was extremely eye-catching. She was wearing a safety helmet, which made Hu Xian feel distressed. "Just because of one word from me. They paid so much." "Feir, look who this is." Hearing Huang Xingyu's voice, Murong Feir turned around abruptly. When I saw that familiar face with a bright smile, I was stunned for a moment. Tears of excitement instantly flowed out. After a while, she sobbed and said, "Hubby, is it really you?" Even though the person was right in front of me, I still couldn't believe it. "It's me. It must be me." Hu Xian came to her and gently held her in his arms. Only when she felt the reality and warmth of the embrace did Murong Feir believe that all this was real. "Hubby, it's really you. Please don't leave Feir again. Okay?" she said while hugging Hu Xian tightly, as if she was afraid that he would disappear if she let go. "Okay, husband promises you that I will never abandon you again. No matter where I go, I will take you with me." "Honey, I want it," Murong Feir said shyly. "It's been several months since I last had it. So of course I want it." "Okay, let's go now." They picked up Murong Feir and left the construction site. Huang Xingyu followed behind with a smile. I came to a high-tech hotel and entered a room at random because it was my own property. As a high-tech hotel, when someone checks in, it will be displayed as if they are there. With fully intelligent services, you can just give intelligent orders if you need anything. Hu Xian and Murong Feir were cuddling for a while. Just like Huang Zuyu, each of the 4 attributes strengthened her by 50 million. Only after satisfying Murong Feir did he follow them home. After returning to their new home, the 3 families still lived together. You are finally back. You don't know how much your 2 sisters-in-law who are alone in the empty house look like you." Hu Yanni rushed over and hugged Hu Xian's arm and said, "Son, you're back. Hurry and cook. You don't know that every time you cook for the past few months, your dad says his stomach becomes tasteless." Hu's mother Zhang Hongyan shouted, "Mom, I'll go cook now." "Son-in-law, you're finally back. You won't leave this time, right?" Both the father-in-law and the mother-in-law came out and asked. "I'll go cook first. As for other things, we can talk while we eat later." Hu Xian rushed to the kitchen. This time he took out special ingredients. Honey and tiger meat of the best quality. Any of these ingredients can strengthen your body, and are truly treasures. Adding some century-old Ganaterum lucidum is simply the best tonic among all. In less than 2 hours, 2 large tables of delicious food were ready. Wow, it seems like I can't help it. Hu Yanni was the first to rush to the table, picked up a piece of meat and started eating. "Wow, brother, what kind of meat is this? It smells so good." After eating it, I feel a warm current, which is very comfortable. If you like it, eat more. This meat is not simple. Eating it can strengthen your body. I have also added treasures to other dishes. You can eat as much as you can, it is very beneficial. Chapter 144, Going Alone. 3 days later Hu Xin decided to leave. A total of $450 were transferred to the company account during these 3 days for the renovation of New Suzhou City. The burden of transformation fell on her younger sister Hu Yanni. Hu Yanni was so happy to be the chairman of such a big project that she agreed happily. Brother, sister-in-law, you can go out and have fun without worry. When you come back, the brand new look of Sucheng will blind your eyes, Hu Yanni said confidently. Okay, I believe in you. When I come back again, I will give you a big surprise. Really, brother, you won't let me down, right? When has my brother ever disappointed you? Everything was arranged, and Hu Xin was ready to leave with Huang Xingyu and Mu Rongfei. During these 3 days, he gave his family a lot of nourishment. Their physical fitness improved dramatically, and their strength was 4 or 5 times that of ordinary people. With such bodies, Hu Xin left with peace of mind. Coming to an empty quarter, Hu Xin hugged Huang Xingyu and Mu Rongfei and flew away from the bookstore. Although both of them can fly by themselves, there is nothing more blissful than being taken flying by Hu Xin. The two snuggled in Hu Xian's arms and felt unprecedented happiness. This is the real way to help you show off and fly. 3 days later, across the Pacific Ocean, we arrived at the headquarters of the Human Security Alliance. Mr. Hu, you are finally here. The space gate nodes connecting to the Gene World are becoming more and more stable. People from the Gene World should be able to enter our world at any time. Therefore, you must go to the Gene World as soon as possible to stop them from coming. A US senior official said excitedly when they saw Hu Xin. Okay, I got it. Where are my women? Tell them to come over and we can set off. What, you want to take them with you? Mr. Hu, I think it's better not to take them with you for now. We haven't done any research on the space gate. Even the people from the genetic world that set up the space gate can't come over. The space gate is probably very unstable. There are many dangerous factors that we don't know about. Therefore, I don't recommend that you take your women with you. If you must take them with you, I suggest that you go there first and find out the situation before you come back to take them with you. Otherwise, barring any unexpected events, you will regret it for the rest of your life. The other party tried hard to persuade him. Obviously, he meant it sincerely and what he said made sense. At this time, Xia and the others came over. Husband, he is right. If we follow you now, we will only become a burden and affect your performance. So we'd better not go there for now. It won't be too late for you to come and pick us up after you have settled down there. Xia said. Hubby, we sisters have discussed it and decided not to follow you on the adventure for now. We will fight alongside you once things are stable. Even the piranha plant said so. Mu Rongfei and Huang Xingyu were already stunned when they saw the harmonious woman. Husband, are they all the women you found in the United States? Huang Xingyu asked in disbelief. Honey, I'm sorry. Husband, you don't have to explain, I understand. You are so outstanding, it's normal that many girls like you. I'm just surprised that there are so many since they all love you sincerely. I will get along well with them, Huang Xingyu said. Hearing this, Hu Xin hurriedly hugged her tightly and said, Thank you, Xingyu, my wife, I will love you and Defei even more. Mu Rongfei also came over, and the three of them hugged each other tightly. Husband, although you said you would take us with you wherever you go, the place you are going next seems very dangerous. They don't want to be a burden to you. Xingyu and I definitely can't be a burden to you either. So you can go with peace of mind. We will be waiting for you to come back and pick us up. Mu Rongfei said firmly. Deep down, she was extremely eager to be with Hu Xin. Thank you. And you too. Xia Vaya Piranha. Let me introduce you to them. They are Huang Xingyu and Mu Rongfei. They are the women who have followed me from the beginning. I love them very much and hope that you can get along well with each other while I am away. Don't worry, husband, we will all get along well with each other. We will never cause you any trouble. Tilia was the first to speak out. Hubby, we are not children anymore. We know what to do. Just go and do the great work of saving humanity. We are proud of you. Well, having such a sensible daughter-in-law like you is the greatest luck in my life. Hu Xin, I love you. With their arms open, all the women rushed over, and the 15 of them hugged each other tightly. The top leaders of the alliance standing by were extremely envious. But so many wives, and yet he could make them get along so harmoniously. It was truly a skill. After a quarter of an hour of farewell, Hu Xin followed a general of the alliance and left in an armed helicopter as they reluctantly saw him off. 3 days later, Deep Bay has arrived. A general looked at the bottom of the Deep Bay and said, The portal to the genetic world is right below the light spot you can see is here. They have deployed a group of nuclear bombs here so that we can blow up the space gate when necessary. So there is no one here anymore. Your mission is to pass through the space gate and completely destroy it. It is very dangerous because once you pass through, it will be very difficult to come back. The general spoke the truth. Hu Xian smiled bitterly and said, that is to say, even if I destroyed the space gate, it would be almost impossible for me to come back. I might stay in that world forever. Right? It's very likely, but it can't be ruled out. When you destroyed the space door, you returned along the impulse space. It all depends on your luck. Okay, I get it. Can I just jump down now? Okay, I'll be leaving then. Hu Xian jumped into the ocean. As for coming back, with his system, he didn't even consider this issue. But the splash, he fell into the sea and swam rapidly towards the light spot deep under the sea. Going downstream, the speed is getting faster and faster. The dark deep sea has no effect on the vision. Whoosh! A huge whale passed by him. At the same time, we also saw many deep sea creatures, such as deep sea octopuses. In short, the seabed is a beautiful world with rich natural species. These species must have never seen humans before and have no fear at all. Many of them swam past Hu Xian, and some even swam with him. Hu Xian couldn't help but reach out and touch a glowing plankton. Instead, the creature swam to the back of his hand and stayed there until Hu Xian dived deeper and deeper and deeper, and the water pressure became greater and greater. And then it left. After about 10,000 meters, we finally saw the portal. It was very huge, almost 3 meters in size, and emitted strange waves in the deep sea water. Chapter 145, Dark Light. Hu Xian walked around the glass-thin portal. It feels mysterious. He couldn't help but stretch out a hand out of curiosity and entered the waves. There was a huge suction sound, and his billion-level strength was unable to resist it. It felt like being grabbed by a thug and yanked forward. After passing through the waves, I entered a dark world. In the distance, there was another spot of light. Hu Xian just felt extremely surprised. Whoosh! A dark light suddenly appeared. At this moment, Hu Xian felt an extremely strong sense of crisis. He felt that his body and soul would instantly turn to ashes if hit by this dark light. Moving here was dangerous enough. The next moment, more dark lights appeared, so dense that there was nowhere to hide. Fuck, this is murder. In this situation, which creature can pass through here? I finally understood why, even though the space portal was opened, no creatures from the genetic world came over. This dark light, his power of a billion level, just seeing it made him feel like he was half destroyed. It was too terrifying. Angel wings. Step into the air. For the first time, Hu Xian used the angel wings and also performed the air step. The speed was so terrifying that it was almost breaking through the entire building. It was extremely fast. Transparent eyes. See through the dark light and gray space in front of you at a glance. Looking for a chance to survive in desperate situations. Fortunately, Hu Xian discovered that these dark lights appeared irregularly. Because of this, they looked densely packed. Hu Xian took advantage of these gaps, and with the help of the angel wings and the rapid burst of air steps, he shuttled through the gaps in the dark light and headed towards the light spots in front. This situation seems simple, but it is actually extremely dangerous. Because the dark light was so terrifying, Hu Xian discovered that countless dents and tiny cracks appeared in the dark space because of the dark light. Fortunately, the self-repairability of this void space is also terrifyingly strong, and it can repair itself quickly. Fortunately, he had transparent eyes that could see through the essence of everything. Otherwise, no matter how fast he was, he would not be able to survive the dense movement of dark light. The dark light became more and more, almost filling the entire empty space. At this time, in the distance, Hu Xian saw an extremely terrifying white aura flying towards the dark light. The dark light was shattered wherever the white aura passed. This creates a brief blank space behind the white aura. The shattered dark lights are also rapidly reorganizing. Hu Xian guessed that this white aura was probably used by people from the genetic world to destroy the dark light in order to reach the Earth. However, this white aura was obviously not powerful enough. It lost its power and gradually disappeared after only 100 meters. Hu Xian seized the opportunity and moved forward at full speed. Finally, before the dark lights reorganized, he entered the blank space created by the white aura and accelerated forward. As we got closer to the light spot, it became bigger and bigger. Just at this moment, the second terrifying aurora borealis shot out from the light gate. Hu Xian was horrified and quickly hid behind the dense dark light. Magnetic. This time, Hu Xian saw with his own eyes the dark light being shattered by the white aura, and heard the strange sound of the two extreme lights colliding and trembling. Under the attack of the terrifying white aurora, the dark light was vulnerable, but it was only shattered and did not disappear. Bei Guan passed by and Hu Xian rushed to the door. Rushed over suddenly. Boom! There was a loud bang, like the sound of breaking glass. Holy shit, what is that? Oh my god, there are creatures rushing out of the space gate. Have we successfully opened up a certain space? Huaxian heard such a scream, which turned out to be the dragon country language. Looking back, I saw that these people were indeed the same as the dragon people. Seeing their surprised expressions, he burst out at extreme speed and disappeared on the spot. He didn't want to be caught by these people and used as a guinea pig. What a terrifying speed! It feels like he is a terrifying being who has unlocked the 10th level of the gene lock. I can also feel the power of light from him. I seem to see wings of light flapping. Could it be the legendary angels? But isn't it Earth's ancestral land that we opened the space gate to? Who knows? Let's chase him. If we find him, won't we be able to find out everything? Where are the high-powered cameras and satellites? Have they locked onto that guy? Damn it, the high-powered camera was destroyed along with the wider aura transmitter when that guy rushed out. As for the satellite signal, it was temporarily blocked due to the wider aura emission and the huge magnetic field surge. We were unable to lock onto that guy at all. Chase him. Even if that guy is very powerful, he will definitely get hurt after passing through the dense dark light. He won't be able to run far. A group of strong men chased towards the place where Huaxian fled. Huaxian drove at full speed and found that this should be an experimental base. It was full of futuristic technology and even more sci-fi than the ones in the movies. From this we can see that this is a super technological world that is superior to the Earth's civilization. Soon, I saw a place that looked like a hospital. Huaxian rushed in. Immediately concealing his breath, rushed into an office. And without saying a word, picked up the white coat and put it on. Put on a mask, and walked to the desk and sat down. A nurse ran in a panic. Doctor, quick, emergency patient, quick. He was so anxious that he shouted. Walked over, grabbed Huaxian and ran away. At this time, the group of people who were chasing Huaxian also rushed over. Better to run into them. Stop, who is he? A man asked majestically. Sir, she is the only free doctor in our hospital right now. The director's daughter, Chen Yuanayan, has an acute illness. If she can't get treatment, can you afford the consequences? After hearing this, the group of bigwigs who suspected Huaxian no longer dared to embarrass him. After all, if they delayed the treatment of Chen Yuanayan, the dean's anger would be something they could not bear. A nurse pulled Huaxian and rushed to the intensive care unit. A big shot said, I feel like this doctor looks familiar. As if I've seen him somewhere before? Nonsense, this is the hospital of the Star Realm Research Institute. Who hasn't been here a few times? Isn't it normal that the doctors here look familiar? That's right, that guy has an obvious Sora Eve light power. It can't be him. Let's find him quickly, he must be hiding somewhere. After all, this is the Star Research Institute, he can trush out. Let's search separately, we must find him. Huaxian heaved a sigh of relief. The aura given to him by those big guys just now was at least at the billion level. And most probably close to the 100 billion level. Apart from a slight advantage in speed, he had no advantage in combat power. Fortunately, he disguised himself as a doctor and happened to meet an important patient. Otherwise he would have been captured and used as a guinea pig. Chapter 146, I'm dying. Soon he arrived at the intensive care unit. Hurry, doctor, Miss Chen is inside, the situation is very serious. Please hurry. Huaxian pushed Huaxian into the intensive care unit. At first glance, I saw a very pretty girl dressed in black, with a pale face, lying on the hospital bed. It was obvious that the disease had just broken out and there was no time to change the patient's clothes when he was sent here. When it comes to seeing a doctor, Huaxian knows nothing about it. But it's not a big problem because with the system, it's just a small problem. System, how many enhancement points do I need to enhance my Divine Doctor level medical skills? Ding, strengthening the Divine Doctor level medical skills requires 100 million strengthening points. Do you want to strengthen the Divine Doctor level medical skills? Damn, so expensive? Strengthen it. Although it is terribly expensive, we have to strengthen it, otherwise we won't be able to get away with it. Ding, congratulations to the host for successfully strengthening his Divine Doctor level medical skills. 100 million strengthening points were consumed, and the remaining strengthening points are 955,497, 790 points. Doctor, don't just stand there, come and see Miss Chen. The nurse surged again. Huaxian then walked over, grabbed Chen Yuanayan's wrist and took her pulse. And his eyes darkened and he glanced at Chen Yuanayan. You simply. Chen Yuanayan saw what Huaxian was going to say, and was shocked by his medical skills, so she quickly said, I'm not going to make it at all, am I? Huaxian nodded and said to the nurse, hurry up and prepare high calcium glucose and. Huaxian mentioned a bunch of items at once. The nurse took note and ran there quickly. Huaxian and Chen Yuanayan were the only ones left in the intensive care unit. Miss Chen, why you pretending to be sick? Huaxian asked curiously. Chai Yuanayan said coldly, Why do you want to pretend to be a doctor at our Star Realm Research Institute hospital? What do you mean, Miss Chen? I don't understand what you are talking about. Stop pretending others may not be familiar with the doctors in the hospital. But I, Chen Yuanian, am very familiar with them. You are not a doctor in the hospital at all. Tell me the truth, who are you? Huaxian didn't expect that he would be exposed in front of Chen Yuanian. It doesn't matter who I am, what matters is that you want to leave this Astral Academy. It just so happens that I want to leave too, so we can work together. I can leave if I want to, I don't need to cooperate with you. On the contrary, if I tell your identity to others, you will definitely be thrown away. DSK, if you could go out whenever you wanted, you would have gone out a long time ago and you wouldn't have pretended to be sick. Only if we cooperate can we win together. How can we cooperate? I have a way to make you really sick, and very sick. The doctors here can't cure it, only I can help you stabilize your condition. Then, can't we leave this damn place naturally? Really? Chen Yuanian's eyes lit up. My medical skills can tell at a glance that you are faking illness. How can I deceive you? Well, I'll trust you this time. Speak quickly, what do I need to prepare? You don't need to prepare anything. I've asked the nurse to get everything you need, just wait for her to get it. And then we can implement the plan. And tell me, who are you? What is your purpose in sneaking into our Star Realm Research Institute? Chen Yuanian asked seriously. Okay, I'll tell you the truth. I was actually trying to destroy the Stargate you were researching. But I found that there were too many experts, so I backed out. DSK, you want to destroy our Stargate? Dream on. At this time, a burst of hurried footsteps was heard. The nurse arrived pushing a load of medicine. Doctor, I have brought all the medicines you requested. Please treat Miss Chen as soon as possible. Okay. I can't be disturbed while I'm healing you. Go guard the door and don't let anyone in. Do you understand? Understood. The nurse left quickly. Huaxian picked up the medicine and started preparing it. Take this medicine, and then I'll give you a set of acupuncture. Within 24 hours, you will fall into a critical condition where you are about to die. But no one can tell what the serious illness is in this way. They will definitely transfer you to a better hospital. And then we will look for an opportunity to escape. Okay, come quickly, but you can't run away alone after you get out. If I can't escape, I will definitely betray you. Okay. I know, I can't bear to leave such a beautiful woman like you. Huaxian said with a smile. You'd better know your own limitations and don't set your sights on me. Otherwise you will die a miserable death, Chen Yuanian threatened. Huaxian finished the acupuncture treatment soon. Puff. Chen Yuanian spat out a mouthful of black blood. I just felt pain all over my body, and it felt like I was going to die. What did you do to me? Chen Yuanian asked in panic. Don't be nervous, this is the effect, don't worry. You won't have it, but if you don't achieve this effect, do you think you can fool other doctors? Hearing this, Chen Yuanian could only choose to believe it, thinking that she was willing to risk it all to leave here. Her screams caused the nurse to rush in without caring about disturbing the doctor. Miss Chen, what's wrong with you? Doctor, what did you do to Miss Chen? Why is she in so much pain? A nurse asked nervously. Now is not the time to question these things. Hurry up and notify other doctors and experts. Tell them that Miss Chen is probably dying and must be transferred to a better hospital. Upon hearing this, the nurse ran away quickly. After a while, we arrived at an independent office. Dean, something terrible has happened. The young lady's illness has exploded. Is she going to die? She's pretending to be sick again, the dean said lightly. No, Dean, this time is different. You should go and see her right away. Miss Chen is really dying. Hearing this, the dean stood up nonchalantly and walked towards the intensive care unit. As he got closer, he heard Chen Yuanian's miserable screams. He could tell that this time he wasn't pretending. His expression changed drastically, and he quickly trotted over. Other doctors were alarmed by Chen Yuanian's scream and came over. After examining her, they shook their heads. Granddaughter, what's wrong with you? Looking at Chen Yuanian, who was in so much pain that she looked like she would die at any moment, the dean asked in panic. Grandpa, am I going to die? I don't want to die, I really don't want to. Puff. The large mouthful of black blood spurted out. Dr. Liu, what's going on? What happened to my granddaughter? Dean, I don't know either. The body I examined was full of dead energy. The situation is very bad. It may die at any time, but I couldn't diagnose what's going on. Where's Dr. Wang and Expert Ma? They're both dead. Oh, call them over here. Chapter 147, I'm afraid in case you fall in love with me. Subsequently, various top doctors and experts conducted a comprehensive examination on Chen Yuanian, but they could not find the cause of the disease and were unable to do anything. Dean, although our medical skills are not low, we are not specialized after all. We should send Chen Yuanian to Seoul Hospital as soon as possible. I am now using acupuncture to relieve Chen Yuan's pain. Chang Xin took this opportunity to perform acupuncture. After a few injections, Chen Yuan's condition improved significantly and she was no longer in so much pain. Grandpa, am I going to die? Chen Yuan looked at the dean reluctantly and said. Her acting skills were so good that Hu Xin almost couldn't help but give her a thumbs up. Nonsense, don't be afraid, Grandpa will immediately arrange for someone to send you to Seoul Hospital. There are the best and most professional doctors there. And they can easily handle your condition. The dean said distressed. Thank you, Grandpa, but Grandpa, I was in so much pain just now and I'm afraid of pain. Chen Yuan said. Doesn't this doctor know acupuncture to relieve your pain? He will go with you to Seoul Hospital. Dean Chao said sadly. You must stay with my granddaughter every step of the way. If anything happens to her, you won't be able to come back alive. Don't worry, Dean, this is what I should do. The aircraft was then arranged. A super sci-fi hydrogen-powered aircraft landed at the hospital gate. Hu Xin personally pushed Chen Yuan, who was in a wheelchair, onto the plane. At this time, the group of people chasing Hu Xin came over again and said, Dean, you know what happened at Xingmen, right? After that family said they had abandoned it? We searched all possible places, but still couldn't find it. We suspect that the guy is hiding in the crowd. The dean was concerned about his granddaughter's safety and said impatiently, You are all the top masters I have, but you couldn't even stop a person from the lower world. You let him escape without even seeing his appearance. How are you going to find him? Hu Xin was worried about something going wrong. So he quickly pushed Chen Yuan onto the aircraft. Most people looked at him with suspicion, but they didn't dare to do anything without the dean's order. The leader said, Dean, that guy must be just fast, so he can avoid the dark light and rush to our world. I suspect he is hiding among the medical staff, because they are the only ones wearing masks. Okay, you are suspicious, right? Then let's look for her quickly. All the medical staff are here now, don't waste my time. The dean was very upset because he was concerned about his granddaughter's safety. Come down. Everyone suspected Hu Xin, so they immediately shouted at Hu Xin who got on the aircraft. Chen Yuan finally understood that this guy was definitely not from their world. No wonder he looked so strange. However, she finally had the chance to escape from the nightmare. So how could she miss it? Oh, it hurts, Grandpa, it hurts so much. Immediately showed extreme pain. Puff. He even spat out a large amount of black blood, which was scary to look at. Hu Xin also quickly took out a silver needle to save him. And the pain was gradually suppressed. Dean, we can't afford to delay any longer. As you can see, the duration of my acupuncture is getting shorter and shorter. We must send the young lady to the hospital as soon as possible. Pilot, what are you standing there for? Take off quickly. The dean yelled at the pilot. Dean, that guy. The group of people who were chasing Hu Xin were unwilling to give up. They were already 80% sure that he was the guy they were chasing. That guy is a doctor. He accompanied my granddaughter to the hospital and will be back soon. You should quickly arrest the guy from the underworld for me. After saying that, he left angrily. He had to go and give a heads up to the director of Seoul Hospital. Otherwise those guys might not try their best to treat his granddaughter. On the aircraft. In addition to the driver, there are two guys with genetic attributes of level 100 million. They are both level 8 genetic warriors and are very powerful. The way they were dressed just reflected their identity as bodyguards. What should we do? If we can't deal with these two bodyguards now, we can't escape, Chen Yuan said softly to Hu Xin. No rush, we just left the base not long ago. Let's wait until we get to Seoul Hospital. There are many people in the hospital, so it will be easier for us to leave. Let me make it clear first, you must take me with you, or I will announce that you are not from this world. Hu Xin was stunned. Sure enough, this girl saw something. Okay, I won't abandon you. By the way, can you tell me about this world's monetary system? Silver coins were the lowest currency, gold coins are the main currency. And there are also platinum coins and brick coins. The exchange rate is 1 to 100. You just came to our world, you definitely don't have any money. There's no point asking. Hu Xin breathed a sigh of relief when he heard about the gold coins. There were still 30 days left before the consumption task of 1 gold coin. So there was no rush. The speed of the aircraft was getting faster and faster. And now the scenery outside the window could no longer be seen clearly. And this aircraft accelerate infinitely? Hu Xin asked curiously out of boredom. This is a hydrogen-powered aircraft developed by our Star Rome Research Institute. Theoretically, it can accelerate infinitely. However, after reaching a speed of 6,000 km per hour, it will slow down unless it is equipped with a more advanced engine. However, the state stipulates that the maximum speed of civilian aircraft is 6,008,000 km per hour, so more advanced engines are not suitable for civilian use. I think you can go to school. School has all kinds of knowledge. I'm already old, can I still go to school? Hu Xin asked in surprise. When it comes to going to school, that is his Achilles heel. It's not that his family is short of money, nor that they didn't send him to school, but he was naughty and mischievous, and so he missed out on his studies. Of course you can, as long as you have money. You can go to school with a bunch of younger brothers and sisters even when you are 80 years old. There are no restrictions on your studies, however. The older you are, the more expensive the tuition will be if you want to go to school. You must first make money. Hearing this, Hu Xin was moved. I thought that if I had the chance I could really experience what it was like to go to college to make up for the regrets in my heart. As for money, with the system, his daily worry is how to spend it. Now that he finally has a month's buffer, he is not in a hurry. As for living expenses, doesn't he have this beautiful woman in front of him? You look so excited, as if you really want to go to school. I support you. How about this? You become my younger brother and I'll cover all your tuition fees. How about that? Chen Yuanian seemed to like Hu Xin very much and had the idea of taking him as her younger brother. Hu Xin pretended to be embarrassed and said, "Isn't this bad? What's wrong with that? Do you have money?" Chen Yuanian said. "I'm afraid. What if you fall in love with me?" What? Chen Yuanian was dumbfounded. Then he said with a look of disgust, "You're dreaming. Even if I like them, I won't like you." Chapter 148, Acupuncture and Moxibustion, Physical Exercise Therapy. Seoul Hospital. Those big words can be seen from far away from the aircraft row. The area is very huge. It is more like a research base than a hospital. The building is majestic, full of technology and has a very strong visual impact. As a spacecraft of the Star Research Institute, it has certain privileges, allowing it to directly attack the emergency center building of the hospital like the spacecraft exclusively used by Seoul Hospital. At the aircraft landing platform, a group of experts in white coats were already on standby. Obviously, they all received calls from the dean and were waiting in advance. After all, she is the granddaughter of the director of the Star Realm Research Institute. He has spoken personally, so how could the hospital dare to neglect her? Before the aircraft landed, all parties had already made emergency preparations and were on high alert. When the aircraft was very far away, it began to decrement. And the closer it got to Seoul Hospital, the slower its speed became. Oh my god, that's the Star Realm Research Institute's aircraft. Which important figure is sick? He actually flew directly to Seoul Hospital. This is at least the treatment of a general. When the people in the city saw this scene, they were shocked and started talking about it curiously. The aircraft landed on the tarmac and was immediately surrounded by rescue workers. Hu Xin pushed Chen Yuanian off the plane. Immediately, a professional nurse lifted her onto a high-end ambulance cart. The oxygen mask was not inserted into the nostrils or worn on the mouth. Instead, a fully enclosed, high-quality oxygen space was provided to cover the entire person. It also includes blue light antivirus, which makes all germs have nowhere to hide. Hu Xin was stunned by such advanced medical technology. I secretly exclaimed, "The gap in level between this world and the Earth is extremely huge." A group of experts accompanied them into the emergency room. "You are Chen Yuanian's accompanying doctor, right? Please wait here." When Hu Xin was about to enter the emergency room, he was stopped by a doctor. Hu Xin nodded and said, "Okay. How is it? What are the test results?" Not long after, an old man who looked like a dean came over and asked, "Deputy Dean, the 10 experts are doing their best to treat Miss Chen. 8 minutes have passed so far." Just then, the door of the emergency room opened and a specialist came out. "Vice Dean, you're here just in time. We've done a comprehensive checkup on Chen Yuanian. Her condition is very bad, but we haven't been able to find out what caused it to be so bad." In the emergency room, Chen Yuanian was shocked by Hu Xin's medical skills when she saw that a group of top experts were helpless after various examinations on her. I thought to myself, this guy's medical skills must be superb. Otherwise he wouldn't have pretended to be sick and a group of top experts couldn't find anything abnormal. I must keep him by my side. Who knows, I can continue to pretend to be sick next time. Thinking of this, he became more determined to keep Hu Xin by his side. After all, he had something on him and was not afraid that he would disobey him. After the vice president went in to check personally, he also frowned. How could this happen? There aren't any germs or viruses. But my body functions are so weak that it seems like my life could be affected at any moment. By the way, Miss Chen, can you tell me what you have eaten recently? Chen Yuanian recalled her own situation, which was very similar to the after effects of eating a certain fruit. So she said, "I ate a kind of fruit that was red with white inside, about the size of an apple, and tasted sour and sweet. It was quite delicious." You actually ate the gene-destroying fruit? This is life-threatening. No, my personal doctor can treat me. But my grandfather was frightened by my condition, so he insisted on sending me to you. Your personal doctor? The one outside the door? Yes. Go and call him in. An expert hurried out and asked Hu Xin. Are you Miss Chen's personal doctor? Yes, I am. What's wrong? The vice president wants you to come in. Hu Xin hurried in. Now you wanted to take Chen Yuanian away from Seoul Hospital as soon as possible. And you cure the side effects of the gene-destroying fruit? The vice president asked immediately. What gene-destroying fruit? Hu Xin looked confused. You don't know about the gene-destroying fruit. So how did you treat Miss Chen's illness? The vice president asked. Just treat her normally. I will provide on-site acupuncture treatment and physical exercise materials. As long as we combine the materials, Miss Chen's condition will improve in half a month at most. Acupuncture treatment, physical exercise therapy? Muttering these two treatments, the experts present all frowned. They can understand acupuncture treatment. But what is this technology of physical exercise therapy? Demonstrated on the spot, the vice president didn't understand either and gave the order directly. Good. Hu Xin immediately came to Chen Yuanian's rescue. When he turned her over, he saw that her pale face had indeed become much rosier. Looking at Chen Yuanian's condition again, it was obviously getting better. The effect is so good? Doesn't this prove that the sequel of the gene-destroying fruit can be documented? Hu Xin quickly helped Chen Yuanian up and said, the next step is physical exercise therapy. To put it simply, it means walking and exercising regularly to eliminate the side effects of the disease. Isn't it just about improving immunity? Said an expert. Hu Xin nodded. Yes, you can understand it that way. Now, I accompany Miss Chen to go out for a walk and bask in the sun, which is also helpful for recovery. Having said that, Chen Yuanian, who had already carried the baggage, walked out. An expert said, Deputy Dean, Chen Yuanian's condition does seem to be the after effect of taking the gene-destroying fruit. This guy's treatment also seems to be really effective. Doesn't our hospital have a patient of noble status who is seriously ill due to taking the gene-destroying fruit? Why not let him treat her so that we can learn medical skills from him? Deputy Dean, I think expert Chuan's method is good. Okay, then you should contact a patient's family immediately and see if they are willing. If they are, ask them to help. Hu Xin supported Chen Yuanian and walked out of the emergency building. If there weren't two bodyguards following her, Chen Yuanian would have jumped up with excitement, as she finally had a chance to escape. Hey, what should we do with those two bodyguards now? He asked Hu Xin impatiently. Don't worry, now everyone knows that you are a patient. As long as you disguise yourself well, you can find an opportunity to get rid of them. Okay, then you have to find a solution quickly. I can't wait to be free. Gurgle gurgle. I'm hungry, let's go eat. If she didn't have to pretend, Chen Yuanian would have started jogging. It took half a day to reach the hospital's exclusive cafeteria. Chen Yuanian ordered a large table of nutritious and delicious food and started eating right away. Hu Xin didn't hesitate and sat aside to start eating. The two bodyguards were stunned when they saw this. In their hearts, Hu Xin is a slave just like them. Chen Yuanian also looked at Hu Xin curiously. Usually, except for her grandfather, no one dared to eat with her. The taste is just so-so and the cooking skills are not that great. Hu Xin commented while eating. Chapter 149, I am a waste in our place. From the sound of your voice, it seems that your cooking skills are very good, Chen Yuanian asked curiously. Hu Xin said confidently, it's not very impressive. It's very impressive when there's a chance. I'll show you my skills. And there's no need to wait, the kitchen is right here. Go now. Chen Yuanian actually pulled Hu Xin towards the cafeteria. The two bodyguards were stunned. Is this still their eldest daughter? She was holding the doctor's hand casually, and wasn't she seriously ill? Chen Yuanian dragged Hu Xin to the kitchen, and after revealing her identity, the people in the kitchen did not dare to embarrass him. Hurry up and show me your cooking skills. He looked like he didn't believe how good your cooking skills were. Hu Xin nodded. Okay, but let me make this clear first. You can't fall in love with me just because I'm a good cook. Dream on, no matter how delicious your cooking is. I will never fall in love with you. Chen Yuanian refused. Hu Xin started his performance with the ready-made ingredients. The first thing is to prepare the dishes. Oh my god. This guy is so careful when preparing vegetables. By the time he finishes one dish, we have already cooked more than 10 dishes, said a cook. An old chef saw how Hu Xin prepared the vegetables and said, "Show talk nonsense. A real chef can tell how good he is just by the details of the side dishes. This guy must be a really good chef." No way. How old is he? Mr. Yang, you actually praise him as a great chef. None of the chefs present believed it. This is why you are still an ordinary cook after studying for so many years. Everything requires talent. This guy must be extremely talented as a cook. Just watch him. The ingredients Hu Xin prepared personally were not many. Just 3 dishes and 1 soup. When you are ready, light the fire and start cooking. The cooks in the kitchen were all watching. It looks like the eating gesture is no different from ours. Right? I think so too. I don't believe the food he makes can be better than ours. Soon, a dish of boiled fish came out of the pot. When Huaxian poured the hot oil on it, an extremely pleasant aroma spread out, stimulating the taste buds of people nearby. How come it smells so good? I'm drooling. Godly chef. He is definitely a godly chef, the most amazing chef. Mr. Yang shouted excitedly. Chen Yuanian, who was standing by, was shocked. She quickly picked up the chopsticks and, regardless of the occasion, picked up a piece of fish and started eating. Everyone else looked on with envy. The fish meat melts in your mouth, leaving a lingering fragrance. Oh my god, it's so delicious. It's the most delicious dish I've ever eaten. He ate without caring about his image. In a short while, she had eaten up a 2.5 kilogram fish. At this time, Huaxian made another plate of stir-fried shredded pork. Hey, miss, didn't you say that my cooking was not tasty? Why did you eat it all and leave nothing for me? Huaxian asked with a little dissatisfaction. I'm eating so much just to give you face, don't be ungrateful. While saying this, she had already picked up the stir-fried shredded pork with her chopsticks. Wow, this shredded pork is so delicious. No, I'm too full and can't eat any more. But I still want to eat more. What should I do? Looking at my round belly, I just hate that my belly is too small. Soon the 3 dishes and 1 soup were ready. But of course the fish was gone. Back at the dining table outside, a group of cooks were still surrounding them. Huaxian ignored him and started eating. Chen Yuanian took a chopstick from time to time and said happily, "It's delicious. Even stir-fried vegetables are so delicious." After Huaxian finished eating, a group of chefs led by Mr. Yang started asking him questions. Respected Master Chef, how do you manage to make an ordinary stir-fry dish so delicious? Master Chef, I see your method of making boiled fish is similar to ours. So why is yours so fragrant and delicious? The chef beats people. A group of people surrounded Huaxian and asked questions. Huaxian was not aloof and answered all their questions one by one. Some people suddenly became enlightened after listening to it, while others frowned. Huaxian said to Chen Yuanian, "Let's go. Your body is still recovering. You should go back and have a good rest." After saying that, she protected him and left. The 2 bodyguards on the side were speechless. They felt that Chen Yuanian was just pretending to be sick. He looked like a foodie just now. He didn't look seriously ill at all. Okay, go back and rest first. At dinner time, you can make me some delicious dishes to nourish my body. I believe my body will get better soon. I thought to myself, I didn't expect this guy to be not only a great doctor, but also such a great cook. I must keep him by my side so that I can enjoy a delicious meal. Chen Yuanian's face was full of smiles when she thought about having delicious food for every meal. I subconsciously looked at Huaxian's profile, thinking that this guy is so handsome. It's impossible for him to be single. However, his partner should not be in our world. So wouldn't I be? That's not right. I said I wouldn't like him. So why would I suddenly have this thought? You must not have such thoughts. You absolutely must not have such thoughts. What are you mumbling about? Huaxian pretended not to hear and asked with a smile. No, I didn't complain. Soon return to the VIP ward. You guys go out, I want to rest. The 2 had no choice but to retreat, but they glanced at Huaxian. Chen Yuanian said, "He is my personal doctor. If he is not with me, will you be responsible if I suddenly become seriously ill?" Huaxian stayed. Chen Yuanian grabbed his hand and said, "Tell me about the situation in your world." There's nothing much to say about our world. Miracle doctors are everywhere, and there are miraculous chefs everywhere. Let me tell you, my cooking skills are just that of a family cook in our place. I can barely make food that's edible. No way, I think what you cooked is very delicious in your world. This is just the entry-level cooking skill? Are people in your world all foodies? Their cooking skills are so good? Chen Yuanian was very shocked, but also very envious. She wanted to taste the delicious food cooked by even better chefs. Hey, when you go back, can you take me with you? I want to go with you to broaden my horizons. Chen Yuanian said in a pleading tone. It's not impossible. However, we have too many experts here. Any one of them is better than your bodyguard. I'm afraid you will be looked down upon if you go there. Huaxian said. What? You actually look down on me? I'm only 19 years old. I'm already at the peak of a level 7 genetic warrior. I may break through to become a level 8 genetic warrior at any time. How dare you say that I will be looked down upon? Yes. Look at me. I'm 20 years old, and I'm a waste where we are. But you can feel my power. Huaxian slightly burst out with the power of billions. Chapter 150, Brotherly Love. When Chen Yuanian felt the power emanating from Huaxian, she was stunned for a moment. I looked at him with incredible eyes and began to believe what he said. So young, with the power of billions, how could he be just a waste in their eyes? Doesn't this prove that their Stonewall Gene world is a world of advanced civilization that is many levels higher? Then isn't the world of advanced civilization that Grandpa is aiming to reach? No wonder this guy could avoid the dark light and come to their world. Their technology must be more advanced. Suddenly thinking of something, Chen Yuanian asked, "Hey, you are so powerful, what are you doing in our world?" Huxian said, "I just saw a very backward space door. And I was curious about what was on the other side. So I came to take a look. If you are so powerful, why did you run away and hide before? I just want to play around in your world. What if your grandfather and his people drive me away? I can't beat them." "Is that so? Well, since you'll be my future guest, I'll be your tour guide with reluctance. However, you must take me with you when you return to your world. Otherwise I won't be your tour guide." "Okay, no problem. I'll definitely take you with me." Book. After the pinky promises, Chen Yuanian had a million questions and continued to ask all sorts of questions. The experts came to examine him again and found that his condition had actually started to improve, which was simply amazing. After the vice president learned about this, he went straight to Huxian and said, "This is Miss Chen's personal doctor. My name is Cao Wujun, and I'm the vice president of Seoul Hospital. Your ability to treat the sequelae of gene destruction is amazing. It just so happens that we have such a patient in our hospital, and we hope you can help. This isn't good. I'm Miss Chen's personal doctor. I can't practice medicine without her consent after all. The rules must be followed," Huxian said in embarrassment. Hearing this, Cao Wujun looked at Chen Yuanian and said, "Miss Chen, the next person we are going to treat is Deng Yao, the daughter of the Deng family in Tianying City. Her family is also prominent. If you come forward to treat Deng Yao, the Deng family in Tianying City will definitely remember your kindness." "Deng Yao, is she the Deng Yao, one of the three great beauties in Gilyu province?" Chen Yuanian asked. "Yes, it's her. She also took the gene destruction fruit by mistake and is in a very dangerous condition. Now your personal doctor has the ability to treat her. We hope he can help her." Chen Yao glanced at Huxian and said, "This depends on Huxian's own wishes. Although he is my exclusive doctor, he has to agree with it. But in my heart I hope Huxian disagrees. What if one of the three beauties snatches Huxian away?" Hearing this, the vice president said to Huxian, "Mr. Wu, we study medicine to cure diseases and save lives. We asked you to help us." At this time, an excited voice came from outside. "Where is that business? Where is the miracle doctor who can save my sister?" "Master Deng, that miracle doctor is the exclusive doctor of the granddaughter of the director of the Star Realm Research Institute. Chen Shukai. He is in the ward." A young man walked quickly into the ward. Seeing these doctors, he asked, "Who is Miss Chen Yuanian's exclusive doctor?" Huxian frowned and said, "I am." His first impression of the young man was not good. Ding dong. Unexpectedly, the young man knelt down in front of him and said, "Please save my sister as long as you can save my sister. You can set any conditions." No one knew how many self-proclaimed miracle doctors he had consulted in order to save his sister. However, when these people heard that it was a side effect of taking the gene-destroying fruit, they shook their heads and refused, saying that they were powerless. Now there is finally someone who can save his sister. Even though the other person is very young, he has no choice but to give it his all. As long as there is still a glimmer of hope, he doesn't want to miss it. Huxian was a little surprised. After thinking for a while, he said, "To tell you the truth, I also can't treat the sequel of the gene destruction fruit. No, it's impossible. Miss Chen is suffering from the sequel of the gene destruction fruit. You have saved her, so you can definitely do it," the young man said flexibly. "Who told you that Miss Chen suffered from the sequel of the gene destruction fruit? She just had a similar disease, and it just happened that I could treat it." Hearing this, the doctors, experts and vice president present were dumbfounded. The young man collapsed to the ground in despair. He thought he had a chance. But it wasn't. "Sister, I'm sorry it's my brother who hurt you." Under the endless accusations, the grown man burst into tears regardless of the occasion. Huxian was moved by his feelings for his sister. After all, he also had a sister. After thinking for a while, he said, "However, I can help your sister. I can't guarantee whether she can be cured." "Okay, great, thank you, follow me now." The young man pulled Huxian and rushed to the intensive care unit where his sister was. Other doctors and experts quickly followed. Chen Yuanian followed behind with a worried look on her face. Her fists clenched, thinking, "Huxian is mine, no one can take him away from him." Soon we arrived at Deng Yao's ward. Deng Yao, who was stuck in an oxygen mask and had dry skin due to genetic damage, looked like an 80-year-old woman. How could she have the characteristics of the three beauties in Gilyu province? She looks just like an old woman. Chen Yuanian, who was originally worried that Huxian would be taken away, felt a pain in her heart after seeing Deng Yao's situation. As a young girl, she was able to empathize with Deng Yao and understand the torture she felt from the illness caused by the gene destruction fruit. Uxian, if possible, please help Deng Yao, Chen Yuanian said from the bottom of her heart. Uxian nodded and said, I'll try my best. Turn on the oxygen mask. The experts personally assisted. Uxian grabbed Deng Yao's wrist and checked it. Now he is a miracle doctor. He immediately understood Deng Yao's situation clearly. However, from his knowledge as a miracle doctor, he could not find any way to save the patient. If there was a glimmer of hope at the beginning, the patient was already terminally ill and even the miracle doctor was helpless. System, is there a way to save this patient? Fortunately, Uxian has a system. Ding, extract the destruction gene from the patient's body to save the patient. Extraction consumes 10,000 reinforcement points per second. It is estimated that all extractions can be completed in 1 hour. 10,000 reinforcement points per second, and 3,600 seconds per hour, is equal to 36 million. Just a stranger, but he spent 36 million strengthening points. To be honest, Uxian felt distressed, so he frowned. Everyone became nervous when they saw him frowning. The young man couldn't wait to ask, Doctor, how is it? Can my sister still be saved? As long as there is a glimmer of hope. Please do your best to save her. I, Deng Zhongyi, will be grateful to you for the rest of my life. Chapter 151, Pain. Uxian said in embarrassment, it is possible to treat him. Everyone in the audience was so excited to hear this. Deng Zhongyi was so excited that he was stunned. It took him a while to react. And he knelt on the ground and begged, Godly doctor, please save my sister as long as you save my sister. I will be willing to work for you like a cow or a horse. Uxian said bitterly, the only way to save your sister is to extract the destruction gene from her body. And I happen to be able to do it, but the price I have to pay is too huge. And I can't afford it. Miss Doctor, what's the price? Just tell me, I can afford any price, Deng Zhongyi said excitedly. Finally there was a chance, and he was willing to do it no matter how great the cost. You don't have to pay any price, I will be the one to save your sister. I will absorb the destruction gene in your sister's body into my own body. And I will bear the disaster brought by the destruction gene. The whole audience was shocked. They thought it was a good idea. But it turned out to be a sacrifice of themselves. However, once the destruction gene appears in the human body, it is impossible to extract it unless the person dies. Therefore, it is very impressive that Uxian was able to extract the destruction gene into his own body. Deng Zhongyi was stunned. Looking at the changes in his sister after she was infected with the destruction gene, he knew very well the pain and price. It is not acceptable to sacrifice another person in order to save your sister. He smiled bitterly and said, Sister, it's all because of your brother that he let you down. Miracles doctor, please go, I can't sacrifice you for my sister. Deng Zhongyi said. Uxian was originally watching his attitude. Some people might use their power to threaten him to save people, but Deng Zhongyi did not. So Uxian said, although the price is a bit high, it will not threaten my foundation. I have my own way to suppress the destruction gene in my body. Since you are sincere for your sister and have never had any intention of harming others because of your sister, I will save your sister. Really? Deng Zhongyi looked incredulous. To be honest, after learning the way to save his sister, he thought about threatening Uxian to save his sister. But in the end, his conscience overcame his reason. Of course it's true. Now all the unimportant people can leave. I'm going to start treating Deng Yao. Uxian ordered. Deng Zhongyi immediately said to the others, please go out first, thank you for your concern for my sister. Although a group of expert doctors were reluctant to go out, they had to give face to Deng Zhongyi. Let me help you, Chen Yuanian said. Uxian pretended to be serious, took out silver needles and inserted them all over Deng Yao's body. Then he helped her up and sat her on his back, pretending to practice his internal strength and deliberately leaking a trace of the ori of billion-level power. Deng Zhongyi was extremely shocked after feeling it. He didn't expect the other party to be so young and yet so powerful. He was afraid that he was from some great family. He was glad that he didn't threaten the other party just now. Otherwise it would bring disaster to the Deng family. System, extract the destruction gene from Deng Yao's body. Ding, the destruction gene in Deng Yao's body is being extracted. It will cost 10,000 reinforcement points. It is expected to be completed in 1 hour. Ding, you can convert the destruction gene into a special gene to strengthen your special physique. It consumes 100,000 strengthening points per second and is expected to take an hour. Do you want to strengthen your special physique? 100,000 per second. That's 360 million per hour. This price is too huge. Wouldn't it be better to directly strengthen your physical fitness? However, this special physical enhancement seems to be a special kind of enhancement. With such a high cost, I think the effect must be very good. What's more, it is strengthened by the destruction gene, which is very harmful to the human body. So Hu Xian is very curious. Zui Hong still decided, let's strengthen the system. Ding, extracting the destruction gene to strengthen the special physique. Immediately, an unprecedented pain arose that Hu Xian had never experienced before. In an instant, his brows twisted into a ball of pain. The extreme pain made Hu Xian scream. Deng Zhongyi and Chen Yuanian, who were at the scene, were frightened when they saw Hu Xian's appearance. Only then did I realize how difficult it was to save Deng Yao. Thinking that it was the absorption of the destruction gene into the body, I felt relieved of the pain. Looking at Hu Xian, who was in great pain, Deng Zhongyi clenched his fists and said, Brother Hu, thank you, I Deng Zhongyi will remember your kindness in saving my sister. Even the doctors and experts outside the ward could hear Hu Xian's screams of extreme pain. Is it really that painful? A doctor asked with some disbelief. An expert said, nonsense, didn't you see that the patients who accidentally ate the gene-destroying fruit were in great pain? And many of them died and were relieved. Dr. Hu, now they are using a special method to absorb the formed destruction gene into their bodies. Do you think it is that painful? It was indeed very painful. At that moment, Hu Xian almost couldn't bear it and gave up the special enhancement. This is simply a waste of enhancement points and not getting any thanks. It's just asking for trouble. But then I thought, if I can't even bear this little bit of pain, wouldn't I be a loser? That's why I screamed and gritted my teeth to persevere. Ding, congratulations to the host, special physical enhancement point 1. Even though it was only a slight increase, Hu Xian felt an unspeakable change taking place in his body. And even the pain brought by the enhancement was slightly reduced. Of course, compared to the huge pain, that little bit is negligible. As time passed, Hu Xian's pain continued. Chen Yuanian felt that it was not worth it for Hu Xian. In order to save others, he made himself suffer so much and had to endure the sequel of the destruction gene. It was really not worth it. Chen Yuanian looked at Deng Zhongyi, whose fist was clenched black and blue, and said, I hope you won't be ungrateful, otherwise I, Chen Yuanian, will not let you go. Deng Zhongyi looked at Hu Xian, who was in extreme pain, without saying anything. Looking at Deng Yao again, originally painful expression gradually improved. It can be seen that there is an effect. In the agony of waiting, an hour finally passed. Ding, congratulations to the host. The extraction of the destruction gene has been completed, consuming 36 million reinforcement points, and the current remaining reinforcement points are 19,497,790 points. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the special body refining of the destruction gene, and obtained 60 points of special physique, consuming 360 million strengthening points. And the current remaining strengthening points are 497,790 points. Dr. Hu, how is it? Deng Zhongyi rushed over and supported Hu Xian. Chen Yuanian followed closely behind and asked distressed-ly, Hu Xian, are you okay? Hu Xian's entire body was soaked with cold sweat from the pain, and even the bed was covered with a large pool of sweat. After a while, he said, I'm fine, quickly have someone inject nutrient solution into your sister and prepare for skin recovery. Dr. Hu, I kowtow to you on behalf of my sister. Seeing that Hu Xian was still thinking about his sister even though he was so, Deng Zhongyi knelt on the ground and cried and kowtowed to express his gratitude. Chapter 152, Is it delicious? The experts and doctors outside also bravely came in. What's the situation? Vice President Cao asked anxiously. Chen Yuanian said, Deng Yao is fine now, we just need to give her some nutrition and maybe some skin recovery treatment. Take her away quickly, Dr. Hu needs to rest. A group of experts quickly took Deng Yao away and gave her a comprehensive examination. The destruction gene in the body has really disappeared. He did it, an expert said in surprise. Of course he did. Didn't you see that he endured such pain for a full hour and even exhausted himself in the end? Said another expert. From this we can see that the disease caused by the gene destruction fruit can be treated. But it also requires the doctor to sacrifice himself. If it were you, would you be willing to sacrifice yourself to save others? Hearing this, all the doctors and experts present fell silent. At this time, Deng Zhongyi rushed over and asked, How is my sister? Master Deng, the destruction genes in your sister's body have been completely extracted. All you need to do next is to take good care of her and restore her dry skin. I believe she will be fully recovered in less than 3 months. Okay, treat my sister as soon as possible, also give drive Hu the best possible care. The hospital must do its best to meet drive Hu's needs. All expenses will be charged to me. Clear. In the ward where Hu Xian was, Chen Yuanian wiped his sweat and said distressed-ly, You are so stupid. If Deng Yao hadn't turned into an old woman, I would have suspected that you were working so hard just to lust after her beauty. Hu Xian smiled bitterly and said, I am moved by their brother-sister love. I also have a sister, and I can understand Deng Zhongyi's feelings. You have a younger sister. How old is she? I also have a younger brother. How about matchmaking them together? Chen Yuanian said suddenly. Hu Xian rolled his eyes and said, You think too much. By the way, you look at me in a weird way. Are you in love with me? TSK, it's obviously you thinks I'm pretty and has feelings for me, but you're shy and don't dare to express your feelings. So you're using this method to provoke me. Okay, I admit that I have a little bit of affection for you now. If you perform well, I can consider you, Chen Yuanian said very seriously. Hu Xian just laughed. Forget it. I'm afraid of someone who keeps pestering me to be his cook. Am I that kind of person? I'm not a foodie. Okay. Have a good rest. I will make you some nutritious soup tonight. I will show you that my cooking skills are also very good. You can cook too? Hu Xian was skeptical. Of course. The food I cook is delicious. Even Grandpa has never tasted it. So you are in for a treat. Wait, I'm going to cook. Chen Yuanian trotted away. Hu Xian grinned and thought this girl was quite interesting. At this time, Deng Zhongyi arrived and said, Dr. Hu, thank you for saving my sister. As he said this, he was about to kneel down again. Hu Xian hurriedly stopped him, saying, What are you doing? A man's knees are made of gold. Don't kneel down at every turn. Isn't this so touching? My family had given up on my sister, but she finally met you and was saved. So, when my sister recovers, I will ask her to marry me. My sister is one of the 3 most beautiful women in the province of Gerut. So you won't suffer any loss. It's better not to talk about this. You know, Chen Yuanian is right next to me. I'm afraid she will be jealous. You and Chen Yuanian. She went to cook for me. And I want to take a rest, so please leave first. Okay. I'll come see you again when you've recovered a little. Dr. Hu. A few hours later, Chen Yuanian came over with 2 dishes and a soup. Her face and body were covered in grease, which showed how difficult it was for her to cook this meal. After putting down the lunch plate, Chen Yaoyao put the food down with an expectant look on her face, handed the chopsticks to Hu Xian and said, Try it. His eyes were full of anticipation. Hu Xian nodded, picked up the chopsticks, picked up a piece of chicken and put it in his mouth. I almost spit out the salty taste. Faced with Chen Yuanian's expectant look, it was not easy to discourage her, so he could only swallow it with difficulty. And I thought about taking a sip of the wine, but it turned out to be bland and tasteless. I guess I forgot to add salt. How is it? Is it delicious? Chen Yuanian asked expectantly. Hu Xian smiled and said, Not bad. Really? Then you should eat more. Hu Xian had no choice but to pick up the brown vegetables and take a bite. I guess MSG was added as salt. The taste is amazing. If it tastes good, eat more. Chen Yuanian kept picking up food for Hu Xian. Hu Xian had no choice but to pour a bowl of soup, put the 3 dishes together, took a sip, and managed to swallow it. I ate a bowl reluctantly. Chen Yuanian wanted to serve him some food, but she quickly refused. No, I'm too weak to eat too much. Really? Real. Only then did Chen Yuanian pack up her things and go to Duanshu with satisfaction. Back in the kitchen, she couldn't resist trying a bite of the mussel herself. Oh, it's so salty. And he took another bite of the greens and said, too much MSG. Then he took a sip of the soup. No salt. He immediately understood how difficult it was for Hu Xian to finish this bowl of food. Thinking that the food he cooked was so unpalatable, he ate a big bowl of it and a smile appeared on his face. It proves that he has his own thoughts and cares about his own feelings. So he gritted his teeth and ate a big bowl. You little brat, you said you didn't like me, now you've exposed yourself. Back to the ward. Chen Yuanian asked with a smile. Tell me the truth, is the food I cooked delicious? Hu Xian smiled bitterly and said, It's delicious. Really? Then I'll continue to cook for you tomorrow. Hu Xian exclaimed. What's wrong, don't you like it? Chen Yuanian asked. I like you, but it's not good for you. A former lady, to cook for me, I'd better cook for you. Hearing this, Chen Yuanian said triumphantly, You said this yourself. I didn't force you, I was planning to cook for you every meal. But you actually disliked it and wanted to cook it yourself. So let it be. Yes, I said it myself. Okay, I'm going to rest now. You should rest too. Where should I go? You are a patient now and I need to take care of you. Chen Yuanian said as a matter of course. What if your bodyguard finds out? As for them, I have already warned them if they dare to tell my grandfather, I will make trouble for them. So, when you're well, we can go out and have fun. I'm very curious, wouldn't it be better for you to just follow your grandfather? Why do you want to run away? Chapter 153, Freeze. You don't understand. They wanted me to go on a blind date and marry someone I didn't like at all. Fortunately, that guy went to the battlefield, otherwise I would have fallen into the grave of marriage. Battlefield? What place is that? Huaxian listened curiously. The battlefield is a battlefield with creatures from other worlds. There are countless broken space gates there, although it is very unstable. There are still countless creatures from other worlds coming here, trying to occupy our homeland. Therefore, all countries have sent troops, and the coalition forces are going to the battlefield to defend our homeland. When I'm 20 years old, I can also go to the battlefield and gain merit. Chen Yuanian said with some longing. Do we have to wait until the age of 20 to go to the battlefield? Yes, only when you are 20 are you eligible to join the army and go to the battlefield. How about it? Let's take action. When I turn 20, we will join the army together and then go to the battlefield together. Chen Yuanian said longingly. Why with me? Because I like you. Okay, would. The next day, Huaxian woke up and found that the girl was lying on him, treating him like a teddy bear as he was sleeping soundly and drooling in her dreams. She must have dreamed about delicious food. She shook her head and didn't bother him. At this time, Ding Zhongyi arrived and said excitedly, Doctor Hu, my sister has woken up, and the first thing she wants to do is to see you. Can you go over and see my sister? Chen Yuanian was awakened and woke up reluctantly. She looked at Ding Zhongyi and complained. Why are you so loud so early in the morning? Do you know that you have affected my delicious food? Many delicious foods are gone. Huaxian said, Yuanian. His sister is awake, let's go check on her. Okay, for your sake. I won't bother with him. I thought to myself, since he called me Yuanian, he must like me. And I came to the ward where Deng Yao was. And there was no one else there. Hearing footsteps, Deng Yao opened her eyes. Except for the dry skin, everything else looks normal. Sister, this is your lifesaver, Doctor Hu, Deng Zhongyi introduced enthusiastically. Looking at Huaxian, Deng Yao's eyes were full of surprise. I didn't expect you to be so young, Doctor Hu. Thank you for saving me. By the way, I heard that Doctor Hu suffered a lot of injuries in order to save me. I wonder how Doctor Hu feels now. It's okay, nothing serious. You just recovered, so just take a good rest. After Huaxian finished speaking, he turned and left. Doctor Hu, can you take my pulse? Deng Yao asked. No, I did it. I know your situation well. You will be fully recovered in a week at most. As for the skin problem, it is not difficult to solve it with the current technology. After saying that, he left. Watching Huaxian walk out, Deng Yao muttered, You must have never seen my true face. Otherwise you would never be so calm. Sister, he has a special relationship with Chen Yuanian. Maybe he really has no other thoughts about you, Deng Zhongyi said. Brother, I understand, men, just wait and see when I recover. He will surely be eager for me to marry him. Hearing this, Deng Zhongyi smiled bitterly and said nothing. In fact, he hoped that his sister and Huaxian would be together. Huaxian, did you perform well? Let's go shopping. Chen Yuanian pulled Huaxian and walked out of the hospital. Two bodyguards followed closely behind. Soon we arrived at the mall. Huaxian looked at a shop selling armor and stopped. Seeing this, Chen Yuanian asked, How is the armor? Do you like it? If you like it, I can give you the best one. Let's go in and take a look first. Huaxian walked into the armor shop. There are all kinds of armor, dazzling to behold. Huaxian took a look at a set at the door. 1 million gold coins. Another set, 1.3 million gold coins. And at the same time took a look at the brief attribute introduction of the armor. Defense, speed bonus. Defense jump bonus. Obviously, these armors all have unique attributes. Sir, what style of armor would you like to buy? A salesperson came over and asked. Which is the best armor you have here? Huaxian asked. Sir, please follow me. The salesperson took them to the innermost part, where all the armors were separated by separate glass. This set, the Earth Demon armor, is the best set of armor currently in our store. It has a basic defense of 10 million, which can be increased to 100 million after injecting energy. It also has a jump bonus of 10,000, a speed bonus of 50, 0, a rebound damage bonus of 1, a weight reduction of 10, and ignores 60 of earth attribute damage. After listening to the salesperson's introduction, Huaxian had to admit that this set of armor was very good. Then he looked at the price, 10 billion gold coins. This is not something that ordinary people can buy. Chen Yuanian came to Huaxian and whispered, Forget about this set of armor. I only have 1 million gold coins in my pocket money now. Let's just pick an ordinary one. Huaxian shook his head and said, I'm just looking at it, I'm not buying it. After saying that, he left the armor sales store. I can clearly feel the contemptuous looks from some sales leaders. Yuanian, I want to spend 1 gold coin. What do you think is a good idea? I'm used to the lavish spending lifestyle of rich people. So I'm not used to suddenly spending a gold coin. 1 gold coin is a few days' salary for ordinary people. But here, you can't do anything with it. And let's go to a place where we can spend 1 gold coin. And we can only go to the old town, things there are cheaper. But most of them are for different people's consumption. I am a poor man now, right? I can go anywhere. But I still have 1 million gold coins. Chen Yuanian said. I suspect that your gold coins are frozen. Hu Xian said in a low voice. Ah, impossible, absolutely impossible. Chen Yuanian said, turning on his communication projection watch to check. You don't know until you see it. When you see it, you will be shocked and exclaim. My pocket money is really frozen. I don't have any gold coins now. Damn it, they just want to force me to compromise. I will never compromise if they freeze it. I will make money on my own. Don't be angry, come on, I'll take you to spend money. Hu Xian said confidently. You're talking like you're rich. But we're both broke now. Who told you that I have no money? I have always been an invisible wealthy man. Come on. You will find out soon. DSK, will the rich man take me to the old town to spend money? At this time, a bodyguard walked over quickly and said, Miss, this is the call from the dean. The dean asked you to turn on the forwarding call. He has something to say to you. No need to talk, he has frozen my pocket money. I don't want to pay any attention to him. Nonsense. I'm your grandfather, I'm doing this for your own good. You're a grown-up girl, how can you run around everywhere all day long? I'm not running around, I just don't want to marry him. If you force me, I will never come back. After saying that, he hung up the phone in the bodyguard's hand. Chapter 154. Funding. Old Town. Hu Xian came to a steamed buns shop and asked, how much are the steamed buns? 1 silver coin each. The boss was an old woman in her 40s or 50s. Give me 100. Huh? The woman was stunned and a little bit unbelieving. Sir, you are not kidding, are you? Hu Xian directly took out a gold coin and handed it over, saying, pay first. Seeing the glittering gold coins, the old woman finally believed it and immediately said enthusiastically, okay sir, wait a moment, I will install it for you. Old coins can be directly extracted from the system into actual currency, which is very convenient. Hey, why did you buy so many buns? Chen Yuanian asked with a puzzled look. Hu Xian looked into the distance and said, look at those children, it's obvious that they haven't eaten. Help them to the best of your ability. Soon, the old woman packed 100 buns for Hu Xian and then accepted the gold coins. This is a big deal, thank you, boss. Ding, congratulations to the host for spending 1 gold coin within 31 days and receiving an intermediate strengthening pill as a reward. Ding, new task, complete it within 6 hours and consume 5 gold coins. If the task fails, 100 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the task is completed, 2 intermediate reinforcement pills will be awarded. The consumption task started, and Hu Xian couldn't wait to get the huge sum of money. When you are out and about, you need money to do anything. He carried a big bag of buns and came to the dirty children who were looking around. The oldest is about 10 years old, and the youngest is only 3 or 4 years old. Where are your families? Hu Xian asked curiously. We have no family, we are all orphans, the oldest child said while swallowing his salibuk at the big bag of buns that Hu Xian was carried. Here are the buns for you, take them and eat them. Really? A little girl of 4 or 5 years old looked at Hu Xian with innocent eyes and said, really? If you are hungry in the future, you can come to me and I will treat you to a meal. Hu Xian said with a charitable smile. But brother, we have nothing to repay you? The little girl said naively. That's right, how about this? I will support you to go to school. You can study hard and when you grow up and have the ability, you can come and repay me. How do you think? Really, brother, can we go to school? The little girl asked innocently. Zuianian, don't be so naive. Big brother is just joking with us. Big brother, thank you for giving us the buns. We are very satisfied. The older boy said this because he was worried that Hu Xian was a bad person. If he hadn't seen Hu Xian buying the buns with his own eyes, he wouldn't have accepted them. You are alert, but that's a good thing. After that, he asked Chen Yuanian, Yuanian, can we go into the school anytime? That's right, as long as you pay, you can enroll at any time. However, even for elementary school, Wheatfield requires a tuition fee of 1 gold coin. This is just the tuition fee you have to pay for other miscellaneous fees yourself. So if you want to sponsor a child, even to finish elementary school, you will need at least 100,000 gold coins. So expensive? Hu Xian was very surprised. Of course it's expensive. Because in addition to teaching the required knowledge, the elementary schools here also teach the method of gene awakening. And the cost of the materials needed to awaken the gene is a huge amount of money. Gene awakening? Aren't genes activated through drugs? Huaxian asked curiously. You mean those useless people who can't awaken their genes? In order to gain powerful strength, they will buy genetic drugs to awaken their genes. However, such people cannot make breakthroughs on their own except relying on genetic drugs to awaken their genes. Their future is limited. More importantly, the combat power of people who take genetic drugs to awaken their genes is one level higher than the combat power gained by awakening their genes and practicing breakthroughs. Therefore, genetic drugs are not popular here. I see. By the way, can we still enroll according to the Heavenly Order? Of course, if you have money, you can go to school. If you don't have money, you don't have to go. Your student status can be registered anywhere. Huaxian nodded coquettously and said, I understand. Big brother, do you still want Yen to go to school? A little girl asked with great anticipation. Funding is necessary. Let's go to school now. Really? Zhu Yen was overjoyed. She knew that the only way out was to go to school. And she was finally willing to be the master of herself. Even if the other party might be deceiving her, she was unwilling to miss this hard-won opportunity. Zhu Yen, do you know that they might be scammers who will trick you away and then dig out your organs? The older boy said with a warning look. I know, but I believe that the older brothers and sisters are not bad people. I want to go to school. Only in this way can I change myself. Big brother, come with me. I want to go to school. The little girl pulled Huaxian and ran. Chen Yuanian said speechlessly. Are you rich? Do you want to be a good person? Even if I don't have money, I can't go back on my word since I've said it. I must keep my word. And we came to the cheapest primary school. Because of their strong genes, children in this world can go to elementary school at the age of 3. Big brother, I can just go to this elementary school. Okay, let's go to school here. Let's go over there. Huaxian pulled Zhu Yen over. Stop, are you sending your child to school? The registration fee is 5 gold coins, a security guard said seriously. As soon as you look at the little girl's dirty clothes, you can tell she doesn't have much money, so naturally she won't be treated kindly. In the distance, the little girl's friends followed her from a distance, wanting to see if she could really go to school. Huaxian took out 5 gold coins and handed them over, saying, this is the registration fee. When the other person saw the gold coin, his eyes lit up and he smiled. He took the coin and asked, what grade are you in? Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 5 gold coins within 6 hours and received 2 intermediate strengthening pills as rewards. Ding, new task, completed within 6 hours and spend 10 gold coins. If the task fails, 100 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the task is completed, 2 intermediate reinforcement pills will be awarded. I just came to school, said Huaxian. That's the first grade. How do you want to pay? It's 1 gold coin a day. Prepare 1 gold coin for living expenses. Do you need accommodation? If you do, you need at least 2 gold coins for 1 day of school. By the way, if you subscribe monthly, you only need to pay 28 gold coins for tuition. If you subscribe annually, you only need to pay a fixed tuition of 300 gold coins. You can pay for other expenses yourself. And let's subscribe for a month. Huaxian took out 10 gold coins and handed them over. After receiving it, the other party said, a monthly subscription costs 28 gold coins, and I still need 18 gold coins. I thought to myself, considering your situation, you don't have many gold coins, and you can only study for 1 month at most. Chapter 155. More expensive again. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 10 gold coins within 6 hours and received 2 primary strengthening pills as rewards. Ding, new task, completed within 6 hours and spend 30 gold coins. If the task fails, 100 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the task is completed, 2 intermediate reinforcement pills will be awarded. Then he took out 18 gold coins and handed them to the security guard. The security guard took the gold coins and smiled brightly. Okay, you can go in now. The classrooms on the left are for first graders. Go out and choose your class. Only then did they let Huaxian and the others in. Chen Yuanian said, class 1 is the best, so let her go to class 1. Zhu Yen quickly said, no, I'll just take the worst class. As long as I can go to school, that's fine. Of course she knew that the best classes would cost extra. Class 1 is just average since you want to go to school. Then study in the best class when you become capable and make money in the future. You can pay me back. But, in her opinion, Huaxian didn't have much money. It's nothing to worry about, let's go. Came directly to the halfway point. You are in class inside. Knock, knock, knock. Huaxian knocked on the alloy classroom door. The teacher came over, opened the door and asked, are you guys coming to school? Yes, my sister is coming to school. 1 gold coin per day for teaching allowance per class. In addition, living and accommodation costs 2 gold coins. If you don't pay the regular tuition, it will be at least 4 gold coins per day. Are you ready? This is the difference between class 1 and other classes. It is 3 gold coins more expensive than the worst one. And this does not include other material consumption. Brother, if not, forget it, I'll just go to the worst class. Hu Xian took out 12 gold coins and handed them to the teacher, saying, "This is my sister's spending for 4 days. If you need more gold coins, you can contact me." A teacher put away the gold coins and said, "Okay, your sister can go to class 1 for 4 days. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 30 gold coins within 6 hours and received 2 intermediate strengthening pills as rewards. Ding, new mission. Complete it within 6 hours and spend 50 gold coins. If the mission fails, 100 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the mission is completed, 2 intermediate reinforcement pills will be awarded. Wait, let me think about it, I should pay 1 month's tuition for my sister." After saying that, he took out 50 gold coins and handed them over. Looking at the handful of gold coins, Zhu Yinian was stunned with shock. Just to enter the school, she had already spent 70 or 80 gold coins. This is definitely a huge sum of money for her. "Thank you. Big brother Yinian will definitely repay you when she grows up." She knelt down and thanked him while crying. After the teacher received 50 gold coins, he looked at Zhu Yinian more favorably. "Ding, congratulations to the host. You have exceeded the target of spending 50 gold coins within 1 minute and received 10 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new task, completed within 3 hours and spend 100 gold coins. If the task fails, 100 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the task is completed, 5 intermediate reinforcement pills will be rewarded. Silly girl, get up quickly, there are so many people watching you. Keep these gold coins and buy some clothes if you have any questions. Tell the teacher. Teacher, if anything happens to the child, please inform me as soon as possible." After saying that, he took out a gold coin and handed it over. The teacher's eyes lit up and he said with a smile, "Leave me your contact information, I will notify you as soon as there is anything. Yuanian, please leave your communication with the teacher." Chen Yuanian left her contact information before Hu Xian left with her. "Big brother." Zhu Yinian ran out of the classroom and shouted loudly, "Sister, go back and study hard if you need anything. Tell the teacher and he will tell us." "Thank you, big brother." Zhu Yinian cried. He never thought that someone would be so nice to him. At the school gate, his classmates were extremely envious when they saw Zhu Yinian going to school. Seeing Hu Xian coming out, everyone looked at him expectantly. Who wouldn't want to go to school? These orphans who have suffered all kinds of hardships are even more eager for it. Hu Xian took out a few gold coins and gave them to the older boy, saying, "Go buy them some clothes and wash them clean. I'll be here in 2 days, and then you can all go to school." Boom boom boom. The older boys took the lead and all knelt down towards Hu Xian. "Thank you, big brother." Hu Xian waved his hand and left. "They can't believe you're so kind-hearted also, where did you get your gold coins? I suspect you're originally from this world, but you're pretending to be an alien? Also, you deliberately approached me, do you have an agenda towards me? I thought to myself, if you like me, just confess to me. I will definitely agree to you. I'm telling you, you guess it yourself." After saying that, he trotted away. Chen Yuanian was so angry that she stamped her feet. "Asshole, you obviously like me, but you dare not admit it. Let's see how long you can drag it out." After strolling around for more than an hour, Hu Xian entered an antique shop where there were many ancient items. Chen Yuanian said speechlessly, "You don't want to buy shareholders and sell them to make a profit, do you? I tell you, there are too many of them." Hearing this, Hu Xian's eyes lit up. The system didn't pay much now, so he could definitely make a profit from the difference. "Boss, how much is this stick?" Hu Xian asked, picking up something that looked like an ancient wooden stick. "Ding, a broken lightsaber that has been sealed for 100 years. Refining can activate the lightsaber. Refining requires 1.0 reinforcement points. Young man, don't talk nonsense if you don't understand. This is not a stick, but the hilt of an ancient lightsaber. If you need it, take it for 10 gold coins. I'll take 1 gold coin." Hu Xian bargained hard. "Make a deal." "Oh my god. Am I expensive?" Hu Xian exclaimed. The boss handed the hilt of the lightsaber to Hu Xian with a smile and said, "1 gold coin. I thought to myself, this thing has been here for 2 years. So every gold coin I earn from it counts." Chen Yuanian said dissatisfiedly. "I think you are a fool, you can't even bargain. If you say 1 silver coin, the boss will sell it to you. Let me tell you, this ancient lightsaber hilt is still so broken. It's basically a useless piece of junk. You actually spent a gold coin to buy it. You're stupid." Hu Xian said nothing and continued to pick up other items. The boss then introduced, "This is the Death's Javelin. 50 gold coins. This is a night shining pearl, 5 gold coins. This is a fairy stone, 10 gold coins. Ding, dark light crystal. Can be refined to produce dark light. 10 silver coins. I want them. Huaxian made a big move this time. Make a deal. Fuck, it's expensive again? Huaxian took out a gold coin and handed it over. The boss took the gold coins, handed the immortal stone to Huaxian, and then picked up a bow and handed it to Huaxian, saying, I'll give you this bow as payment for the remaining 90 silver coins. Don't despise it, it's definitely a great deal for you. Chapter 156, Something Bad is Happening. Ding, the sealed god level bow can be obtained by refining. Refining requires 10 million strengthening pills. Okay. Sure. Then I read a lot of things. When he saw a broken piece of armor, Huaxian pulled it up curiously. Ding, thunder armor fragments. Collect all the fragments to reassemble the thunder armor. Little brother, you have good eyes. This is an amazing armor fragment. It often flashes with lightning. It is very strange. It only costs 100 gold coins. 1 gold coin. No. 10 gold coins? Little brother, this armor fragment is really amazing. How about this, if you really want it, 80 gold coins. This is the bottom line. Okay, I'll take 80 gold coins. Chen Yuanian on the side said dissatisfied. Lie, are you stupid? You spend 80 gold coins to buy a piece of armor. Do you know that unless you can find other pieces of the same armor and have a chance to repair the armor? Otherwise, this thing is just a piece of scrap metal. A boss who hadn't received the gold coins said, Little brother's wife, you are wrong. Good things must be collected in advance. What if you encounter other fragments in the future? The words little brother's wife made Chen Yuanian blush and she stopped talking. Huaxian paid 80 gold coins to buy the thunder armor fragments, and had 4 gold coins left, completing the consumption of the 100 gold coins. He selected a few more small accessories and handed 4 gold coins to the boss. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 100 gold coins within 3 hours and received 5 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new task. Complete it within 3 hours and spend 300 gold coins. If the task fails, 100 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the task is completed, 5 intermediate reinforcement pills will be rewarded. System, refine my laser sword and divine bow. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have refined a top quality laser sword broken, equivalent to a fine laser sword. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have refined a god level bow. Huaxian learned from Chen Yuanian that the armor and weapons in this world are divided into ordinary, inferior, medium, superior, fine, top quality, holy, divine, and super quality. Therefore the lightsaber in your hand, even if it is only equivalent to a fine product, is still very valuable. Yuanian, a lightsaber that is comparable to a fine product. How many gold coins do you think it is worth? Chen Yuanian said, why are you asking this? You don't have it. Even if you do, no one would sell it unless they are stupid. So lightsabers are precious? Of course it's precious. An ordinary lightsaber costs millions of gold coins. Don't you think it's precious? What, so expensive? What about my exquisite sword? Huaxian took out the brand new hilt of the sword after being washed and asked, you actually have a lightsaber? This is the quality of it. Even if it is broken, it is at least a fine product. You must be the young master of an ancient family who came out to gain experience, right? As he spoke, he excitedly took the lightsaber and injected genetic energy into it. In an instant, the lightsaber seemed to be lit up, and a lightsaber emitting green light and some blue light extended more than 1 meter. Chen Yuanian said in shock, this lightsaber is not damaged. It is definitely a top grade one. Many people on the street were attracted by the lightsaber and looked over with fiery eyes. Chen Yuanian quickly put away her lightsaber, pulled Huaxian and ran away. Many people with bad intentions followed, but he was driven away by Chen Yuanian's bodyguards. Arriving at a hotel, Chen Yuanian checked in a room, pulled Huaxian into the room, closed the door, and then carefully took out the lightsaber again and injected genetic power to activate it. He said excitedly, it's a fine laser sword. It would be even better if it wasn't broken. It would be a top-notch one, but he felt regretful again. Huaxian said calmly, if you like it, I'll give it to you. What? Chen Yuanian was stunned. Totally unbelievable. According to the calculation that an ordinary laser sword costs 1 million gold coins, a low-quality one costs at least 10 million, a mid-quality one costs 100 million, and a high-quality one costs 1 billion, then a high-quality one costs 10 billion gold coins. And this is a broken top-quality one, which costs at least 70 to 80 billion gold coins. You actually said you were giving it to yourself? I say, if you like this lightsaber, I'll give it to you as for our relationship. It's good enough as long as you like it, Huaxian said with a smile. Really? Chen Yuanayan still couldn't believe it. Of course it's true, or NT the lightsabers in your hands. Yeah, thank you Hu Xin. Chen Yuanayan was extremely happy. She put away her lightsaber and threw herself into Hu Xin's arms, hugging his neck with both hands, being extremely intimate. At a close distance, Chen Yuanayan looked at Hu Xin lovingly, and then closed her eyes. Hu Xin couldn't help himself and kissed her gently. Chen Yuanayan's body trembled and she responded awkwardly. And they fell on the bed, finally took off all their clothes, and completely entangled each other. 2 hours later, Chen Yuanayan snuggled in his arms and asked shyly, "Bad guy, tell me honestly, have you been trying to catch my attention from the beginning?" "Yes," Hu Xin replied, thinking to himself, "If it weren't for your attention, I would still be unable to leave the Star Realm Research Institute. And now I might have been used as a guinea pig." "I knew it, you approached me on purpose, and you still refuse to admit it." Chen Yuanayan said with an expression that said, "I have seen through your conspiracy a long time ago. However, considering that you are sincere to me, I am giving you a bargain. You must be nice to me in the future, understand?" "I know. You are my baby, how could I not be good to you?" That's more like it." As he spoke, he took out the lightsaber again and couldn't let it go. "A fine weapon, this is the most precious gift she has ever received." "Bad guy, are you my husband now?" "Wife, what are you talking about?" Hu Xin said, caressing her. I haven't agreed yet. And you call me wife. Why, you don't like it? Then I won't scream. No, I like you to call me wife and husband. I also like you to call me husband. After saying that, he turned over and started bullying Chen Yuanayan again. Fortunately, Chen Yuanayan is a powerful genetic warrior. Otherwise she would not have been able to withstand it. At the door, the two bodyguards heard the noise again. After looking at each other, one of them said, "This is such an important matter. Let's quickly inform the dean." "Good." One of them called the dean. The dean had just received a handsome young man wearing military armor. "Mr. Shen, you are finally here. Grandpa, the situation on the battlefield is intense. I took the time to rush back. Please don't blame Shen Yojian for being late. How could that be? Defending your country is what you should do." At this time, the phone rang. It was Chen Yuanayan's bodyguard calling. So he simply turned on the speakerphone and answered. "What's going on? Hurry and get Yuanayan back." "Dean, something terrible has happened." Chapter 157, Anger. "What a big deal. It's so weird, how can you make such a fuss?" Chen Shukai shouted angrily. "Dean, it's Miss Yuanayan. She had sex with that doctor. They checked into a hotel." "What?" Chen Shukai was extremely shocked. Others were also extremely shocked. Chen Xiaojian's face looked extremely ugly. He came back from afar just to have a blind date with Chen Yuanayan to confirm their relationship. Now that he is back, he heard such news? "Grandpa Chen, did you call me back just to let me hear this news?" Chen Shukai said anxiously. "Mr. Shen, don't get me wrong. Yuanayan suddenly fell ill a few days ago, and the expert doctors at the institute were helpless. Only that doctor could suppress Yuanayan's symptoms. So I asked him to accompany Yuanayan to the Seoul hospital. I didn't expect this to happen." "Really? Then Grandpa Chen, tell me what to do now. Do you want me to marry a woman who cheated on me?" Well, let's go to Seoul and find them first." "Okay, very good. I will accompany you, Grandpa Chen." "To Seoul," Shen Xiaojian said in a strange tone. "Anyone who hears this will feel uncomfortable." Chen Shukai was very angry, but he didn't know what to say. After all, it was their fault. Immediately arranged for the aircraft to fly to Seoul. With the help of bodyguards, the aircraft flew directly over the hotel. And several people got off the aircraft on the roof. A bodyguard came up to greet him. "Dean, led the way," Chen Shukai said angrily. The bodyguard trembled, having sensed the dean's anger, and hurriedly led the way. Soon he came outside the room. Din Galing knocked the door. Who could it be? Hu Xin and Chen Yuanayan, who had just finished their second job, were both curious. "Put on your clothes first." After putting on his clothes, Hu Xin walked over and opened the door. He was shocked when he saw Chen Shukai's face as gloomy as ink. "Honey, who is it?" Chen Yuanayan called over affectionately. When he saw the person at the door clearly, his body trembled violently and he was shocked to the extreme. "Grandpa, why are you here?" Chen Shukai didn't say a word, but slapped him in the face. Chen Yuanayan was frightened, but she didn't dare to hide. Hu Xin grabbed Chen Shukai's wrist and said in a deep voice, "What did Yuanayan do wrong? Are you going to hit him? What did you do wrong? I didn't come to settle accounts with you. But you still dared to attack me today. I will let you know that there are some people you cannot touch." A terrifying aura burst out from Chen Shukai's body, along with a terrifying murderous intent. The aura of power at the tens of billions level made the surrounding air extremely oppressive. And this terrifying aura all fell on Hu Xin. Even though the genetic warrior was only powerful in strength. Unlike Hu Xin, whose Ferret rebutes were at the billion level, the gap between the tens of billions and the 10 billion levels was too huge. So the terrifying aura of power made Hu Xin's legs completely unable to bear it, and he was about to kneel down. Grandpa, what are you doing? My husband and I are already in this state. It's useless even if you kill him, and look at this. What is this? Chen Yuanian spoke urgently, and the lightsaber in the dark was injected with genetic power. And the lightsaber extended out instantly. A top-quality lightsaber? No, this is a broken top-quality lightsaber. A middle-aged man behind Chen Shukai said spiritedly. So what about a lightsaber? Chen Shusai shouted angrily. Of course not, but this precious lightsaber was given to me by my husband. It is the most precious gift I have ever received in my life. Grandpa, you have never given me such a precious gift. Puff. As Chen Yuanian said this, she stood between Hu Xin and Chen Shukai regardless of everything. The terrifying pressure was so great that even though Chen Shukai withdrew it in time, the residual power still caused Chen Yuanian to suffer serious injuries. Chen Shukai was even more angry. Grandpa, I will fight for my own happiness. I really don't want to become a victim of politics. My parents are gone, and you are my only grandpa. I beg you to let me pursue my own happiness. Ding dong. After saying that, he knelt in front of Chen Shukai. Chen Xiaojian's face turned completely black, and he roared angrily. Chen Yuanian, do you mean that you won't be happy if you marry me? No, brother Shen, I know you are very good, but I really don't like you. I beg you, please let me go, okay? You are so good, you will definitely find a better girl. Chen Yuanian, this matter is no longer a question of whether I let you go or not. What you did has brought shame to our Shen family, just wait. Your Star Realm Research Institute will go bankrupt. Shen Xiaojian said this angrily and strode away. When Chen Shukai heard this, his body trembled violently. He looked at Hu Xin and Chen Yuanian, wishing he could kill them. Over the years, the Star Realm Research Institute has relied entirely on the financial support of the Shen family, which is why Chen Shukai hopes that Chen Yuanian and Shen Youjian will get married. But things were ruined because of this quack doctor. Puff. Chen Shukai was so angry that he spit out a mouthful of blood. His body shook violently and he was about to fall down. Dean, the bodyguard next to him, hurried to protect him. Grandpa, Chen Yuanian was also panicked. She didn't expect this incident to be such a huge blow to her grandfather. Don't call me grandpa. I don't have a granddaughter as disobedient as you, Chen Shukai said angrily. Hu Xin also felt a little reluctant and said, Grandpa, don't worry, I will definitely treat Yuanian well. As for the rest, shut up, what can you do to Yuanian? Just that broken lightsaber? Grandpa, don't look down on me. Consider this an engagement gift for Yuanian and I. Hu Xin also took the risk and took out the magic bow. How much is this broken thing worth? Let me tell you. Without waiting for Chen Shukai to finish his words, Hu Xin injected power into the magic bow. The pure power immediately emitted a faint halo on the magic bow, followed by a terrifying aura. Hu Xin quickly retracted his strength because the power released by the divine bow was too strong. This is. Yes, this is a divine bow, a genuine divine weapon. To prove that I will treat Yuanian well, I will give this divine bow to you. Grandpa? Chen Shukai took the divine bow in disbelief and quickly injected genetic power into it. The fate halo appeared again, and Chen Shu felt the extremely terrifying divine power even more strongly after holding the divine bow. He quickly retracted his genetic power, looked at Hu Xin in disbelief and asked, Who are you? You have a top-grade broken laser sword, and now a complete divine bow. Grandpa, it doesn't matter who I am. What's important is that you can rest assured that I will treat Yuanian well. You can also ask for anything else you need. I will definitely do my best to satisfy you to the best of my ability. Chapter 158, Being Looked Down Upon. I want gold coins. Countless gold coins, do you have them? Chen Shukai said, holding the magic bow. In fact, the divine bow had already moved him. It was a treasure that could not be measured by money. Chen Yuanian, who was originally feeling a little regretful, was also extremely shocked. She never expected that Hu Xin would actually give her the magic bow. This is absolutely priceless. Grandpa, money is just a bunch of data to me. In the future, no matter how much money you want, I will pay for it. No more, no less. Really? Chen Shukai asked excitedly. Isn't the reason why he forced Chen Yuanian and Shen Youjian to go on a blind date just for money? Now Hu Xin not only gave the divine bow as a gift, but if love can solve the problem of money, then what is the Shen family? Of course I take it seriously. How dare I lie to you? Grandpa? Okay, in that case, you come back to the research institute with me now. Chen Kazhai put away his magic bow and was in a good mood. Hu Xin looked at the ring on his hand curiously just now. The ring had a slight energy fluctuation, and the magic bow disappeared. Don't look at it, it's the same as the one in your hand. It's a folding space ring that can store some dead objects. Grandpa, you and I won't go back for the time being. I just treated Deng Yao, the daughter of the Deng family. And her condition hasn't fully improved yet. I can't give up halfway. What? You saved the daughter of the Deng family? Chen Shukai was very excited. Yes, Grandpa, what's wrong with that? No, of course there is nothing wrong with that. The daughter of the Shen family is one of the 3 most beautiful women in our Jiluti province. If you can also win her over, it will be considered your ability. Grandpa, what nonsense are you talking about? Chen Yuanayan stomped her feet in anger. How do you talk to your grandfather? Isn't it normal for a man to have 3 wives and 4 concubines? Besides, your human grandfather will obey you this time. So you should think carefully about some things in the future and don't be so willful. Grandson-in-law, my granddaughter is willful, you have to give in to her. Don't worry, Grandpa, I will definitely not bully you and others should not even think about it. Okay, I'll leave now. I'll find you when I need money. A money problem was solved, and the magic bow was returned. Chenshu then left in a good mood. Honey, that's awesome. That magic bow looks so familiar to me, Chen Yuanayan asked while holding Hu Xian's arm. Of course it looks familiar, Sen. That the scrap copper and iron I bought at that antique shop for 80 gold coins? Ah, that bow is the divine bow? Chen Yuanayan was shocked to the extreme. With 80 gold coins, I actually bought a magical bow? No, there's also this lightsaber. He quickly took out the hilt and asked in disbelief. Honey, this hilt is not the same lightsaber hilt that I bought with 1 gold coin. Right? Yes, that's the one. Hu Xian did not hide it. Oh my god, husband, you can actually identify treasures? Let's go to the underground Taobao market. There are so many treasures there. Chen Yuanayan pulled Hu Xian and left. Honey, don't worry. Baby, this thing is a test of chance when luck comes. What's yours will always be yours now. Let's go back to the hospital and see how Deng Yao is doing. Hearing this, Chen Yuanayan trembled. Husband, you are not really going to listen to Grandpa and take down Deng Yao, right? I don't agree, you are my husband. I don't want to share you with others. She hugged Hu Xian tightly and said, Koketh this lie. Hu Xian smiled bitterly and said, but I already have many wives. I don't care, honey. I beg you, don't look for other women, okay? I'll give you whatever you need. If you have strong desires, it's okay. I'm always on call. Honey. Okay. I didn't say I wanted to pursue Deng Yao. I just went to see how she was doing. If there's no problem, we can leave and venture out. Really? Of course it's true. Why would I lie to you? Oh, well. By the way, let's go to the communication center first. I don't have any communication equipment or number yet. Otherwise, how will you contact me if we get separated? That's right, then let's go to Communication City first. And he took a flying vehicle and headed for the Communication City. Aircraft transportation is very convenient. A distance of dozens of kilometers can be reached in just 10 minutes. 200 gold coins, said the pilot. What 200 gold coins? Why don't you go rob? Chen Yuanayan's reaction was very strong. The pilot said, it's just 200 gold coins, you guys are riding the aircraft. So why don't you want to pay? I'll just take care of the law enforcement team. Reported you Ray charging exorbitant fees, the law enforcement team will come to arrest you. Chen Yuanayan was very angry. Hu Xian took out the gold coins and said, it doesn't matter whether it's money or not, I'm not short of money. After saying that, he took Chen Yuanayan and left. Husband, why do you spoil him so much? People like him will bully others. You must teach him a lesson, Chen Yuanayan said angrily. Wife, don't be angry, someone will take care of him. She'd better pray that I don't meet him next time. Otherwise I will definitely be rude to him. Chen Yuanayan was still very angry. Hu Xian took her into the communication city. I just bought a communication device and walked casually to the shop next door. Sir, I'm sorry, but our minimum order is 10,000 gold coins. Do you have the spending power? Hu Xian immediately frowned. You actually set a consumption limit? I'm sorry, sir. We only deal in branded business here. If you have funding issues, you can look at other stores. Sorry, I also only buy branded products. Show me the best ones. Sir, are you serious? The salesman asked in disbelief. Do you think I'm joking? No, don't misunderstand me, sir. Please. Take Hu Xian into the store. A high-tech store is decorated in an extremely luxurious way. Hu Xian discovered that the floors were all made of silver, with most of the decorations being made of gold, supplemented by platinum. Such decoration is indeed extremely luxurious. Soon, they arrived in front of a magnetic levitation device, on which was floating a bracelet. The bracelet was made of imperial jade, and the overall shape was extremely cool and beautiful. Is this also a communication device? Hu Xian asked curiously. Yes, so this bracelet is made of super nanomaterials and is worth 10 million gold coins. Does it suit your taste? Yes, it meets the requirements. This is the device I want also, please choose a contact number for me. Huaxian ordered directly. Zhen Yuanian on the side said quickly. Husband, you have to look carefully, that's 10 million. Huaxian nodded and said, I know, it's only 10 million. Which is a small amount of money for me. The salesperson said excitedly. Sir, we need payment first before shipping so. Chapter 159. Just brush it and it's over. Huaxian interrupted. I don't have any communication equipment. How can I transfer money to you, cash? The salesperson immediately thought that Huaxian simply couldn't afford it, and was just trying to show off in front of the beauty. So he said coldly, Sir, you can pay in cash. Huaxian smiled, nodded and said, Okay, then I'll pay in cash. After that, he took out the remaining 78 gold coins, handed them to the other party and said, This is the first batch. Please count them carefully. The salesman looked at the scattered dozens of gold coins with a disdainful smile, took them and counted them saying, 78 gold coins, sir? You are still far from 10 million. Ding, congratulations to the host. He spent 300 gold coins within 3 hours and obtained 5 intermediate strengthening pills. Ding, new mission, spend 500 gold coins within 3 hours. Deduct 100 million reinforcement points if the mission fails, and reward 5 intermediate reinforcement pills for completing the mission. Huaxian smiled coldly and said, Don't be anxious, just count slowly. He took out 500 gold coins. The other party was stunned, and then said, Sir, please wait a moment. I thought to myself, you still want to make it difficult for me to count the gold coins? With today's technology, you are really overthinking it. After a while, the salesman came over pushing a device. She put all the gold coins Huaxian gave her into the device. After a noise, a mechanical voice sounded, 500 gold coins in total. Sir, it's only 578 gold coins it's far from enough. Xiaoshu's voice became colder and colder. There were a few salesmen and customers around, looking at them curiously. Just looking at Huaxian is like looking at a clown. Zhen Yuanian frowned and looked at Huaxian, not understanding what he was going to do. Ding, congratulations to the host for spending 500 gold coins within 3 minutes, completing the task ahead of schedule, and receiving 8 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new task, complete it within 3 hours, spend 10 gold coins. If the task fails, deduct 100 million reinforcement points. Complete the task and you will be rewarded with 5 intermediate reinforcement pills. Huaxian directly threw 1,000 gold coins into the device. A total of 1,000 gold coins. Sir, please stop being ridiculous. It's only 1578 gold coins. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 1,000 gold coins within 1 minute, completed the task ahead of schedule, and received 20 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new task. Complete 5,000 gold coins within 2 hours. 200 million reinforcement points will be deducted if the task fails, and 10 intermediate reinforcement points will be awarded for completing the task. Huaxian put the gold coins into the device again. Then complete the task. Get the reward, take on new tasks, and continue to invest. Such is the discussion. When the 11th time. Ding. Congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 5 million gold coins within 5 seconds, and obtained 500 intermediate strengthening pills. Ding. New mission, within 30 seconds, you need to spend 10 million gold coins to complete it. If you fail the mission, you will be deducted 1 billion reinforcement points. If you complete the mission, you will be rewarded with 300 intermediate reinforcement pills. After more than 10 consecutive advance payments, the task time was shortened to a terrifying 30 seconds. Of course, the rewards are also incredibly rich. 11 times. Huaxian obtained a total of 2,800 intermediate strengthening pills. 1 intermediate strengthening pill is equal to 1 million strengthening points. After redemption, it is worth more than 2 billion, which is a huge profit. Everyone at the scene, whether it was the sales staff or other guests who were watching the show, even Zhen Yuanian was stunned with shock. At the 25th second, Huaxian deposited all 10 million into the gold coin counter device. The device is already at maximum power. It also takes 5 seconds to complete the calculation. A total of 10 million gold coins. The mechanized sound of the equipment sounded again. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the task of spending 10 million gold coins within 30 seconds and received 300 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new members, complete the consumption of 30 million gold coins within 30 seconds. 1 billion reinforcement points will be deducted for mission failure, and 300 intermediate reinforcement pills will be awarded for completing the mission. The salesman finally responded, "Sir, that's enough. It's already more than 20 million. Hu Xin said calmly. "Now, can you go and activate this communication device for me? And also choose the best number for me?" After saying that, 20 seconds later, another 30 million gold coins were added to the gold coin counter. Because there were so many gold coins, this counter, which could automatically expand and contract, became larger and larger. "Sir, I will go and activate your communication equipment and select a good number for you. Please don't give me any more gold coins," the salesperson said in panic. She thought that her actions had angered the tycoon. Hu Xin shook his head and said, "Now, I want to buy everything here. Because I am very unhappy that you look at me as a poor person." A total of 30 million gold coins. The counter took a full second to count clearly. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have spent 30 million gold coins in 30 seconds and received 300 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new, but you have nothing within 1 minute. Spend 50 million gold coins if the mission fails. 100 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the mission is completed, 250 intermediate reinforcement pills will be awarded. Finally, the time began to extend and Hu Xin let go of the ball. But 1 minute is far from enough, so we must continue to consume to the limit. Everyone present was numb, because the amount of gold coins Hu Xin took out was close to 100 million. You know, these are physical gold coins. It's hard to believe. Why would a person carry so many cash gold coins on him? At the 45th second, Hu Xin put another 50 million into the gold coin counter. The gold coin counter was expanded again. Fortunately, the entire store is ultra-technical, and the position and space can be changed at will. At 13 seconds, the mechanical voice of the counter sounded. A total of 50 million gold coins. The cash in gold coins have exceeded 100 million. Someone muttered. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 50 million gold coins within 1 minute, and are rewarded with 250 intermediate strengthening pills. Ding, new mission, completed within 1 minute to consume 80 million gold coins. If the mission fails, 100 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the mission is completed, the reward is 250 reinforcement pills. When you continue to the last time, put the gold coins into the counter. Everyone around me was numb. Then Hu Xin repeated the operation over and over again to extend the swipe time, until the salesperson gave him a communication device, which enabled him to transfer money directly by swiping the card. Next, 100 million in 3 minutes, 300 million in 3 minutes, 500 million in 6 minutes, a billion in 6 minutes, 2 billion in 15 minutes, 4 billion in 15 minutes, 8 billion in 30 minutes, 10 billion in 30 minutes, 30 billion an hour. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 50 billion gold coins within 1 hour, and will be rewarded with 30 intermediate strengthening pills. Finally, the time was extended to 3 hours, and Hu Xin stopped transferring money. But the amount of money he took out shocked the store's sales staff and customers. The sales manager had already been alarmed and was also staring at Hu Xin blankly. Even Chen Yuanian was dumbfounded. She had always believed that Hu Xin was poor, but now she realized that he was actually rich enough to rival a country. Chapter 160, Rejection. Hu Xin looked at the salesman who looked down on him and asked, "Are the gold coins I took out enough?" The salesman's body trembled violently. Feeling panic, "First sir, you took out a total of 108,989,858,578 gold coins, which is enough to buy our 10 stores in Communication City. Okay, let me go through the formalities, and these 10 stores will be mine from now on. But sir, we have no intention of buying the store. You've taken the money, and you tell me you're not going to buy a store? Do you think this string of Imperial Jade communication equipment is worth more than 100 billion? Hu Xin asked coldly. Sir, no, I don't have such an idea. But I can't make the decision about this store. That's called the one who has received the Lord. Come out, hurry up, I'm in a hurry to spend money. Don't delay my time to spend money. Hu Xin said this arrogantly. He also remembered that when he was on Earth, wasn't it just delaying his time to spend money? At this time, a fat, big-eared middle-aged man arrived. He was dressed luxuriously and it was obvious that he was of noble status. Boss, you are finally here. This man paid more than 100 billion in our store in a rage. He said he wanted to buy your 10 stores in Communication City. Fatty looked at Hu Xin and said, "Young man, you are very rich. But I'm afraid it's impossible for you to buy my 10 chain stores with more than 100 billion. Hu Xin said calmly, "That's easy, I'll add another 80 billion. What? Are you crazy? No matter how rich you are, you can't spend money like this." Everyone at the scene was shocked. Even the fat boss was shocked. In fact, he was sure to make a profit of more than 100 billion. But this guy actually asked for an additional 80 billion. He asked in disbelief, really? Huaxian immediately turned on his communication device and scanned the code to transfer money. 80 billion gold coins have arrived in the store. A mechanical voice sounded. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 80 billion gold coins within 3 hours. And you will be rewarded with 20 intermediate strengthening pills. Ding, new mission. Within 3 hours, complete the task and consume 100 billion gold coins. If the mission fails, 500 million reinforcement points will be deducted. If the mission is completed, 20 medium-quality reinforcement pills will be awarded. The whole audience was stunned. 80 billion gold coins. And they transferred it without any hesitation. It's crazy. Is that enough now? Huaxian asked. The boss finally reacted. Wiped the sweat from his forehead, and said respectfully, that's enough. I'll have someone bring the store contract right away. People who don't regard money as money at all are definitely people from a superpower. They will never lack money because of this, they will never lack military force. Such a behemoth is definitely not someone he can afford to offend. In about half an hour, the contracts of various stores were brought. Huaxian took the contract and threw it to Chen Yuanian like a piece of waste paper, saying, wife, I sign 1,000 words and these for shops are given to you. What? Chen Yuanian was shocked again. This was an industry worth nearly 200 billion. And it was actually given to her? Why, you don't like it? No, I like it very much, thank you, husband. Silly. You and I are husband and wife. It would be awkward to say thank you. Just sign it quickly, I'm in a hurry to go shopping. Everyone had no doubt when they heard this. From the tone of his voice, it seems like he has too many gold coins and is in a hurry to spend them. Chen Yuanian signed her name quickly, and immediately these for shops became her assets. After a while, the dean called. Granddaughter, what's going on? How come you suddenly have 10 more stores under your name? It turns out that this is an electronic contract. Once signed and sealed, it will immediately belong to the person who signed it. Naturally, you can check it at the first time. Grandpa, this is a gift from my husband. I don't want it. What? Does this guy have too much money and nowhere to spend it? He spent nearly 200 billion to squander it, but he had the money to transfer 100 billion to me. I was still living frugally, but he actually spent it recklessly. It's really too much. Chen Yuanian looked at Huaxian and said, Hubby, you heard it all. Grandpa asked you to transfer 100 billion. Okay, let the old man send me his account number and I'll transfer the money to him right away. Huh? Chen Yuanian was extremely shocked. Even the old man on the communication line asked in disbelief. Grandson-in-law, are you sure you're not kidding? Grandpa, we are family. Why would I joke with you? Hurry up and give me your account number. I will transfer the money to you in minutes. Let me see if you are bragging. The next moment the account was sent. Huaxian also transferred the money immediately. Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 100 billion gold coins within 3 hours and received 20 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding! New mission. Spend 300 billion gold coins within 3 hours. Deduct 500 million reinforcement points if the mission fails. And reward 20 intermediate reinforcement pills for completing the mission. On the other end of the communication device, the old man was stunned with shock when he saw the 100 billion yuan that had arrived in his account. I thought, is this guy so rich? 100 billion? Can he just transfer it like that? If the transfer records were not real, he would have suspected that he was dreaming. Grandpa, that transferred 100 billion to you. If it's not enough, tell me anytime, Yuanian, and I still need to buy some things. I'll hang up now. Honey, how rich are you? Chen Yuanian asked in disbelief. I'm not very rich, but it's enough for me, honey. If you want to buy something, just go ahead and buy it. You don't have to save money for me. Hubby, you said this, so I won't be polite. I told you, don't be polite to me. You don't know that having endless gold coins is actually a very painful thing. And husband, if you dare me, come. Chen Yuanian took Huaxian directly to the Noble Shopping Mall. Most of the items sold here are related to genetic warriors. The feeling it gives people is just one word: expensive. Walk into a battle armor equipment shop. This is not something that can be compared to those armor equipment shops in the commercial street. The cheapest set of armor costs 5 million gold coins. Ladies and gentlemen, what kind of armor would you like to buy? The salesperson was a beautiful lady wearing black stockings and a professional suit. She is good looking and has a good attitude. He did not look down on Huaxian just because of his poor dress. The best armor, both for men and women, and preferably for couples. Huaxian stated his conditions. Sir, madam, you are in luck. We just got a couple's mid-quality armor here. The price is 180 million gold coins. If you like it, I can give you a call. There's no need for a discount. But isn't 800 million a bit too cheap? Hu Xin said seriously. The salesperson thought Hu Xin was just being sarcastic and said in a gentle tone. Sir, I can give you a maximum discount of 95, what do you think? How about this, I'll offer you 300 billion, you tell me how much your store is worth in gold coins, and I'll buy it for you. Chapter 161, Real Life Robot. What? The salesperson was stunned. After a while, he asked in disbelief. Sir, are you sure you are not joking? Hu Xin activated the communication device and opened his account. Immediately, a 3 followed by a series of zeros appeared in the account balance, which was projected directly into the air and clearly visible to everyone around him. Everyone who saw it was stunned with shock. That guy is so rich. Hundreds of millions, millions, 100 million, 10 billion, 100 billion, 100 billion, my god, a full 300 billion? A girl who thought she looked in was very good walked up to Hu Xin and said, Handsome, can you add me as Fangxi? She also deliberately exposed her attractive skin and long legs. Girl, respect yourself, my wife is here. Chen Yuanian said angrily. If you don't want to be beaten, get out of here now. The girl could only leave in frustration, thinking to herself, what a mischievous guy. I wonder what I'm doing guarding such a ferocious tigress. Sir, do you really want to buy our equipment shop? The salesperson asked in disbelief. Of course, do you think I'm kidding? Sir, I can't make the decision on this matter, please wait a moment. I will contact our boss. The sales contacted the boss immediately. After a while, with the help of folding image projection technology, the boss's image appeared in front of him in 3D form. At the same time, the scene in the store was also reflected to the boss in 3D. And what Hu Xin didn't expect was that the owner of the equipment shop was actually a wealthy lady, who was swimming in the swimming pool in a swimsuit. What's going on? The lady asked somewhat unhappily. Boss, it's this gentleman, he has 300 billion in assets and wants to buy our equipment store. I can't make a decision, so I need your advice. No, I'm not going to take out any money. I opened the shop just for face. So I won't buy it even if he gives me 300 billion or 3 trillion. The lady looked at Hu Xin and hung up the phone. The salesperson said to Hu Xin apologetically, I'm sorry sir, our boss doesn't want to buy the store. Oh, that's a shame. Do you have any better equipment besides this 180 million couple suit? Sir, our best equipment is only 120 million. I'm sorry, we don't have the best equipment that suits your needs. At this time, a plump beauty came over and said, Sir, with your spending power, you can definitely go to the Noble Business Center to spend money. The goods there are all top-notch. Is that so? Sorry? I didn't know that. I'm really sorry to bother you. Let us go to the Noble Shopping District to spend some money now. Wife, let's go. He took Chen Yuanian and left the store. Wife, next time you want to buy something, just take me to the best place. Buy the best, understand? Hu Xin emphasized seriously. Abi, I get it. I will never save money for you again. Soon we arrived at the center of the aristocratic business district. This place is actually surrounded by a 50-meter high intelligent alloy metal wall. Outside the wall is also a business district, and elixirs need to go through the security check channel to enter the aristocratic business district. There are a total of 36 security check channels, and you can only enter after passing security check. Chen Yuanian took Hu Xin to the nearest security check channel with familiarity. I'm sorry, sir and madam, to enter the Noble Business District for consumption, you must have a minimum deposit of 1 billion gold coins. Hu Xin could only use his own balance again. After the security guard saw it, he immediately said, Sir, please come in. When you walk in, you will see a closed passage. This passage is a fully intelligent vehicle inspection passage. When Hu Xin walks in it, he feels as if his whole body is transparent, and even his soul has been half scanned. It is extremely mysterious. There was nothing unusual, and the two entered the center of the aristocratic business district. There were a lot of people inside, most of them wearing mighty armor or noble dresses. The sense of technology here is several times more advanced than outside. Sir, madam, how can I help you? A robot with real human skin came up to them and asked in a friendly manner. If it weren't for the robot number to hanging on her chest, Hu Xin wouldn't have recognized that she was not human. We want to buy some of the best equipment. Yes sir, please follow me. Robot no, to immediately turned around and led the way. Chen Yuanian looked at the robot made by Arad and asked Hu Xin, Honey, what do you think of this robot? Very good. Very beautiful, with a perfect figure. I like it very much. Hu Xin said with a smile. Chen Yuanian rolled her eyes and said, Abi, since you like it so much, why don't you just marry a robot and bring it home? Hu Xin hugged Chen Yuanian and said, My wife, how can you be jealous of a robot? I have such a good wife like you, how can I be attracted to a robot? I was just joking. At this time, a surprised voice came from a distance. Chen Yuanayan. Huaxian and Chen Yuanayan both looked over when they heard the sound. A tall and long-legged girl walked towards them. Coming up to him, he said excitedly, Chen Yuanayan, is it really you? Aren't you at your grandfather's Star Research Institute base? Why are you here with a man? My husband is taking me to buy some weapons and equipment. What about you? Are you alone? Husband? He's your husband? He said in surprise, and then approached Chen Yuanayan and said, Yuanayan, I have to say that your taste has deteriorated. You even like this kind of stuff? Kick him out quickly. I'll introduce you to a better one. Xiaowan, who are they? Two young men and a young girl came over, and one of the young men asked gently, Peng Ao, let me introduce you to my college classmate Chen Yuanayan. Her grandfather is the dean of the Star Realm Research Institute. Zheng Xiaowan introduced. It's Chen Yuanayan. Hello. I often hear Xiaowan mention you and praise you for your beauty. After meeting you today, I find that you are indeed as beautiful as the saying goes. Sorry, my husband and I still have something to buy, so we won't disturb you anymore. After saying this, Chen Yuanayan pulled Huaxian away, and she no longer had a good impression of Zheng Xiaowan. It was stupid to advise him to leave Huaxian without knowing anything. If it weren't for our friendship as classmates, I would have turned hostile just now. What are you buying, Yuanayan? My boyfriend also wants to buy me some armor. So let's do it together, Zheng Xiaowan said without knowing anything. Chen Yuanayan asked in surprise, are you sure you want to come with us? Yes, is it not possible? Or is it that your partner is too incompetent, and you are afraid of being embarrassed? Zheng Xiaowan said without any hesitation. He also glanced at Huaxian with disdain. Chen Yuanayan said angrily, if you want to go together, and go together, but if you get hurt later, don't blame me for not reminding you. Chapter 162 Reluctant. Hearing this, Peng Ao laughed out loud. Then he said, are you going to attack me? Well, let's do it together. I will show you my financial strength. Huaxian said. I don't think it's interesting, because I've already dealt with people like you who have no vision, and I don't have the experience of pretending to be cool and then getting slapped in the face anymore. Hearing this, Peng Ao's face darkened. How much did he look down on him to say such a thing? He said angrily, it doesn't matter. I often do this to those who are blind and pretend to be awesome even though they have no strength. Huaxian smiled coldly and said, how about this, we add a gambler. Whoever has the lowest spending power will pay the other party 10 billion gold coins? What? 10 billion? Everyone was shocked. That was 10 billion. Not 1 million. They all looked at Huaxian as if he were a madman, thinking that there was no way he could come up with 10 billion gold coins. Peng Ao naturally thought so too, and thought to himself, you like to show off, fine, I'll accompany you, and wait and see how I slap you in the face. Okay, 10 billion is 10 billion. If the loser can't pay it back, he will become the other party's lackey to pay off the debt. Do you dare? Huaxian shook his head with a look of disdain and said, sorry, I don't like lackeys like you. This is really infuriating. Crackling. Peng Ao clenched his fists. He was so angry that he almost couldn't hold it in. Zheng Xiaowan felt distressed when she saw her man getting so angry. She said angrily, Chen Yuanayan, look at the kind of person you have found. He is just good at talking. What a waste. Chen Yuanayan had tolerated it again and again. And now she was angry. You said my man is a waste. The man you found is not worthy of comparing with my man. On the side, their friend the girl said, of course they can't be compared. After all, your man is too useless. He is just pretending to be cool. He will be broken if you poke him naturally. He dare not agree to Peng Ao's request. Another man said, Ulvi Hong, don't just tell the truth. Give others some face. Face is something you have to fight for. How can a useless person who only knows how to show off have any face? Lu Hong's words became more and more unpleasant. Chen Yuanayan was so angry that she said angrily, okay people, you have a lot of people and you are good at talking, right? Let's go and spend money now, and see who is a loser and a coward later. After saying that, he took Huaxian and left. I'll see who will be embarrassed later, Zheng Xiaowan said, and pulled Peng Ao to follow. That far away, a fine weapons shop appeared. There is a huge crystal screen at the door with a few big words on it. Anyone with assets less than 1 million gold coins is prohibited from entering this store. To put it bluntly, the cheapest equipment there costs 1 million. If you don't have the financial strength, it would be a waste of time to go in. So they directly refused. Chen Yuanayan took Huaxian in. Seeing a group of people dressed in extraordinary clothes coming in, a salesman came over immediately for one-on-one service and asked enthusiastically, everyone, what do you need to buy? If you have any requirements, just let me know. Zheng Xiaowan spoke first. Recommend the most expensive weapon you have here. My boyfriend wants to buy it for me. Peng Ao glanced at Huaxian and Chen Yuanayan and said, that's right, I want the most expensive one. Lu Hongyi and Su Hiran both looked at Hu Xian with disdain. I thought now is the moment for you to be embarrassed. Hu Xian didn't say anything, waiting for them to show off. When the salesperson heard such a request, he was very happy and said, "Customer, please follow me." Seeing that they were together, I immediately left only the salesperson who received them first. The other salesmen retreated enviously, regretting that they were a steps low and missed such a big customer. The equipment shop area is very large, probably no larger than a basketball court. There is also a weapons and equipment testing site inside. After all, when purchasing weapons, it is necessary to test their power and effectiveness. Soon we arrived at a very wide place. It was not only wide but also tall. Probably no less than 30 meters in height. Humans seemed very small here. And here, there are tall and majestic mechas displayed. That's right, the top quality products sold here are mechas. Mechas are machines that humans enter, connect with brain waves, and control to fight. The salesperson took them to a tall, mighty, and domineering mech and introduced it. This is one of the most advanced mechas that our store has just received. It is made of superalloy, has 6 machine guns, a mountain machine gun, and is equipped with a powerless long sword and a laser sword. It has an AOD performance engine, driving force, and explosive power. It is comparable to an 8th level genetic warrior. The price is 30 billion gold coins. Do you think it is suitable? When he heard the number 30 billion, Peng Ao immediately frowned. It's not that he didn't have 30 billion, but he was reluctant to spend 30 billion on a bet just for a woman. After all, 30 billion is not a small amount. It's not easy for us to carry these companies now. So I think we should just forget about it, said Peng Ao. Zheng Xiaowan also understood that she was just Peng Ao's girlfriend, and it was unrealistic for him to give her 30 billion. She also said, yes, it's not convenient to carry let's buy other portable weapons. Xiang smiled and pointed to a small floating ball field nearby. You are overthinking considering the portability. This machine is equipped with a portable nanospace device. This space device is sold separately and costs 50 billion gold coins. The package is 80 billion as long as you buy it together. It will be very cost-effective to carry it. It was no secret in the genetic world that space devices were very expensive. But when Peng Ao heard that the price would increase by another 80 billion, he looked even more unnatural. I secretly cursed the salesperson for having no vision. Can't he see that I don't want to buy this product? But the salesperson sneered and thought, no man is a good thing. And yet you still want to pretend to be cool. I'll let you do it. Zheng Xiaowan naturally understood Peng Ao's thoughts, and looked at Hu Xian and said, aren't you going to buy equipment for Chen Yuanian? This mecha is not bad, buy it. Peng Ao said quickly. Yes, you are going to show off and slap me in the face. Right? Come on, buy it, including the nanospace device. The sales staff also focused their attention on Hu Xian. Lu Hong and Su Hiran were both waiting to see the joke. Hu Xian asked Chen Yuanian calmly, do you like it? Chen Yuanian knew how rich Hu Xian was, and smiled sweetly. I don't really like it, but... Before Chen Yuanian could finish her words, Peng Ao burst into laughter. What do you mean you don't like it? It's because you don't have the gold coins and can't afford it. Chen Yuanian said angrily before she finished her words. If you can afford it, why don't you buy it and give it to Zheng Xiaowan? Hearing this, the smile on Peng Ao's face froze instantly. I secretly cursed myself for being too talkative. It would be embarrassing if I didn't buy it, but it would be painful if I did buy it. Zheng Xiaowan came to the rescue and said, I don't like this mecha either. Chapter 163, just kowtow 3 times. Hu Xian said to the salesperson, although my wife doesn't like this mecha, it doesn't take up much space, so it's still a good toys. Can the code to pay? I'll buy it for 80 billion. Everyone at the scene was shocked. Even the salesperson asked in disbelief. Sir, are you serious? I thought, this is 80 billion gold coins. Even if it is silver coins, it is still a huge sum of money. I didn't expect that there would be a man willing to buy it for his woman. The key is, have you got married and obtained a marriage certificate? What if the woman is a liar? Hu Xian turned on the communication device and said, scan the code to pay by something for my wife as long as she likes it. I will never frown. The salesperson quickly took out the shortcut code, scanned the code, performed facial recognition, entered the password, performed fingerprint verification, and entered the amount under the incredulous gaze of Zheng Xiaowan and the others. Ding, the store has received 80 billion gold coins. Please confirm receipt. A notification sound of the store's payment system shocked the entire store. Even the people outside who heard the notification sound couldn't help but look inside the store curiously. I wondered where this nobleman came from and why he spent so much money. The salesperson who was collecting the money took a while to react and said excitedly, Sir, madam, come here, I will pack the goods for you right away. Madam, you need to drip blood to recognize this nanospace device as your master. And then you can store the mecha in it in addition. This nanospace device has a large space and can also store other items, which is very convenient. Chen Yuanayan threw the nanospace device with a smile on her face, and then took away the mecha in everyone's gaze. By the way, ma'am, we have a mecha trial site. You can also go and try out the mecha to see if it's suitable for you. No need, my husband bought it. I like it even if it doesn't fit. Oxian continued, recommends some very good individual combat weapons. Oh, and are there any better mechas? I want to buy one myself. I'm sorry sir, we don't have any better mechas at the moment. And you please leave me your contact information? If there is a better mecha, I will inform you as soon as possible. Forget about the contact information. My wife will be jealous. Recommend some very good individual combat weapons. Okay sir, please follow me. I thought to myself that I never realized that this guy, who is dressed ordinary, is actually a good man. I really envy this girl. Peng Yao and Zhang Xiaowan naturally did not dare to follow and wanted to leave on tiptoe. Huaxian looked back at them and asked, "What are you doing?" Then he added, "We only bought a mecha worth 80 billion gold coins. You should be able to surpass me easily, right? If you can't, it's okay to admit defeat, just give me 10 billion gold coins as per the bet." Hearing this, Peng Yao's face turned extremely ugly, and he smiled awkwardly. "Brother, I was just joking. You took it seriously. You must be joking when you humiliated and attacked me just now. It didn't seem like you were joking." Chen Yuanayan also said, "Zhang Xiaowan, we are old classmates, you can't afford to lose, right? It doesn't matter if you don't want to give my husband 10 billion, just buy more things than my husband." Huaxian smiled and said, "That's right, just spend more than that, we're in." "Are you very confident in your spending power just now?" "To tell you the truth, I only have 100 billion gold coins on me. As long as you spend more than that, you can beat me. By the way, Peng Yao, right? If you can't come up with that much by yourself, the four of you can come together. As long as you can come up with more than me, you win. You can even use an overdraft card." These words were so sarcastic that the four of them looked extremely ugly. "You guys are not overdrawn, are you? Then you can only admit defeat. I don't think you can come up with 10 billion after losing. How about this, Peng Yao, you made a bet with me, now kneel down and kowtow 3 times. I don't want the 10 billion. Chen Yuanayan said, distressed. "Lie? Husband, he is a waste. 3 rings, how can he be worth 10 billion? We are at a disadvantage." God assists. "It doesn't matter. We don't need the 10 billion. Peng Yao's face turned the color of liver, and he clenched his fists. Then he shouted angrily, "You guys are so arrogant. Right? Come on, let's compete. I'll show you how to humiliate you. Xiaowan, let's go shopping." A super salesman came over and said, "Give us 2 mechas, and more than 80 billion gold coins will do." The salesperson was very happy, as these were all her sales. The other salesmen's eyes sparkled with envy when they saw this. Xiaoya's luck is too good, she actually encountered 2 parties betting on consumption. That's right, Xiaoya actually got this once in a millennium opportunity. I'm so envious. Oh, I regret it now. I was just a step slower than Xiaoya just now. Otherwise this opportunity would have been mine. No, Xiaoya's commission this time will definitely be incredibly high. She should at least give us some, right? Yes, we will look for her once she has completed her performance. Xiaoya was overjoyed and recommended 2 mechas to Peng Yao. A total of 140 billion gold coins. Peng Yao paid the money despite the heartache. Although the mecha is not valuable, the nanospace device is expensive. Ding, the store has received 140 billion gold coins. The voice sounded again, shocking everyone who heard the prompt. That's 140 billion gold coins. It's so horrible. Which rich man is doing the spending? The other salespeople were extremely envious of Xiaoya. You to drip your blood to identify the spacecraft as your master. And you can take the mecha away. By the way, do you want to try out the mecha? Peng Yao looked at Huaxian and said proudly, "No need. We bought the mecha as a toy." I said this, but my heart was bleeding. Huaxian smiled and said, "Amazing, really amazing." Zheng Xiaowan said proudly, "Huaxian, you lose now, pay 10 billion gold coins." Huaxian said calmly, "I don't think I will lose. I also plan to buy some individual combat weapons." Peng Yao asked, "How much is a single soldier combat weapon worth?" The salesperson on the side said quickly, "We have more than 5 individual combat weapons, worth more than 100 billion gold coins." But Peng Yao and the others were extremely shocked. Then he laughed. Zheng Xiaowan said, "Okay, let's go buy individual combat weapons." Huaxian, don't you want to defeat us? You can win by purchasing individual combat weapons worth more than 100 billion yuan. She was confident that Huaxian would not be willing to spend 100 billion to purchase individual combat weapons. Peng Yao also said, that's right, let's go buy it now. Sales leads the way. The salesperson was delighted. Dear guests, please come this way. He brought Hu Xian and the others to the individual combat weapons center. Coming to a very sci-fi really cool looking toy, the salesperson introduced. This gene cannon, you only need to inject gene power. It can fire gene particle cannons depending on the strength of the injected gene. It can reach the power of a level 10 gene warrior. If an 8th level genetic warrior possesses this weapon and injects 1/10 of his genetic power into it, he can pose a combat threat to a 10th level genetic warrior. The price of this gene cannon is 120 billion gold coins. What do you think, sir? Chapter 164, Battle Sword. Hu Xian's eyes lit up and he said, not bad, very good, I like this gene cannon very much. Give me two. Xiaoshu was stunned. 120 billion gold coins. And you want two? She was a little bit incredulous, wondering if she had heard it wrong, and asked to confirm. Sir, are you sure you want two? Hu Xian said seriously. Yes, my wife and I each have one, so that's 2 pieces. Right? Peng Yao and the others were stunned with shock. Do items cost 240 billion gold coins? Zheng Xiaowan was a little unconvinced and said angrily. Pretend, I'll see how you pretend when you pay. Hu Xian said to the salesperson. Scan the code. The salesperson was so excited that he quickly took out the shortcut code. Hu Xian scanned the code and paid on the spot. But only 220 billion gold coins were missing. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 300 billion gold coins within 3 hours and received a reward of 20 intermediate strengthening pills. Ding, new mission, completed within 3 hours and spent 500 billion gold coins. Failure of the mission will result in permanent paralysis. Completion of the mission will reward 20 intermediate strengthening pills. Hearing that Hu Xian had spent 220 billion gold coins, Peng Yao laughed and said coldly, boy, you are showing off. Keep showing off, you have no money left, right? Zheng Xiaowan also hurriedly said. Waste, are you heartbroken? Hu Xian ignored them and continued to swipe the card for 20 billion. The salesperson was extremely happy when he received the full payment. He quickly took out 2 gene cannons and handed them to Hu Xian and Chen Yuanian. Sir, do you have any other needs? The salesperson asked with great anticipation. Hu Xian said, now that we have long-range weapons, we can't do without close combat weapons. I'd like to recommend a few of the best close combat weapons. The salesperson was overjoyed. Sir, please follow me. Peng Yao and the others have become numb. Chen Yuanian said. Let's go, we spent 300 billion gold coins to buy melee weapons. You guess 140 billion, which is more than half off. We lost. After hearing this, Peng Yao and the others looked even uglier. LV Hong said, Peng Yao, don't be afraid, this guy must have been overdrawn just now. Didn't he ask us to compete with him together? Su Yiran and I will buy some things later to crush him. Su Yiran said, that's right anyway, I was planning to buy some top quality weapons. So this is just right. Okay, thank you first. With the support of Lu Hong and Su Yiran, Peng Yao felt much more confident. He stared at the backs of Hu Xian and Chen Yuanian with a fierce look in his eyes. Soon he came to a long sword. The salesperson introduced. Sir, woman, this super alloy sword is incredibly sharp. It can cut through iron like mud, and it is extremely hard. Even a level 11 genetic warrior can withstand it. This super alloy sword has a special material added to it, which increases its toughness even if it is damaged. It will not break easily. The price is 100 billion gold coins. Hu Xian hasn't spoken yet. Lu Hong said, yes, I like this sword. Give me one. After that, he looked at Hu Xian and said, didn't you say that the 4 of us should attack together? I want to see how many gold coins you have. Su Yiran also arrived. Give me one too. Then he looked at Hu Xian and Chen Yuanian provocatively. Hu Xian smiled and said, you guys buy first. Peng Yao asked. You can't afford it, right? Is your overdraft limit not enough? Chen Yuanian said, my husband has no shortage of gold coins. Overdraft limit, you are talking about yourselves, right? Old classmates, you are still stubborn, you will lose miserably soon. Zheng Xiaowan said in a shrill voice. The salesperson took out the quick code and said, you two, pay first, then pick up the goods. The 2 of them were quick to pay. When the notification sound of 200 billion gold coins arriving sounded, the other sales staff in the store became numb. Her eyes sparkled with envy at Xiaoya's sales performance. This adds up to sales of nearly 700 billion gold coins. Please wait a moment, I'll go get the goods for you. Xiaoya was very happy. The sales performance he achieved in 1 hour today is equivalent to several years' sales performance. Xiaoya went to pick up the goods. Peng Yao and the others all looked at Hu Xian and Chen Yuanian and said, you can't afford it, right? Then let's go with the number of people. Xin, it's just like what you said, it doesn't matter if you can't come up with 10 billion gold coins. Just kneel down and kowtow to the four of us 3 times each. Zheng Xiaowan said quickly, hubby, you are just a kind. He is a loser and his name is worthless. Oh, there's nothing I can do. I'm just a kind person. Peng Yao was pretending to be awesome. At this time, the salesperson came over holding Lu Hong and Su Yiran swords. You two have purchased these top-quality long swords. Is there anything else you need? Xin asked. Is there a better melee weapon than a long sword? Yes, a battle knife, but it's not very suitable for ladies, said the salesperson. Chen Yuanian said, it doesn't matter. Just because it's not suitable doesn't mean it can't be used. Please give us some recommendations. The salesperson was delighted. Okay, both of you, follow me. Walking to the other side, I saw a sword that was almost 3 meters long. No wonder the salesperson said it was not suitable for ladies. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the sword. It is made of meteorite from outer space and alloy. Whether it is sharp, willful, or hard, it is extremely powerful. It is tailor-made for a level 12 genetic warrior. In addition, this sword also contains flame stones, which have fire at reduced damage. If used by a warrior with fire at reduced genes, the attack power will be increased by 30. The price of this sword is 240 billion gold coins. After hearing the attributes of the sword, everyone was shocked. It was very strong. The long swords in Lu Hong's and the others' hands might not be able to withstand the attack of the sword. But the price has more than doubled. Peng Yao and the others simply didn't believe that Xin could afford it. Zheng Xiaowan mocked. Xin, Chen Yuanian, buy it. It's just right for you to help them up, 1 hand each. LV Hong also said, that's right, buy it as long as you buy it. We will definitely lose this bet after all, it's 480 billion. Su Yiran said, stop talking, look at how he looks. I think he has already overdrawn his account. I'm afraid he will have to live a hard life paying off his debts in the future. After saying that, he looked at Chen Yuanian and said, Miss Chen, he is a bankrupt loser, why do you have to suffer with him? Why not abandon him now and follow me? I promise to lead you to a happy life. Chen Yuanian shook her head and smiled. You still underestimate my husband's financial resources. Xin nodded and said, I like this weapon very much. I'll give you to scan the code to pay. Sales was stunned. She originally thought that Xin would not buy it at such a high price. In other words, even if I buy it, I will only buy 1. After all, with the price of 1, he won the bet. But he still bought 2? And his current sales amount has exceeded 1 trillion gold coins. I never thought that one day would meet a super big customer who only buys high quality products. Chapter 165, must pick it up. What's wrong, is there no stock? Xin asked when he saw the salesperson did not respond. The salesperson reacted and said excitedly, Sir, yes, we have it in stock, I'll go get it for you right away. So exciting. Hello, salesperson, he hasn't paid yet. Are you sure he can pay? Zheng Xiaowan reminded loudly. Xiaoya finally reacted and excitedly took out the quick code and said, Sorry sir, please pay first. Xin nodded and activated his communication device to scan the code for payment. Ding, the store has received 480 billion gold coins. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have spent 500 billion gold coins in 3 hours. And you have been rewarded with 20 intermediate strengthening pills for completing the task. Ding, new mission, completed within 3 hours and spend 600 billion gold coins. Failure of the mission will result in lifelong paralysis. Completion of the mission will reward 20 intermediate strengthening pills. The increasing amount of gold coins shocked everyone. Even the nearby merchants, and they were curious about which rich man was spending so lavishly in the weapon shop. I thought I can also shop at my own store. The other salesman's envy of Xiaoya went from jealousy to complete numbness. The salesperson who received the gold coins took a while to react. Sir, madam, please wait a moment, I will go get you weapons. The salesperson trotted away excitedly. Peng Xiaowan and the others were all dumbfounded. I thought Xin had overdrawn and would definitely not be able to earn gold coins. But he swiped out 480 billion easily. Xin looked at them and said, Now, kneel down and kowtow, saying that I am a loser, a poor fellow, and that I am not worthy of being your opponent. And I will not take the 10 billion. Hearing this, Alvi Hong and the others looked at Peng Yao. After all, it was him who made the bet with Xin. Peng Yao's face had turned as dark as charcoal. He had never thought that he would lose so badly. It is not acceptable to kowtow and apologize. Suddenly thinking of Xin's arrogance, Peng Yao angrily asked, Do you dare to ask me to ask people to come over and spend money to add up the amount? Hearing this, Zheng Xiaowan quickly said, Look at this loser. He must be afraid of losing, he definitely doesn't dare to do that. LV Hong also said, That's right, how could he dare? Huaxian shook his head and smiled. Such a low-quality provocation. I guess only losers like you can come up with it. Well, invite all your relatives and friends to spend money. As long as they are the people you invite, the spending amount can be added up. Chen Yuanayan said, hubby, I think we should just forget it. After all. Without waiting for Chen Yuanayan to finish her words, Zheng Xiaowan said anxiously, forget it, you've already said it. Do you think your man is farting? Chen Yuanayan frowned and said, Zheng Xiaowan, I'm doing this for your own good, I don't want you to lose too badly. Zheng Xiaowan said angrily, shut up, there's no way we can lose. Are you worried that you'll lose with a useless man? Chen Yuanayan was very angry and said angrily, okay. If that's the case, why not block it again, do you dare? Anio has already sent group messages to contact his friends. And they are all on their way. Hearing Chen Yuanayan's words, he said confidently, okay, what should I add to block it? Chen Yuanayan said, if my husband wins, I want Zheng Xiaowan to break up with you and become a servant to me and my husband. Zheng Xiaowan was furious. Chen Yuanayan, you bitch. You relied on your grandfather's status to bully others. Now you finally show your true colors, don't you? Chen Yuanayan was furious and said angrily. Zheng Xiaowan, you are so shameless. I knew your family was poor and I helped you many times before. But I didn't expect you to be such an ungrateful person. Did I beg you to help me? That's because you have big breasts and no brains. You're stupid, Zheng Xiaowan said. Chen Yuanayan was so angry that she couldn't speak. Huaxian said, my wife is right, if you lose, Zheng Xiaowan will have to be my dog. Do you dare? Pang Yao asked, what if you lose? Huaxian said, simple, everything I bought today belongs to you. Hearing this, Lu Hong's eyes lit up. The things Huaxian had purchased were almost worth over 1 trillion gold coins. This was definitely a huge sum of money. Zheng Xiaowan. Pang Yao agreed to him, Lu Hong said excitedly. Su Hiran also said, that's right, promise him. Okay, I promise you, Pang Yao agreed. Zheng Xiaowan also had one as long as they could get others to join in and add up the amount. They would never lose. At this time, the salesperson came wearing special weight-reducing gloves and holding the sword purchased by Huaxian. Sir, this is your sword. Huaxian held the sword in one hand. Feeling that it was very comfortable to use, he liked it very much and said with great satisfaction, not bad, very good, I like this sword very much. However, the salesperson opened his mouth in shock when he saw Huaxian holding the sword in one hand. Chen Yuanayan took the sword and her heart sank immediately. She immediately understood why the salesperson was so shocked. This sword weighs 1,000 pounds and she, a level 7 genetic warrior, can hardly lift it. So shocking. Zheng Xiaowan saw this and said disapprovingly, Chen Yuanayan is so powerful, but you are a waste, you can't even hold one handful each. Chen Yuanayan was furious and threw the sword on the ground and said, Zheng Xiaowan, you are awesome, come here, as long as you can pull up the sword without any weight loss equipment, I will give it to you. Zheng Xiaowan is only a level 5 genetic warrior. There is no way she can lift this sword. Alvi Hong and the others were so happy that they hurriedly said, Zheng Xiaowan, go get it. What if she manages to move it? That's a divine weapon worth 240 billion gold coins. Zheng Xiaowan was also very excited, and said to Chen Yuanayan, I'm telling you this, I'll take it later, don't regret it. Chen Yuanayan sneered, come and take it's yours if you can take it. My husband doesn't need these 240 billion gold coins. Huaxian nodded and said, yes, if you can lift it, the sword in my hand will belong to you. Hearing this, Zheng Xiaowan said excitedly, I hope you will regret it. Then he said to the salesperson, you saw it all, testify for me. The salesperson said awkwardly, I think we should just forget it. Peng Yao said, forget it, this is our business, just testify. The salesperson shook his head at this, thinking that if he wasn't wearing the sword sect gloves, even a level 6 genetic warrior like him wouldn't be able to pull it. And you being a level 5 would be a joke. Zheng Xiaowan walked up to the sword with confidence. Because Chen Yuanayan was still nearby, she said in a cold tone, move aside, or I might accidentally hurt you. Chen Yuanayan walked aside angrily, wondering why she didn't realize Zheng Xiaowan was such a person before. Zheng Xiaowan squatted down excitedly and grabbed the handle of the sword, praying, God, please help me to lift this sword. Get up. He burst out with all his strength, trying to grab the sword. Her companions clenched their fists and prayed for her. You must pick it up. Chapter 166, Can't Hold. However, the sword did not move at all. Zheng Xiaowan was shocked. Only then did she realize that the sword was really heavy. Elvi Hong said anxiously, Zheng Xiaowan, stop playing and pick it up quickly. That's 480 billion gold coins. I thought Zheng Xiaowan was just joking and deliberately attacking Chen Yuanayan. Get up, Zheng Xiaowan shouted, using all her strength. But the sword did not move at all. Seeing this scene, Peng Yao and the others were shocked. Looking at the gloves he was wearing, Wu asked, "Are you wearing weight-reducing gloves?" Xiaoya said, "Yes, I am wearing weight-reducing gloves that can lift 3.0 kilograms. After that, he said to Chen Yuanian, "Madam, you can also buy these weight-reducing gloves, and then you can use this sword. However, you can only use the sharpness of the sword, because the weight-reducing gloves isolate the genetic power from being injected into the sword. So the true power of the sword cannot be unleashed." "Thank you, I'll consider it," Chen Yuanian said politely. Zheng Xiaowan used all her strength and tried all kinds of postures, but still couldn't lift the sword. Chen Yuanian said coldly, "Pretend, aren't you very good at pretending? Pick it up?" Zheng Xiaowan's face became extremely ugly, and she had to give up picking up the sword. "MPH," after a snort, he said, "I can't afford it because I was born poor and don't have the resources to train. So I'm only a level 5 genetic warrior. Some people, who come from wealthy families, can barely lift a sword and cannot even use it. What's the point of pretending in front of me?" Zheng Xiaowan would never admit defeat. Chen Yuanian was very angry. Hu Xian said, "Don't pay attention to him. After we get home, I will find a way to make it easy for you to use the sword. In other words, it doesn't matter if we can't use it. As long as we can afford the sword, some people may not be able to afford it even if they save money all their lives." Hearing this, Zheng Xiaowan was furious and yelled, "You stinky man, why are you so proud? Isn't it just that you were born into a good family? If you were born into the same family as me, you would be even more useless than me." At this time, a large group of well-dressed people walked into the store in the distance. The salesmen were overjoyed and went over to greet them immediately. "Dear guests, what weapons do you need to buy? Sorry, we're looking for friends." Peng Yao was overjoyed to recognize that it was his friend who had come, and he quickly went over to greet him. "Brothers, I'm here." "Peng Yao, who is so arrogant that he wants to challenge all your friends alone?" someone asked. Anako looked at Hu Xian and Chen Yuanian and said, "That's them. These two are simply two crazy brothers and sisters. You must help me suppress them severely. That girl is quite pretty." Someone said, "Crazy? Sorry, I am crazy too. I just like to suppress this kind of crazy but incompetent loser. Okay, I'll leave it to you, Brother Ma." A group of people came to Hu Xian and Chen Yuanian in a mighty manner. The person who said Chen Yuanian was pretty said, "I heard you guys have blocked it. How about adding a little more?" Hu Xian asked, "Add what?" The guy looked at Hu Xian with lustful eyes and said, "If you lose, your girlfriend will be mine." "What if you lose?" Hu Xian said coldly. Chen Yuanian could feel that Hu Xian was really angry, but he was very happy in his heart. "If I lose, my girlfriend will be yours." The young man pulled his girlfriend over. "She looks okay and has a good figure. Which is acceptable." "Okay, sure, but this isn't very interesting. How about an additional 50 billion gold coins?" "Okay. No problem. I want to raise the stakes to not much. Just 10 billion gold coins. I'll add 10 billion gold coins. Do." Suddenly, more than a dozen people placed their bets. But except for the guy at the beginning, everyone else added 10 billion gold coins. Hu Xian said calmly, "Now, they still owe me hundreds of billions. You should catch up first." It's just a few hundred billion. No big deal if each of us spends 50 billion. That's hundreds of billions or even trillions. Brothers, no one spent 50 billion first." Seeing that there were so many people, Xiaoya shouted to the other salespeople, "Sisters, there are a lot of customers. Come over and share the workload." She also knew that today's deal was huge and the amount was too large. And they had long been envious. A group of salesmen were overjoyed when they heard this and rushed over enthusiastically. "Dear guests, please, what equipment do you need? Arrange 50 billion for us." A group of people went out to consume. Angayo said to Hu Xian in a cocky tone, "Just wait until you cry after losing." Hu Xian smiled faintly and didn't take it to heart. About a quarter of an hour later, a group of people came back, selected their equipment, and paid in front of Hu Xian and Chen Yuanian. After it was over, a group of people looked at Hu Xian. The guy called Ma Ji said, "Boy, you are really crazy. Come on, keep going crazy." Hu Xian said to Xiaoya, "I heard that laser swords are good. Do you have any recommendations?" "Yes sir, please follow me." Xiaoya was extremely excited. In fact, not many people like laser swords. Because lasers are triggered by genetic drive, but lasers are transparent and have high temperature properties that cause cutting damage. They cannot be blocked by powerful weapons, so laser weapons are relatively not very practical. Of course, low-level and weak weapons can also be easily shattered by the high temperature and super strong cutting ability of the laser sword. Moreover, the laser sword is easy to write orders on, as it only has a hilt. Soon saw the laser sword sales too. Specially install your laser sword, which is always activated for customers to choose. Sir, this is our laser sword sales counter. What style do you need? Xiaoya asked respectfully. Hu Xian said calmly. The one with the greatest power and the highest price will do. I don't have any other requirements. Stop pretending to be cool. Let me see how long you can hold on, Peng Yao said disdainfully. Xiaoya asked excitedly, Sir, high-level laser swords have their own attributes. And buyers choose laser swords based on their own attributes. What attribute do you have? Hu Xian said calmly, I can have any attribute. Then he asked Chen Yuanayan, Wife, what is your attribute? Hubby, you need a genetic warrior of level 9 or above to awaken your genetic attributes. I'm only a level 7 genetic warrior. It doesn't matter. We will awaken our attributes when we get home. After saying that, he grabbed Chen Yuanayan's wrist. The system checks my wife's attributes. Ding! The heroine Chen Yuanayan's attributes are as follows. Fire attribute 45, Water attribute 24, Metal attribute 5. Wood attribute 30, Earth attribute 23, Light attribute 6, Dark attribute 3. Hu Xian didn't expect that there would be so many attributes revealed by checking the attributes. He said to Xiaoya, recommend the best fire attributed lightsaber to my wife. Chapter 167, Gambling Trillions. Xiaoya was overjoyed and said quickly, Madam, take a look at this lightsaber. It has fire attributes and is made of the highest grade material. It only takes 0.1 seconds to trigger the lightsaber. It has extremely strong cutting power and can easily cut through level 9 weapons. The temperature is as high as 50 million degrees Celsius. This laser weapon is priced at 500 billion gold coins. Do you like it? Chen Yuanayan said calmly, I like it. Xiaoya looked at Hu Xian excitedly. Hu Xian said, since my wife likes it, I'll give you 2 of the same weapon. Stunned. The whole audience was stunned. The friends that Peng Yao called were all shocked. One sword is worth 500 billion gold coins, so 2 swords would be worth 1 trillion. What trillion gold coins? Are you crazy? At this moment, Peng Yao and Zheng Xiaowan were both terrified. LV Hong suddenly said, Don't be afraid, everyone want trillion gold coins. He has used up so much with his skills. There is no way he can have any left. He must be holding on. Upon hearing this, everyone reacted and thought that this must be the case. Xiaoya took out the quick payment code and said, Sir, please pay first. Hu Xian nodded and scanned the code to pay. Ding, 600 billion gold coins have been received in the store. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have completed the consumption of 600 billion gold coins within 3 hours and received a reward of 20 intermediate strengthening pills. Ding, new mission, complete it within 3 hours and spend 700 billion gold coins. Failure of the mission will punish the host with lifelong disability. Completion of the mission will reward 20 intermediate strengthening pills. Seeing that Hu Xian had transferred 600 billion gold coins, the people Peng Yao called breathed a sigh of relief. I thought, there must be no gold coins left. The next moment, he was slapped in the face. Ding, 400 billion gold coins have been received in the store. Fuck, another 400 billion was paid? It's not exactly 1 trillion. Xiaoya said excitedly, Sir, madam, please wait a moment. I will go get you the lightsabers. Sales leave. Hu Xian looked at Zheng Xiaowan and the others and said, I have spent another 1 trillion yuan, which has opened up a big gap. Come on, everyone. One person said angrily, Boy, don't be so cocky. You are only one person, and there are 18 of us. Each of us is spending 100 billion, which is only 18. Sorry, you will be heartbroken and bankrupt. Just admit defeat. That's right, kid, you are doomed to fail. Just wait. Your wife will be mine soon. The guy who bet his wife with Hu Xian said madly. A guy called Ma Ji said, Don't waste your time talking to him. Let's just spend another 100 billion each. The other salesmen did not leave. They were very happy to hear that they were going to sell 100 billion. Dear guests, please come in. I pray in my heart, please continue gambling. The longer the better. Not long after, Hu Xian and Chen Yuanayan both received lightsabers. The two walked to the side and couldn't wait to inject genetic power. Immediately a 1 meter too long fiery red laser extended out. Although it looked like a laser, Hu Xian could feel a dangerous aura from it. Chen Yuanayan was so happy that she put away her laser sword and looked at Hu Xian, feeling so happy. More than 1 trillion gold coins have been spent on her. The key point is that they haven't gotten married yet and got their marriage certificate. I thought, aren't you afraid that you'll run away with the gifts? Honey, how do you like it? Honey, I like it very much. Thank you, husband. Silly wife, it's too formal to say thank you. Next, I sat down on the sofa and waited for them to buy weapons. This wait lasted for more than an hour. These guys are back with a bunch of sales. One by one, they paid in front of Hu Xian like salesmen. Each person spent about 100 billion gold coins. Peng Yao and his group did not spend any money. But excluding the 4 of them, 14 people also spent 1.4 trillion gold coins, crushing Hu Xin. Peng Yao said in a very arrogant tone. Arrogant boy, you are not very arrogant, come on, keep spending. I thought to myself, I just don't believe that your assets are unlimited. Zheng Xiaowan also regained her spirit. Chen Yuanian. Quickly ask your man to spend money. If you lose, you will be our brother Xuan's woman. The young man said proudly, I am looking forward to meeting you. Miss Chen. Chen Yuanian said distaffanially, you really won't cry until you see the coffin. The guy called Ma Ji said, boy, how about we increase the bet? He thought he would win, so he wanted to increase the bet. Hu Xian smiled and said calmly, you seem to think you have me defeated? Tell me, what else do you have in mind? How about we increase the blocking amount from 10 billion to 100 billion? Said Ma Ji. Yes, 100 billion in one breath. Do you dare? They said hurriedly one by one. Peng Yao was still worried that Hu Xian would not agree. So he provoked him by saying, look at how he pretends to be calm. How could he dare to do that? Hu Xian smiled, very brightly. And then said, 100 billion is not worth it. Why don't we just gamble 1 trillion and sign a document? Do you dare? Everyone trembled and was shocked. 1 trillion. It's terrifying for them to bear 1 trillion alone. This guy actually wants to bet 1 trillion with all of them. There are 18 of them, that's 18 trillion. Zheng Xiaowan said coldly, you said it lightly, but if you lose, can you afford 18 trillion? LV Hon also hurriedly said. That's right, you lost. How could I believe that you could come up with 18 trillion? No one believed it. Hu Xian said confidently, I may not be able to take it out, but I have already spent nearly 3 trillion. Didn't my money come from my family? Do you think that the power behind me, who can spend 3 trillion, can't even take out 18 trillion? Let's sign a written agreement. Then, you can take it to the forces behind me if they don't give it to ye. And it depends on whether you dare to gamble. Are you a bunch of wimps who don't dare to gamble? Lu Hong said angrily, let's bet. Yes, let's bet. Others also quickly expressed their opinions. Such a huge amount of consumption here has already alarmed the store manager. At this time, the owner of the shop came, and she turned out to be a stunningly beautiful girl. Boss, why are you here? The salesman quickly gathered over. As for the manager, he was the boss she had invited. The boss was surprised and said, within a few hours, there were trillions of extra sales. I was a little worried. So I came to take a look. And he came to Hu Xian and the others and said, I have learned about your bet through the sky, but I suggest that you don't bet after all. Small bets can make you happy, but big bets can hurt your body. Let's bet, since he wants to die. We'll make his wish come true. It's just right that you're here. Boss, we'll get your written consent, and you can testify for us. Peng Yao said excitedly. Yes boss, you come and testify for us. This guy doesn't know his place today. We will make him cry. Zheng Xiaowan also hurriedly said, boss, please testify for us. Chapter 168, Not Expensive. The boss smiled bitterly and said, why bother? You don't seem to have much hatred. The stakes are really too high. Hu Xian smiled and said, boss, it's okay, they like to gamble. So I'll help them now. Let's do the inspirational drama. By the way, if you want to raise other bets, just let me know. 1 trillion is enough for you to lose everything. There is no need to add any more, said the man called Ma Ji. Then the group of people spent almost an hour signing the betting document. A testimony was given personally by the shop owner Zhang Lunxian. After the document was signed, a group of people looked at Hu Xian. Peng Yao said confidently, now start your performance. Hu Xian nodded and said to Xiaoya, recommend some top quality weapons of this type. Xiaoya said excitedly, sir, you can also equip a close-range firearm now. Both physical firearms and genetic firearms can be used. Sir, which one do you need? I recommend genetic guns. Because as long as the genetic power is sufficient, there will be no shortage of ammunition for physical guns. You need to carry a lot of ammunition, and you also need to replace ammunition during the battle. The accuracy and speed are not as good as genetic guns. Hu Xian said, I think I can buy both, they don't take up much space anyway. Xiaoya was stunned for a moment, then said, then I'd like to recommend the Gene pistol to you. This way, sir. Stop pretending, let me see how you can continue pretending when you pay. Zheng Xiaowan said distaffanially. Then we came to the Gene pistol sales center. Xiaoya recommended a top-level weapon that could burst at close range and was comparable to a level 11 genetic warrior. Sir, this Gene pistol can be used continuously for 1 hour with the blessing of strong Gene power. And then it needs to cool down for 1 hour if it is a low Gene blessing. It can be used almost indefinitely. It's just that the price is a bit high. One piece costs 600 billion gold coins. Hu Xian said cheerfully. Well, it's very good, I like it very much, give me two. Xiaoya had become numb and was no longer shocked. The others were shocked. Peng Yao said, still showing off. Do, right? Why don't you pay me with gold coins? Huang Xian said to Xiaoya. Quick, payment code? Xiaoya took out the payment code trembling lie. Huang Xian immediately scanned and transferred the money. Ding, 300 billion gold coins have arrived in the store. Ding, congratulations to the host, you spent 300 billion gold coins in 3 hours and received 20 strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new mission, complete it within 6 hours and spend 1 trillion gold coins. Failure of the mission will result in permanent paralysis of the limbs. Completion of the mission will reward 15 intermediate strengthening pills. Hey, kid, why did you only transfer 300 billion? Are you out of gold coins? It doesn't matter, just ask your family to transfer the money to you. We'll be waiting, the man called Brother Ma said proudly. I just don't believe that no matter how rich your family is, it is impossible for them to transfer trillions and trillions of dollars to you without limit. Right? I don't think he can come up with the money. They were all very proud and excited, thinking they were about to win. Huang Xian calmly scanned the code for the second time to transfer the money. Ding, 900 billion gold coins have been received in the store. The whole audience was stunned, especially those sales. After calculation, Huang Xian's consumption is close to 5 trillion gold coins. This is trillions. Xiaoya hurried to get the inventory. Sadly looked at Peng Yao and the others and said, now it's your turn to perform. Zheng Xiaowan said angrily, why are you showing off? You only have 600 billion more than us, we don't need to take you seriously. The man called Ma Ji said, come on, brothers, if each of us spend another 50 billion, we can crush him. Let's go to the shopping area, I want to buy a lot of things. A group of salesmen were extremely excited and rushed to recommend weapons. Huang Xian looked at this scene with an indifferent expression. Zhang Luxian looked at Huang Xian curiously, because he found that this guy's gold coins seemed to be endless. Decided to use a glitch. Mr. Hu, you know that they are all the sons of wealthy noble families in Seoul. They can spend 1 trillion each if you want to win against them. You will have to spend at least 20 trillion. Hearing this huge sum of money, Chen Yuanian was extremely shocked. Thinking of blocking it, he hurriedly said, honey, don't you think this team is unfair? Even if they spend 1 trillion and beat you, and you give them 1 trillion, they will definitely lose money, right? Zheng Xiaowan said. Chen Yuanian, you just realized it now, it's too late. The agreement has been signed, you can just wait for bankruptcy. And you were about to become Brother Xuan's woman. But unfortunately, you're just a plaything. You. Chen Yuanian was furious. Huang Xian said calmly, wife, don't be angry with them. Because there is no way you will lose weight for him, they will cry soon. He was so confident that even Zhang Luxian became curious about him. I thought to myself, I don't know where this guy came from. I have never seen him before, so I'm afraid his identity is not simple. After about 50 minutes, the group of guys finally finished their selection and came to Huang Xian to pay. The salesman then hurried off to pick up the items. The one called Brother Xuan said proudly, boy, now we have 100 billion more than you. It depends on your performance. The others also looked at Huang Xian confidently. Not afraid at all. Because as they said, Nguyen took out 1 trillion to block it. And if they win, Huang Xian will give them 1 trillion, which is equivalent to getting 1 trillion weapons for free. Even if they lose, they can afford 1 trillion. Huang Xian said to the salesperson without any panic. Take us to see the physical pistol. Xiaoya had completely adapted to Huang Xian's crazy spending power. And said respectfully, sir, this way please. And I came to the physical pistol sales center. The various styles of physical pistols are dazzling. Sir, this weapon is the best we have here, although it is a short gun. Its effective range is up to 50 meters if you have good marksmanship. You can hit the target after firing 100 meters. Of course, the closer the distance, the greater the power. In a range of 10 meters, even a level 11 genetic warrior cannot withstand the shooting of this pistol. The downside is that it's heavy, has a huge recoil, and can only carry 12 bullets at a time. It requires at least an 8th level genetic warrior to use it. Do you think it's suitable? Huang Xian looked at Chen Yuanian and said, wife, what do you think? Chen Yuanian said, honey, I like the appearance of this physical pistol, but it can only be used by level 8 gene warriors, which is a bit embarrassing for me. Those are just minor problems. We can always improve our strength. He said to the salesperson, we'll buy this physical pistol. Xiaoya said, sir, this physical pistol is not expensive, one is 200 billion gold coins. And 2 are for 100 billion if you buy it. We can give you the special bullets we issued before. Please pay first. A young man said speechless lie, a physical pistol, 200 billion gold coins alone, and you still say it's not expensive. Only a fool would buy it. That's right, with this money. Wouldn't it be nice to buy a laser pistol? Chapter 116. We are happy too. After Hu Xian paid the money readily, he said to his boss Zhang Luxian, "It's too slow to buy like this. So, boss, you can customize a set of top-level equipment for me and my wife. Money is not a problem, just configure it, how do you think?" Hearing this, Zheng Xiaowan and the others looked at Hu Xian as if he were a madman. If you ask your boss to configure it for you, he will definitely configure it in the most expensive way. With all the miscellaneous equipment, one person will need at least 10 trillion yuan. And this guy wants to set it, that's crazy. Zhang Luxian was also very shocked and said bitterly, "Sir, do you know that a full set of top-level equipment would cost at least 15 trillion? And this is just for one person." Hu Xian said calmly, "Money is not a problem, please help my wife configure it first. I will check the quality, and then configure my own." Seeing Hu Xian was so serious, Zhang Luxian said, "I can help you configure it, but you need to pay a deposit of at least 1 trillion. Okay, no problem. Transfer money immediately." Ding! Congratulations to the host, you have spent 1.1 trillion gold coins in 6 hours and obtained 15 intermediate strengthening pills. Ding! New mission, complete it within 6 hours and spend 1 trillion gold coins. If you fail the mission, your limbs will be permanently paralyzed. If you complete the mission, you will be rewarded with 15 intermediate strengthening pills. Seeing that Hu Xian paid a deposit of 1 trillion without blinking an eye, these rich and noble children became a little panicked. Compared to this guy, I feel like a poor man facing a rich man. Fortunately, they had more people, so they had some confidence. Otherwise they would have surrendered directly. The boss personally went to configure equipment for Hu Xian. Chaya excitedly pulled the physics pistol back. "Mr. Wu, Miss Chen, your physics pistols." After getting the pistol, Hu Xian played with it for a while and found that it weighed as much as 100 kilograms, which shows that the material of this pistol is also very unusual. I have to admit that the items in the genetic world are much better than those on Earth. Of course, the level of development is probably more than 100 times that of the Earth. Xiaoya, thank you for your hard work. I have asked your boss to help us configure a full set of suits, so I won't bother you anymore. Xiaoya, who had already achieved trillions of sales, also breathed a sigh of relief. Even so, she felt like it was a dream and very unreal. Hu Xian took Chen Yuanayan to find a seat and sat down. Xiaoya quickly brought them tea and snacks, and stood by, waiting like a servant. "Xiaoya, if you are busy, you can go ahead." "Mr. Hu, I'm not busy. If you have any needs, just let me know." Others also sat on the side and also sold personal services. After all, they may have huge consumption in the future, so we dare not neglect it. After waiting for about 3 hours, the boss Zhang Luxian arrived. Because this shop only sells weapons, she needs to go to other shops to get equipment and many other supporting items, which is why it took so long. "Mr. Hu, let me get the boxing gloves and equipment you need. Come with me to the trial field. It's too narrow here and you can't move around." Zhang Luxian said. "Okay, let's go to the training ground." The training ground is a very special place, made entirely of high-quality materials. Only in this way can it withstand attacks from various high-intensity weapons. It can be said that the cost of a trial field exceeds the price of weapons and equipment visited by the store. Therefore, it is not something that ordinary people can open a shop that buys weapons and equipment. Soon we arrived at the trial site. Under everyone's gaze, Xiao Lulu took out one piece of top-quality equipment after another, dazzling the onlookers. After placing dozens of items, Zhang Luxian said, "Because your wife already has the mecha, gene pistol, physical pistol, and laser cannon, I didn't match them with other weapons. The equipment here is a complete set of what your wife needs. And you guys take a look and see if there are any problems. If there is something you don't like, you can always ask for it and we will change it immediately." Hu Xian said to Chen Yuanayan, "Wife, do you think there is anything you are not satisfied with?" Chen Yuanayan was extremely moved and said, "Hubby, Boss Zhang is an expert in this area. The weapons and equipment she configures must be the most practical, so I like them very much. Thank you for the compliment. Mr. Shu, since you like it, I will tell you the price. All weapons and equipment, including a large nanospace device, are priced at 13 trillion gold coins." After saying that, he looked at Hu Xian and said, "If there is no problem, you can scan the code and transfer the money to me directly." Zhang Luxian opened the payment code directly from the communication device. Hu Xian nodded and said, "No problem." Peng Yao and the others were stunned. 30 trillion gold coins. Is this guy crazy? This is the first time I've encountered a way to purchase equipment. Hu Xian suddenly said, "Boss Zhang, I have an unwelcome request." "Mr. Hu, you will." "That's right, can I transfer my 13 trillion to you in separate accounts? To be honest, I need to raise money from friends." Hu Xian thought that he couldn't transfer money crazily. Otherwise the time would be shortened, so he said, "As for earning strengthening pills, He currently has more than 4,000 intermediate strengthening pills that have not been opened yet. Zhang Luxian frowned. This was the first time she had encountered such a situation. After thinking for a while, he said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Hu. Because the amount is too huge, so I can't agree to it. Unless what?" Hu Xin asked. "Unless you pay off the loan during this period. You will stay with me, so that I can trust you to pay it back." "No problem," Hu Xin agreed readily. Chen Yuanian frowned, somewhat doubting whether Hu Xin was deliberately taking this opportunity to get close to Zhang Luxian. Others naturally had the same idea. Peng Yao said, "Boss Zhang, I think he is lying about owing you money, but he is really trying to get close to you, right?" Zhang Luxian said calmly, "If you spend 10 trillion, I can also let you get close to me." After that, he said to Hu Xin, "You must guarantee to repay at least 1 trillion gold coins every day." Hu Xin smiled confidently and said, "Small problem. I promise to pay you back 2 trillion gold coins every day." Zhang Luxian nodded. In that case, after the transaction was completed, Hu Xin looked at Peng Yao and Zhang Xiaowan and said, "Now, it's your turn to perform the gap of 13.3 trillion yuan. Please catch up." The faces of the group of people looked grim. Ma Ji said, "Boy, do you think you can beat us? You already owe us 13 trillion. We only need to exceed your 131,000 to beat you. Also, even if each of us spends 1 trillion, this money is equivalent to what you paid. Don't forget our bet. We are happy to get 1 trillion worth of equipment for free." "Yes, we would love to." Chapter 170, Debt. Hu Xin smiled slightly, extended his hand and said, "Please, I wish you a happy consumption. Take us to spend 1 trillion this time." Brother Xuan looked at Hu Xin with contempt and said, "Boy, get ready to give me your wife." Looking at her perfect figure, "I can't wait any longer." Hu Xin glanced at his woman and said, "Although she's not as good as my wife, I'll accept her for free. Dear distinguished guests, please come in." The salesmen were all very enthusiastic. This was a $1 trillion order. "Mr. Hu, if they really buy 1 trillion worth of goods, 14 people would mean 14 trillion, and then you would lose," said Zhang Luxian. Peng Yao said, "The 4 of us haven't taken any action yet, so he will definitely lose." Zheng Xiaowan also straightened her chest. "Chen Yuanian, wait for brother Ebi to rub you." Chen Yuanian said, "You are probably celebrating too early. My husband hasn't even bought his boxing gloves yet. How can you compete with him?" Hearing this, they were all shocked. LV Hong said, "I still owe you the gold coins I used to buy equipment. Do you think Boss Zhang will agree to buy things if you owe me money?" Hu Xin said nothing about this, and neither did Zhang Luxian. Everyone waited patiently. About 3 hours. A group of wealthy nobles came back. Each of them was in high spirits, as if they had won the lottery. And they were all very happy. When they came in front of Hu Xin, they scanned the QR code in the hands of their respective salesmen and paid. And he looked at Hu Xin and said, "Boy, we spent 14 trillion, which is 700 billion more than you. Now it's your turn to show off." Hu Xin nodded and said, "Very good." And he looked at Zhang Luxian and said, "Boss Zhang, I already owe you 13 trillion yuan. Why don't you give me another set of equipment? Altogether, I can pay you at least 2 trillion yuan a day. How about that?" Zhang Luxian frowned slightly, looking a little unhappy. Brother Xuan said, "Hu Xin, stop dreaming. Boss Zhang opened the shop to do business, not to play with you. If you have money, buy. If you don't have money, admit defeat." After saying that, he turned to Chen Yuanian and said, "My beauty, come into my arms. Don't worry, I will definitely treat you better than he does." Chen Yuanian didn't even look at him. This made Brother Xuan very unhappy. And he thought, "Bitch, just wait until you fall into my hands. And I'll sell you to a brothel when I'm tired of playing with you." Zhao Luxian said, "Mr. Hu, although you are my big customer now, if you match the boxing gloves, it will be at least 13 trillion. That is 26 trillion gold coins. Can you really afford it?" "He definitely can't pay it back. Boss Zhang, you must never allow him to buy on credit again," Zheng Xiaowan said excitedly. They were afraid that Zhang Luxian would give Hu Xin credit again. That was 13 trillion yuan. They were not afraid that with a total of 18 people, it would be unlikely for them to raise the 13 trillion yuan again. Hu Xin said, "Boss Zhang, let me give you a deposit of 1 trillion yuan when you give me my full set of equipment. I will give you another 1 trillion yuan. I promise to pay you back 2 trillion yuan every day for the rest." Hearing this, Ma Ji and the others became anxious. He hurriedly said, "Boss Zhang, this is not possible. How can we sell on credit when we are doing business? It's Boss Zhang. You don't know him very well. You must not give him credit anymore. Boss Zhang, in my opinion, you should even take back the 13 trillion worth of goods just now. Otherwise, if he runs away, won't you suffer a huge loss?" Everyone was afraid that Zhang Luxian would agree. This time Zhang Luxian hesitated for a full 10 minutes before she took out the QR code and said, "I hope you are not deceiving me." Hu Xian smiled and transferred the trillion yuan. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 1.2 trillion gold coins within 6 hours and received 15 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new mission, completed within 6 hours and spend 1.3 trillion gold coins. If you fail the mission, your limbs will be permanently paralyzed. If you complete the mission, you will receive 15 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Seeing Hu Xian readily transfer 1.2 trillion gold coins, Peng Yao and the others' faces became extremely ugly. They all thought that he must have maxed out his credit card and his overdraft had reached its limit, which was why he was in debt. But I didn't expect that I could easily transfer 1.2 trillion gold coins. The most important thing is that he will transfer another trillion gold coins later, which means he still has another trillion gold coins on him. Zhang Luxian said, "Then let's move to the trial field again." It turned out that he had prepared it before. After all, Hu Xian said he wanted to sets. Arriving at the trial field, Zhang Luxian took out dozens of matching equipment and said, "Just like your wife, I am not helping you match what you have. These are worth a total of 13.8 trillion gold coins. Because all the equipment that Hu Xian and his team had was purchased from her. There were naturally records of it." Hu Xian put away his equipment and said, "Thank you, Boss Zhang Don. T worry, I was not joking when I said I would repay 1 trillion yuan a day." Zhang Luxian said, "You should pay the 1 trillion you just admitted. I am also curious, can Hu Xian really continue to pay?" Hu Xian smiled confidently and said, "Scan the code." Zhang Luxian took out the quick payment code. Hu Xian immediately scanned the code and transferred 1 trillion yuan. After finishing, he looked at Peng Yao and the others and said, "Sorry, it's more than 13 trillion again. It's your turn to show off." Peng Yao and the others looked extremely ugly. Ma Ji looked at Peng Yao and said, "We are all here to help you. Each of us has spent more than 1 trillion. Now it depends on who you are." Zheng Xiaowan said bitterly, "Brother Ma, you know me, all the money I have on me is less than 100 million gold coins." Brother Xuan snorted angrily, "You are just a useless person who only knows how to cause trouble. Who would be interested in you except for the idiot Peng Yao?" These extremely unpleasant words made Zheng Xiaowan's face look extremely ugly. I thought to myself, although I am poor, I am still a beauty after all. I don't know how many of you want to sleep with me. And now you are humiliating me like this. This is too much. But she could only think in her heart that she couldn't afford to offend any of these people. Ma Ji continued, "Pang A, Lu Hong, Su Hiran, it's only 13 trillion. Each of you can pay for trillion, and we will pay the rest. Then we can crush him. I don't believe that Boss Zhang will give him credit." After saying that, he looked at Zhang Luxian. Zhang Luxian said, "Don't worry, I will never give him credit again." Hearing this, they finally breathed a sigh of relief. Peng Yao said bitterly, "Brother Ma, you know my financial situation. I have already spent hundreds of billions. Now, with all my money and overdraft, I can only take out 1.5 trillion. Ma frowned and said after a while, 1.5 trillion is 1.5 trillion. Hurry up and spend it. Chapter 171, Are there still gold coins? Peng Yao left bitterly. As a second-generation rich kid from Seoul's aristocratic circle, this was the first time I felt so poor. Ma Ji then turned to Ulvi Hong and Su Hiran and asked, "What about you guys?" Su Hiran said, "Brother Ma, I can also swipe my card and overdraw 1.8 trillion. Ulvi Hong said, "I'm a girl, and my family doesn't value me. The most I can do is 1 trillion. "Very good, if you have 4.3 trillion, go ahead and we 14 will take a look at the remaining ones later. Let's go and spend money." Brother Xuan looked at Hu Xian and said, "Just wait, kid, you are going to lose this time?" Zhang Luxian even promised not to lend him money on credit anymore, as they all thought Hu Xian was at the end of his rope. Hu Xian said calmly, "You should raise more than 13 trillion yuan first." And he relaxed, hugged Chen Yu and Ian, ate snacks, and enjoyed himself greatly. Only Zhang Luxian and Zheng Xiaowan were present at the scene. Zhang Luxian couldn't help but ask curiously, "Mr. Hu, you don't seem to be afraid of losing at all?" Hu Xian said confidently, "Because I won't lose at all. Just look at these people who have spent nearly 2 trillion and are going to lose 1 trillion to me. Their disaster is on the way." Zheng Xiaowan heard this and said angrily, "Hu Xian, don't be too happy too soon. They are all out spending money. There will be no problem in raising 13 trillion yuan. You are doomed to fail." Hu Xian looked at her and said, "Zheng Xiaowan, are you stupid? Also, you just bet 1 trillion, right? And if you lose, you'll be like a dog by my side." Zheng Xiaowan's face was extremely ugly. And she said angrily, "I will not lose. Absolutely not. Huaxian, just wait, it will be your doom soon. Huaxian smiled and said. And wait and see who will be the last one. Zhang Luxian looked at Huaxian curiously and said nothing more. I thought to myself, this guy is so confident, it seems like he must have a remarkable family background. This wait lasted for 4 hours. There is no other way. Even if Peng Ao and the other to raise trillions, the remaining trillions will still have to be raised by Ma Ji and his team themselves. And they will probably have to borrow money from everywhere. That's why it was delayed for 4 hours. After selecting the products, he came back and scanned the code to pay again in front of Huaxian. And the salesman went to get the items, and Ma Ji said to Huaxian, boy, we have 100 billion more than you now, you lose. Brother Xuan excitedly said to Chen Yuanian, girl, I'm here quickly from now on, you are my Lu Daxuan's woman. Chen Yuanian said coldly, you are probably too happy too early. My husband still has 500 billion with me. After saying that, he said to the salesperson beside him, prepare another 500 billion equipment for my husband. Zheng Xiaowan roared, no. And he said to Huaxian, Huaxian is powerful, isn't he a man? What do you mean by letting Chen Yuanian take action now? The others also had grim expressions and were extremely dissatisfied. Peng Ao said, that's right, Huaxian, as long as Chen Yuanian helps you, you will lose. Chen Yuanian said angrily, I'm his wife. Why can't I help? Besides, the money I have was given to me by my husband. LV Hong looked at Huaxian and said, just tell me, can you afford to lose? Huaxian said calmly, I am touched that my wife cares about me. But I really don't need my wife's help, because when I say can crush you all by myself, it is definitely me alone. After that, he said to Xiaoya, prepare another 300 billion physical bullets for me. After all, this thing is a consumable, so it would be good to have more. Xiaoya took out the payment code and said, sir, as usual, pay first. Under the murderous gazes of Peng Ao and his friends, Huaxian scanned the code to pay. Ding, congratulations to the host. You have completed the consumption of 1.3 trillion gold coins within 6 hours and received 15 intermediate strengthening pills as a reward. Ding, new mission. Complete it within 6 hours and spend 1.4 trillion gold coins. Failure will result in permanent paralysis of the limbs. Completion of the mission will reward 15 intermediate strengthening pills. Zheng Xiaowan shouted angrily, Huaxian, you can't afford to lose. This gold coin must have been transferred to you by Chen Yuanian. Chen Yuanian yelled, you're talking nonsense, I didn't transfer the money to my husband. LV Hong snorted, who knows? Chen Yuanian said to Zhang Luxian, Boss Zhang, you can check my transfer records. Zhang Luxian nodded and said, okay, I'll check it out. And he checked Chen Yuanian's transfer records and said to everyone, Chen Yuanian does not have any transfer records, and she did not transfer money to Mr. Everyone knows that no matter how powerful you are, you can't clear these transfer records, you can rest assured. Hearing this, Peng Ao and the others' faces turned extremely ugly. They didn't expect that Huaxian still had 300 billion gold coins. It's just hell. Ma Ji said angrily, it's only 300 billion. We can't afford it. Let's go buy another 500 billion worth of equipment. Ma Ji left angrily with a group of people. This time it took more than 40 minutes to return. Ma Ji transferred 500 billion in front of Huaxian with murderous intent. This time he said to Huaxian, Oi, we have another 200 billion more than you. I don't believe that you can still take out the gold coins. Zheng Xiaowan said, Huaxian, you are doomed now, get ready for the end. Huaxian smiled and said, sorry, everyone, I actually still have gold coins. After he finished speaking, he said to Xiaoya who was standing beside him, oh, and prepare another 1 trillion pieces of equipment for me. I must not have any duplicates. Xiaoya was stunned. He took out the QR code and asked, Mr. Hu, do you really have any gold coins left? Huaxian scans the QR code to transfer money. Ding! The store has received 1 trillion gold coins. When this voice sounded, it was like the death knell for Peng Ao, Ma Ji and the others. Everyone looked at Huaxian with anger, shock and disbelief. I don't understand, he clearly owes more than 20 trillion yuan. So why can he still come up with 1 trillion yuan? Huaxian smiled at them and said, how about it? I have another 800 billion more than you. You want to continue spending and step on me, or do you admit defeat? After hearing this, their faces became even uglier than before. They were more angry than ever before, and murderous intent emanated from every one of them. They have already borrowed a lot of gold coins from others. It is not so easy to borrow from others unless they ask the family leader. However, the family will not give them so many gold coins for no reason. If they know that they are making a bet with others, they will probably be punished. After all, these wealthy aristocrats are not only children, If anyone performs poorly, his status in the family may plummet. Ma Ji said in a deep voice, Huxian, you must have reached your limit a long time ago, right? You are just holding on now in this way. We can say that we have known each other for a long time. You have spent more than 30 trillion gold coins, and we have spent nearly 2 trillion. Let's just forget about this matter. Let us not mention the bet anymore. What do you think? Chapter 172, The Road is Narrow. Huxian shook his head and said, Sorry, I have 800 billion more than you now. If you can't spend it, you will lose. After that, he said to Zhang Luxian, Boss Zhang, please take out the betting contracts we just signed. Zhang Luxian looked at Peng Yao and the others and asked, Are you sure you want to admit defeat? Peng Yao and the others looked extremely ugly. Give up. Can they afford to lose? I definitely can't afford to lose. Lu Daxuan said angrily, Peng Yao, we are here to help you. Now this guy has taken out another 1 trillion, which is more than our 800 billion. Are you just going to ignore it? Ma Ji said, Peng Yao, this guy must have reached his limit. You should ask your master for 1 trillion yuan and crush him. We will definitely win. That's right, Peng Yao, hurry up and don't waste any more time. Everyone urged Peng Yao on. Peng Yao clenched his fists, feeling extremely troubled. If he asked the family for gold coins, he might get them, but his status as the head of the family would plummet, and he could not afford such consequences. But if you don't have gold coins, not only will you lose today, but you will also offend your old friends. After hesitating for a while, he said, Okay, I'll ask my family for gold coins. After saying that, he walked away and made a phone call. Ma Ji said to Huxian, Boy, you're narrowing the road. The others all looked at Huxian with very unfriendly eyes. Huxian said inferently, You said this as if you were very powerful. But have you ever thought that more than 10 of you were crushed by me alone? Anyone with a bit of brain should understand that there is an incomparable gap between you and me. In this situation, you still threaten me. Think about it yourself. Aren't you stupid? Although these words were unpleasant to hear, they understood after thinking about them carefully. It was true, the 18 of them were actually crushed by just one person. If you don't think about it, you won't know. If you think about it, you will be shocked. It's terrifying when you think about it. Ma Ji said stubbornly, You are only financially powerful, but you are not better than us in other aspects. Also, no matter how powerful your financial resources are, it doesn't mean you are powerful in military force. So I advise you to be a human being and leave some room for them, so that we can meet again in the future. I'm sorry, the force you mentioned is nothing but rubbish in my eyes. By the way, a friendly reminder, you'd better not think of targeting me with your force, otherwise you will be the ones who get into trouble. The guys all frowned. They didn't expect that Huxian would dare to threaten them in return. Besides, this guy has always been very confident and seems to be afraid of nothing. This made them feel uneasy, and they began to fear Huxian unconsciously. System, open all the strengthening pills for me. Huxian decided to strengthen himself well. After all, this is the genetic world and there are many strong people. Ding, congratulations to the host for opening 190 primary strengthening pills and obtaining 95 million strengthening points. Ding, congratulations to the host, you have opened 4,105 intermediate enhancement pills and obtained 485 billion enhancement points. Ding, the current total number of reinforcement points is 59,549 billion points. The exchange rate of strengthening pills is: an ordinary pill is worth 100,000 strengthening points. A primary pill is worth 500,000 strengthening points. An intermediate pill is worth 1 million strengthening points. A high-level pill is worth 10 million strengthening points. And a top-grade pill is worth 100 million strengthening points. System, strengthen each of my 4 attributes by 1 billion points. Ding, congratulations to the host, the 4 attributes have been strengthened by 1 billion points each. And the current 4 attributes are to 15,113 billion points each. Although the 4 attributes appear to have increased by 1 billion points, the overall combat power has increased significantly. Then the two sides waited for 3 hours in a tense atmosphere. It was already 10 o'clock in the evening when Peng Yao finally came back. Wearing a mask, he gasped and said, I got 1 trillion. He said to the salesperson beside him, Hurry up and prepare 1 trillion equipment for me. The salesperson excitedly collected the payment and left. Huxian saw at a glance that Peng Yao had been beaten and deliberately said, Peng Yao, you didn't wear a mask before, why are you wearing one now? Did you go back to ask for money and get beaten? Hearing this, Peng Yao was furious. If it wasn't for him, how could he be in such a mess? He roared, Huxian, don't be so cocky. When you lose, you'll know how miserable you are. Huxian shook his head and said, Your guess is only 1 trillion, which is only 200 billion more than mine. After saying this, he turned to Xiaoya, who was standing beside him, and said, Go and prepare another 400 billion worth of weapons for me. Just skim the code to pay 400 billion. Ding, congratulations to the hosts. You spent 1.4 trillion gold coins in 6 hours and received 15 intermediate reinforcement points as rewards. Ding, new mission, within 12 hours, complete the consumption of 1.5 trillion gold coins. If you fail the mission, both arms will be permanently disabled. If you complete the mission, you will be rewarded with 10 intermediate strengthening pills. Brother Ma, Brother Xuan and the others were all stunned. Pengyao on my side had great difficulty in getting 1 trillion. And the equipment hasn't even been delivered yet. And you actually spent 400 billion? Huaxian looked at them and said with a smile, sorry, I have another 200 billion more than you. Ma Ji and the others are really going crazy. In the current situation, we can't afford to lose. If we lose, no one will give Huaxian 1 trillion yuan. Plus what they put in. It's even more. Ma Ji roared murderously, Huaxian, do you really want to die? Even Shen Yuanian was a little worried, and said to Huaxian, how about, husband, let's just call it a draw. The main thing is that she knew that these people were all from wealthy and aristocratic families, and each of them had a prominent identity, so it would be best not to offend them to death. Huaxian was about to speak when a phone call came in. He was curious about who was calling him. Connect to the communication. Because Huaxian did not turn off the rapid projection refraction, the scenes on both sides